at this time that during the few days he was in the hospital. When he came back, he had already been removed from the position of the second in command. We need to set up a company as soon as possible. The current store cannot support us to carry out these businesses. I happen to have a relative who works in the commercial bureau. I can ask him to help us get the company's business license quickly. Zhang Shengzhu continued speaking. Xiaoyang naturally gave his full support. After paying out the money today and collecting it back with the cashback card, he would have the funds to support Zhang Shengzhu in doing these things. After chatting all the way, the two walked into the building and came to the real estate company. Soon, someone came to receive us. Seeing that Xiaoyang and Zhang Shengzhu looked like they were still college students, the account managers suddenly felt unhappy. Hello, are you buying a house or renting a shop? Rent a shop, Xiaoyang said directly. Xiaozhang, come over and greet us. The manager waved towards the distance. Rent a shop. For their company, this means that they will soon abandon this business. And young people of this age are not sure how big a store they can rent. They might just take a look. He has no patience to play with these young people. Soon, Xiaoshang came over to receive us. Hello sir. Which store of our company do you like? It's like this. I plan to rent about 50 stores, scattered across various areas of Jiangdu. Xiaoyang directly stated his needs. The voice fell. The next second, the account manager turned around abruptly. Xiaoshang, go pour a cup of coffee for the customer. Chapter 90 for Lease of Shop. Seeing the account manager turning back again, Xiaoyang and Zhang Shengzhu couldn't help laughing. I'm kidding, look at where we are, we can't afford to rent 50 shops, Xiaoyang said with a smile. The next second, the manager's face changed. You are making fun of me. Xiaoyang smiled and said nothing, but Xiaoshang also smiled after hearing what he said. After the manager left, Xiaoshang came over and said with a friendly smile, hello, can I ask if you really want to rent a store? If not, it's okay if you just want to take a look, I can take you to see some of our stores. Xiaoyang was very surprised by Xiaoshang's attitude. Okay, then show us around, Xiaoyang said with a smile. Xiaoshang immediately went back to get his car keys, and the three of them went to the parking lot together. I bought this car at a second-hand market for 20,000 yuan, please don't mind. Don't mind. Xiaoyang naturally didn't mind, and Zhang Shengzhu didn't care much about it either. We basically have stores in every area of Jiangdu. Some are owned by the company, while others are rented out by individual investors. Xiaoshang began to introduce slowly. Let me show you some of our popular shops on X. Who rode first? Xiaoyang nodded and was very satisfied with Xiaoshang's attitude. After a while, the car arrived at a street with a lot of traffic. By the way, I don't know what to call you yet. My name is Xiaoyang. Okay, Mr. Xiao, the area we are in now is one of the places with the largest number of white-collar workers renting nearby. And it is also the place with the largest flow of people in the entire Xinhu Road. These shops are relatively popular shops, and many people are eyeing them. They are especially popular, Xiaoshang introduced. Xiaoyang glanced at Zhang Shengzhu. He didn't understand much about these things. He knew that what Xiaoshang said might be true, but it would be better for Zhang Shengzhu to decide on this matter. Zhang Shengzhu said coldly at this time, if it is so popular, why hasn't it been rented out yet? That's right, this location is quite expensive. Xiaoyang also took the opportunity to say, Xiaoshang, right? Actually, what we said in the company was not a joke. We really want to rent 50 stores, we don't want to hear any nonsense. When the voice fell, Xiaoshang was stunned. The next second, his face was filled with joy. If what Xiaoyang said was true, then for him who had personally organized this, the commission would probably be equivalent to 2 years' salary. There's a term on the internet now, it's called, partier's dad, right? Well, we should be considered your client's dad now, so you'd better say everything you need to say, it will be good for all of us. Xiaoyang sighed. Okay, Dad. What Xiaoyang didn't expect was that Xiaoshang got into the state so quickly. Zhang Shengzhu and Xiaoyang looked at each other and couldn't help laughing. In fact, our company is now facing transformation, and is preparing to cut off the leasing business and invest a large amount of funds in other industries. So, although there are many people eyeing this shop, they all try every means to lower the price with the company. And until now, it has not been rented out. He spoke truthfully. Xiaoyang nodded thoughtfully, and then said, then how much is the rent here? The rent here, Xiaoshang hesitated. Xiaoyang immediately saw from the rearview mirror that the other party was gritting his teeth in agreement. Well, if it's really as you said, I can help you get the lowest internal price. This price will definitely be much lower than your expected price in your mind. And it is definitely worth the money. Oh, Xiaoyang was a little surprised. Zhang Shengzhu asked in a cold voice, how much is the rent? If it's this shop, the current monthly rent is 53,000. I can get you 45,000, what do you think? Zhang Shengzhu turned on the computer. took a look, thought about it, and nodded to Xiao Yang. Okay, this is the one. Xiao Yang didn't hesitate at all. It's like this, Mr. Xiao, the minimum lease term for our shop is more than 1 year. 1 year, that is, 540,000, Xiao Yang said thoughtfully. Right? Okay, rent it. Xiao Shang immediately smiled happily. He never expected that Xiao Yang would be so happy. He immediately circled the shop in his notebook and sent a message to the company, indicating that he had already reached an agreement with the store. The three of them got back in the car and drove to other neighborhoods. After a while, we arrived at the place. This is a shop outside the park. Logically speaking, this area also has a lot of passenger flow. However, the sign of this shop looked like it had been closed for a long time. With only vague words such as BBQ left, there was also a sign for rent posted on the door, which was covered with a lot of dust. This shop also has quite a few people looking at it, but the prices are cheaper than before. Oh? Xiao Yang was a little surprised. The rent is cheap and there is a lot of customer traffic. So why hasn't it been rented out yet? To be honest with you, I originally wanted to keep this store for myself. Everyone in our company knows this. I plan to open a cosmetics store here with my girlfriend. So, how did you introduce it to us? Xiao Shang's face suddenly became sloppy. We had a falling out some time ago, and she put a hat on me. Zhang Shengzhu and Xiao Yang looked at each other and saw the suppressed smile in each other's eyes. Strong. Xiao Yang patted his shoulder, then glanced at Zhang Shengzhu. Oh, is it? Zhang Shengzhu nodded. Okay, I'll take this one too. Xiao Shang did offer a low price, and Zhang Shengzhu also gave her approval. In her psychological price range, it was about this number, or even higher. There are 50 stores, so Xiao Yang and Zhang Shengzhu certainly cannot visit all of them today. After visiting 20 houses, it was already dark. As for the rest, Xiao Yang asked Xiao Shang to organize the store information and send it to Zhang Shengzhu one by one. Xiao Yang didn't understand these, so Zhang Shengzhu made the decision. Xiao Shang nodded repeatedly and promised to send the information to Zhang Shengzhu later. After this meal, Xiao Yang and the other man were quite satisfied. The shops are almost all popular shops, located in good locations and attract a lot of traffic. And they can definitely live up to the banner of barbecue restaurants. In the end, all 50 stores signed 1-year lease contracts, which cost about 20 million yuan, which was in line with Xiao Yang's psychological expectations. I had originally planned to finalize the payment using cashback cards at 50 stores today, but now it seems I'll have to put it off for a while. After all, it is not an easy task to finalize the sale of all 50 stores. Xiao Yang was really tired now, so he planned to have a good rest tomorrow and let Zhang Shengzhu do the busy work. After all, I am the boss, why should I be so busy? I just need to pay in the end. Chapter 95. Is it so easy to make money now? During the past 2 days, Zhang Shengzhu was busy with the shop's affairs, so Xiao Yang didn't pay much attention to it. I went to the hospital to see Lu Xing and asked him about the sources of ingredients for his shop. Lu Xing will probably have to stay in the hospital for a while, so Xiao Yang is almost the only one taking care of the barbecue restaurant during this period. After a few days, the flow of people has not decreased at all. The store also hired 2 more waiters, which was enough. Many people came here because of Zhang Shengzhu, but Zhang Shengzhu has not been in the store during this period, which is a pity. However, the smell of the barbecue restaurant still attracted them. On days when he doesn't have to go to school, Xiao Yang has some free time. King Xuantong came to see me and I had a meal with her. But nothing happened. Lin Qiu came directly to his home and couldn't help cooking. She also hinted at signing a card and punching in, earning another 5 million. After deducting some expenses, Xiao Yang still had 23 million in his hands, which was more than enough to rent 50 stores. What surprised him was that quite a few people came to discuss joining the franchise in the past few days. However, he has already handed these matters over to Zhang Shengzhu, so it is difficult to say more. Later, whenever anyone came to the store to inquire about joining the franchise, Xiao Yang asked the waiters to tell them to go to Zhang Shengzhu. Xiao Yang originally felt a little guilty about putting so many things on Zhang Shengzhu's shoulders. Who would have thought that after meeting, Xiao Yang discovered that Zhang Shengzhu not only did not look tired, but was rather full of energy and seemed to be enjoying it. She is a born strong woman, Xiao Yang sighed in his heart. I have drawn up all the rules and regulations for joining the franchise. I need a mature team. After seeing Xiao Yang, Zhang Shengzhu directly put forward his requirements. So fast, Xiao Yang was really surprised. Zhang Shengzhu nodded and said, "The company's business license has been obtained, now we need an office space and to recruit some people." Xiao Yang thought that Zhang Shengzhu had excellent work ability, but he didn't expect her to be so outstanding. It's only been a few days, and she's almost done it. What it means now is that we just need an office space and then hire some people. When you have nothing to do, just pay the money and go wherever you want. Recruitment matters. Why don't you do it? Xiao Yang asked weakly. If there were someone here, they would probably be stunned. Who is the boss and who is the employee here? This atmosphere seems a little off. Zhang Shengzhu nodded and agreed without even thinking about it. Let me do it. The store matters have basically been finalized. All we need now is your money. Zhang Shengzhu smiled. How much? I'll call you. Xiao Yang didn't mean to be stingy at all. At worst, Lin Qiu would just have to confess once or twice. Hey. Why do I feel like I treat Lin Qiu as a gold mine? Wouldn't this be a bad idea? Xiao Yang thought with some guilt. But he always felt that there was another villain in his mind who was telling him frantically. Don't blame me, blame the Fang family, they pushed me too far. Oh, that's not necessary, the words fell. Xiao Yang was confused. What do you mean? Aren't you talking about the company? And talking about the store, just go and sign the lease contract whenever you have time. As for the company, I have the money, Zhang Shengzhu said slowly. You have money? Xiao Yang was stunned. That's not right. Why would they use your money? Are you planning to set up your own company? Xiao Yang was confused. This is an attempt to seize power and usurp the throne. Of course not, this is your brand, and the soul of the barbecue restaurant is your recipe. Without your recipe, I can't set up a company, Zhang Shengzhu denied. So you are planning to invest your own money and become a shareholder? Xiao Yang was puzzled. He still didn't understand what Zhang Shengzhu meant. Oh, I forgot to tell you that I have already collected franchise fees from some investors in advance. There are 15 in total, each of them paid a deposit of 100. Yuan. The money has arrived, and I plan to invest it in the operation of the company. And the company's registered capital is these 2 million. Didn't they say that each family would pay a deposit of 100? Yuan, there are 15 families in total, so shouldn't it be 5 million yuan? Are you bullying me because I'm not well educated? Xiao Yang looked confused. They even paid for the ingredients. So, you collected the money before the store even opens? Xiao Yang was stunned. Oh shit. It hasn't even started yet. Why don't you collect the money first? Barbecue restaurants can also do this. So far, the revenue of his own barbecue restaurant is only about 200 yuan. Then Zhang Shengzhu made some operations and recovered 2 million. Is this just the deposit? This is simply a capital harvester. Damn, is this how business can be done? Xiao Yang's eyes widened, full of admiration. But projects never lack investors because they know that the store will definitely make money. I also took them to see some of the shops we were planning to rent. They were very satisfied after the contract is signed. These shops will be rented to them, and we can also get some rental fees from them. Xiao Yang was completely stunned. His original idea was just to get the money out and use the tenfold cashback card. As for what would happen next with the store, his idea was roughly the same as Zhang Shengzhu's. But the rent for this shop hasn't been paid yet, and she has already negotiated it with others? In fact, whether it is barbecue, gourmet food, or catering, it is just a means of commercial upgrading. Opening a barbecue restaurant is just a beginning, not the ultimate goal. What we want to do is to be a capital harvester in a money-eating beast. Zhang Shengzhu opened her beautiful eyes wide, full of fighting spirit. Xiao Yang took a breath of cold air. What kind of monster has this system brought upon myself? Now he was convinced that there was nothing wrong with the task. Don't think that there are only 10 investors now. Once the stores are opened, they will attract the attention of others. These 10 stores may bring in 100 investors, which means 10 million investment franchise fee, Xiao Yang said in astonishment. Yes, our Xingyang self-service food store will soon cover Jiangdu and even the entire Jie province. But then what? Xiao Yang was immediately conquered by Zhang Shengzhu's ambition. He seemed to see stars in Zhang Shengzhu's eyes. And we put up advertisements and sponsor variety shows to attract more investors. Let Xingyang self-service food restaurants spread all over the country. And let everyone think of Xingyang when they think of the word barbecue. Zhang Shengzhu puffed out his not too small chest and said with great ambition. Endless light suddenly bloomed in Xiao Yang's eyes. Damn, why do I feel so excited by Zhang Shengzhu? Never mind. Let's burn it. Anyway, I just sit there and count the money. Chapter 96. Dad is mighty. After explaining everything, Zhang Shengzhu looked at Xiao Yang with a smile. How about it? Boss Xiao, isn't it awesome? That's amazing, Xiao Yang praised sincerely. By the way, Xiaozhu, why are you helping me? Although our barbecue recipe does have great prospects, you can actually set up your own company or even start your own business. Aren't you just working for me now? What do you want? Xiao Yang sighed. Picture. Zhang Shengzhu glanced at Xiao Yang. What are you doing? Are you coveting my beauty? Xiao Yang immediately took a step back. Of course not, Zhang Shengzhu glared at Xiao Yang. I just want to have my own career and no longer rely on the Zhang family. Zhang Shengzhu suddenly sighed, looking a little lost. What do you mean? Xiao Yang was a little confused. It's nothing, I just don't want to be like my sister and be arranged by my family to marry someone I don't like. Zhang Shangzu looked into the distance, and he no longer looked as ambitious as before. Your sister, what's wrong? Nothing, for the sake of her family. She might have to marry a nasty guy, Zhang Shangzu said helplessly. If possible, she would like to trample the Fang family under her feet now, so that her sister would not have to marry into the Fang family. But the company's affairs are left to Zhang Shangzu, and he himself was going to pay. The shop has been finalized. What Xiao Yang had to do was to go to Zhangyuan Real Estate. That is, the real estate company, to sign the contract immediately. Xiao Yang hadn't set off yet, but Xiao Shang drove directly to the university town to pick him up. When I got in the car, I smelled a stale smell. Chaozu has been sitting in your car these past 2 days. Xiao Yang smelled Zhang Shangzu's scent. Yes, Miss Zhang has always been riding in my car. Xiao Shang said, somewhat ashamedly. After all, it seems a bit inappropriate to let such a beautiful woman like Zhang Shangzu sit in such a shabby car. It's time to buy her a car, Xiao Yang murmured. Zhang Shangzu is so busy. And it is natural for me to just be a hands-off boss. No matter how you think about it, there is something wrong with it. It's time for you to change your car. Xiao Yang smiled and said, I think you got quite a lot of commission this time. Speaking of this, Xiao Shang's eyes suddenly lit up. Get the commission and change it immediately. I've wanted to change my car for a long time, Xiao Shang said with a sigh. By the way, you have all calculated the total amount for the shop lease, right? Give me a number. Xiao Shang nodded repeatedly and said, there are 50 stores in total excluding the decimals. The total annual rent is 21 million. As he said this, his hands began to tremble. 21 million. In Jiangdu City, there are shops in every street and district, and 50 shops were confirmed at one time. What is a rich man? This is called a tycoon. It's so inhumane. He now feels like he is dreaming in just a few days. He has accomplished something that would take him 10 years to complete. 10 years. How many decades can a person have in his life? Now, let alone asking him to call Xiao Yang dad, it's okay to even call him grandpa. At the same time, he felt grateful that he was smart enough to take people to see the shops. Otherwise the pie in the sky would have fallen on someone else's head. 21 million, 10 times the cash back, that's 210 million. Xiao Yang was also full of emotion. The billionaire completed this stage on his own, in just 4 months after acquiring the system. I can only say one thing. System, you are awesome. Okay. Let's go to your company and swipe the card. Okay. Dad, Xiao Shang nodded, immediately started his car and drove towards Zhangyuan Real Estate. After a while, the two arrived at the company. The next second, he discovered that there were quite a few people lined up at the door to welcome him. What's going on? Xiao Yang was slightly stunned and hadn't reacted yet. I saw the manager that day standing at the door, smiling from ear to ear. Mr. Xiao is here, welcome. We have met. I am the manager of our company. My name is... It's not important. Xiao Yang interrupted the other party directly. Xiao Shang, come on, pour Mr. Xiao a cup of tea. The manager waved his hand. Xiao Yang was stunned. Why did he ask Xiao Shang to pour tea again? He looked at the manager in confusion. The latter suddenly realized what was going on and quickly said, My, Xiao Li, go pour Mr. Xiao a cup of tea. No need. I'll leave after signing the contract. Xiao Yang waved his hand and refused. He doesn't have a good impression of the manager, but this Xiao Shang is quite smart. Okay, Mr. Xiao, please come in, the contract is ready and we're waiting for you to sign it, said the manager, bowing slightly. Xiao Shang, you lead the way. Xiao Yang said directly to Xiao Shang without even looking at him. Suddenly Xiao Shang's originally gloomy face was filled with a smile. Dad, I'll take you to the conference room right now. The contracts are ready in the conference room. Dad? Everyone present was stunned, and then looked at Xiao Shang with admiration. Damn, a contract worth 20 million, let alone calling him dad. You can even call him grandpa. The manager is also regretting his decision very much at this moment. If he had known this would happen, he would have given you a good reception that day. Calling you grandpa all the time and guaranteeing that you would be able to enjoy the happiness of having many children and grandchildren at the age of 20. Although there is a big age gap between us, who wouldn't be happy to get money just by calling dad a few times? Xiao Shang pushed open the door of the conference room and saw hundreds of contracts in duplicate, all neatly arranged in the morning. Xiao Yang felt his hands were sore after signing only a dozen or so. Dad, do you want to have some snacks and take a rest first? Xiao Shang asked at the right time. Okay, Xiao Yang put down his pen, leaned back, and adjusted himself to a comfortable sitting position. But after a while, Xiao Shang brought some things over. Xiao Yang didn't hesitate and started eating in the conference room. Just then, a large group of people suddenly rushed in from outside. Mr. Xiao, this is the shortbread I brought for you from outside. It's delicious, please try it. Dad, this is the milk tea I bought for you. Dad, coffee? Xiaoyang was completely stunned. Where did this son come from? Xiao Yang often glared at Xiaoshang. Just call me Mr. Xiao from now on. Okay dad, no problem dad. After signing the contract, Xiao Yang was exhausted. The manager was already prepared and was waiting respectfully by the side with the POS machine in hand. Drop. Deduction successful. The prompt on the POS machine also made the manager very excited. 1 year's lease for 50 stores. This is definitely the largest order ever. No doubt about it. 21 million yuan. Xiaoshang, who was standing by, finally let go of his worries. Even before swiping the card, he was afraid that Xiao Yang would not be able to come up with the 20 million. After all, he looked too young, especially since he didn't even have a car. He looked like a liar no matter how you looked at him. But in the end he was not disappointed. Deal done. 21 million, and the commission he gets will also be an astronomical figure. Dad is awesome, Xiaoshang's words suddenly came out. The next second, all the employees, including the manager, spoke in unison. Dad is awesome. Xiao Yang's face was filled with embarrassment. But he felt extremely happy. He now finally understood how unimaginable the happiness of rich people was. Of course, son, you should charge less, especially for so many sons who are older than you. Never mind. Chapter 97 Forgot your gold mine. The system dad is awesome. Xiao Yang looked at the message on his phone and the smile on his face was almost gone. 210 million were quickly transferred to the card. This huge fortune almost knocked Xiao Yang unconscious. In the end, Xiao Yang walked out of Zhongyuan Real Estate Company surrounded by a group of his sons. Xiaoshang rode his horse as fast as he could and went downstairs first. After Xiao Yang came down, he had already driven the car in front of Xiao Yang. It's not that Xiao Yang dislikes it, but Xiaoshang's car is indeed quite old. He breathed a sigh of relief and decided he had to buy a car quickly. As a man who doesn't love cars, especially now that we have the ability, Xiao Yang's first thought was to buy a car, of course. He also had to buy one for Zhang Shangzu, otherwise it would help him develop his career. He couldn't always get something for free. Xiaoshang, what kind of car do you think is good for a man to drive? Xiao Yang said casually. Come to think of it, he still likes the Phaeton very much. It is his first car, luxurious and low-key, which is more in line with his introverted personality. However, Xiao Yang still rejected Phaeton. The Phaeton is good, but it lacks that flavor. Moreover, Xiao Yang didn't want to be too low-key and then be attacked by others. A man's car, Xiaoshang thought for a moment and blurted out. Of course it's a supercar. Supercar. Xiao Yang thought about it, and it seemed to be true. Who doesn't want to drive a supercar with a beautiful girl sitting next to him? There is no shortage of beautiful girls now, but there is a shortage of supercars. Still thinking, Xiaoshang continued. Dad, are you going to buy a new car? After all, Xiao Yang was the one who drove him here most of the time. And it seemed that Zhang Shangzu didn't have her own car yet. It might be because of some reason that she hasn't bought a car yet. So Xiao Zhang mentioned it. Yes, buy a car. Xiao Yang nodded. He was used to having another son. But as soon as he finished speaking, Xiaoshang suddenly felt a little unsatisfied. I do know that there is a GNE sports car exhibition going on recently. Near Xinhu Road. Oh, a car show? Yes, Dad, are you interested? Xiaoshang immediately became interested. In fact, Xiaoshang himself is interested in it, although he can't afford it. It's always okay to take a look. When Xiao Yang heard this, he thought he might as well go and take a look. At this point, Xiaoshang continued, this auto show is different from ordinary auto shows. There are some thresholds. There are thresholds for entering a car show. Xiao Yang was a little surprised, then laughed and said, I have heard of Lamborghini and Ferrari, but I am not familiar with Koenigsegg. This is the truth. Before, Xiao Yang never thought that he would be able to afford a supercar in his lifetime. As for Lamborghini and Ferrari, I'd basically learn it about them from others or from information above. Xiaoshang was a little surprised. He smiled and continued. Koenigsegg is an extremely niche and dreamlike thing. At this point, Xiaoshang paused and suddenly smiled. For us, it is a dream, but for Dad, it is different. Xiao Yang smiled. In the past, a supercar was just a dream for him. It seems that I really have to realize this dream today. This brand is from Sweden, a country with world-class engineering. The founder of this car, in pursuit of the perfect business concept and dream, chose to build his dream sports car. When this brand was first created, many people were not optimistic about it, but now, its performance has reached the forefront of world-class sports cars. It seems that Xiaoshang really likes this brand of car. But for an ordinary person like him, the only thing he can do is to say that he likes it. He talked incessantly, which aroused Xiao Yang's interest. "Then let's go and take a look," Xiao Yang said. "Okay." Xiao Shang was immediately excited. Then he continued. "However, this car brand is not well known in China. There are only 2 dealers in the whole of China, and the store on Jinhu Road has only been open for a short time." Xiao Yang frowned slightly, but smiled and said, "So this brand is quite low-key?" "Low-key?" Xiao Shang hesitated. "It seems to be okay. After all, only a few people can afford it." "By the way, you just said that there is a threshold for this auto show?" Xiao Yang asked, puzzled. "Yes, this auto show is considered an internal auto show, which requires a certain threshold." "What threshold?" Xiao Yang continued. "That's right, the threshold is that you need to have a capital verification of more than 30 million, or all more than 20 million toys," Xiao Shang explained. "Number of toys?" Xiao Yang was a little confused. "What are toys?" "Among these 20 million cars, commercial vehicles are not allowed. Such as Rolls-Royce and Bentley, these cars cannot be counted," Xiao Shang said excitedly. "In fact, I like this brand of car." But he was not even qualified to look at the car. Xiao Yang was already a little stunned. There is actually such a saying. Toy car. Why can't business cars like Rolls-Royce and Bentley be included? Is this the threshold? To put it bluntly, these supercars and impractical cars have to cost more than 20 million to participate in this internal auto show. This threshold really isolates ordinary people, right? After Xiao Shang said this, his expression was full of longing. It would be really lucky if Xiao Yang could bring himself in to take a look at the car. Seeing Xiao Shang's longing look, Xiao Yang also became more interested. He also wanted to see what this car, which was isolated from ordinary people, looked like. "Okay, let's go check it out." "Okay." Xiao Shang started the car directly. After a while, they arrived at a luxury hotel on Nanhu Road. After finding a place to park, Xiao Yang also looked around. "Look, that's the Fang Building, the administrative office building of the Fang Group. This is considered the most luxurious geographical center of Jiangdu. And Fang's 100-story building is the architectural symbol of the entire Jiangdu." Xiao Yang looked at the towering building and couldn't help but take a breath. "Damn it, who on earth am I going against?" But soon, he recovered. "Since I've offended you, there's nothing more to say. This is Saya N Building, a famous enterprise in Jiangdu City. Kerniskig's store is right below Saya N Building." Saya N Building. Xiao Yang was suddenly startled, as if he remembered something. "Yes, it's the office building of Siam N Group," Xiao Shang said enviously. Xiao Yang looked over and saw the 4 large words, Saya N Group, dazzling in not much shorter than the Fang Building. He suddenly slapped his thigh and quickly woke up the system in his mind. "System, do I have shares in Saya N Group?" To be honest, Xiao Yang had neglected it before. After all, several million was enough money for him to live a lifetime at that time, so he didn't take it too seriously at all. In addition, he was at a class reunion at the time and was being held hostage by Zhang Yan and King Xuantong on both sides. So he had no time to materialize and see. Now that I think about it, I actually forgot that there seemed to be a goldmine waiting for me to develop. The system quickly responded to Xiao Yang in its mind. The host currently holds 40 of Saya N Group shares. This share was acquired anonymously by the system using a special method and has not been exposed. 40%. Xiao Yang took a breath and looked at the towering building. "So, I own 40 of this building. Not only that, I also own 40 of the group's wealth." For a moment, Xiao Yang himself was surprised. "I took a look at the Fang Building in the distance. It doesn't seem to be anything great." Chapter 98 Internal Car Show. "Let's go see the car first." Xiao Yang smiled. Xiao Shang walked in front and soon arrived at the Kerniski dealership. "Hello, please show me your invitation. An invitation letter is required." Xiao Yang was a little surprised, and then he remembered the threshold that Xiao Zhang had just mentioned. "Or you can come with me to the side, and we can verify your qualifications. Once you pass our qualification verification, you will be eligible to receive our invitation letter." "Led the way," Xiao Yang said directly. Xiao Shang standing by was also full of excitement. A capital verification of more than 30 million is sufficient. He didn't believe that Xiao Yang, who could take out more than 20 million at once, would not have 30 million in his card. Suddenly someone came forward and respectfully invited Xiao Yang to another room in the store. Walking into the store, Xiao Yang was also surprised by the decoration here. Is this the life of rich people? He couldn't help but straighten his back. No wonder the 2 young masters of the Fang family were so arrogant. After being used to such a life, it was normal for them to look down on ordinary people. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. The manager in charge was a little confused. Working here, he had naturally seen many wealthy people coming in and out of the store. But it was rare to see someone as young as Xiao Yang. And after seeing Xiao Yang's identity information, this doubt became even greater. Xiao family, does Zhang have such a family? Hello, please verify eligibility. Do you want to verify eligibility by vehicle or by liquid funds? Liquid capital. Xiao Yang took out his bank card. Xiaoshang couldn't help but get in front of the computer at this time. After identity verification, Xiao Yang's information soon appeared on the bank card. The information is of course fine, and the next thing is the balance. A balance of more than 213 million suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Xiaoshan behind him gasped. Oh, my god. No wonder Xiao Yang paid 20 million to rent a shop without blinking an eye. The balance on the card is as much as 200 million. You know, the balance is different from fixed assets. Some people may have fixed assets worth hundreds of millions, but the liquid funds they can take out may not even be 1/10 of that. If someone can come up with 200 million in cash, then his net worth may be far more than this figure. The managers and verification personnel beside him were naturally shocked. People as young as Xiao Yang are usually the second generation of rich people in the family. The second generation rich man could have 100 million in pocket money, which is definitely not something an ordinary second generation rich man could come up with. For a moment, everyone's expressions became more respectful and puzzled. With just one glance, the manager confirmed it. If such customers are not qualified, then what kind of customers are qualified? An invitation letter quickly appeared in front of Xiao Yang. The manager also handed it over respectfully. Welcome to become our Kurnisky customer. Xiao Yang took the invitation letter, took back the bank card, and looked at the invitation letter. It was a black invitation letter with the Kurnisky logo in the center. Behind it is Kurnisky Auto Show vehicle information. Kurnisky Gem Era. Unlike other brands' auto shows, this internal auto show only has one car. Xiao Yang glanced at the date below and didn't expect it to be today. It was fate. Xiaoshang at the side was so excited that his face turned red. Such a magical car is usually not seen in ordinary auto shows. But today, he actually has the qualification to do so. Be sure to take pictures and show them off when you get back. Especially that bastard who cheated on himself. And Xiao Yang was also full of expectations. Of course the invitation letter can bring someone in. But only one person, so Xiaoshang can naturally come along. The two of them held the invitation letters and were not stopped this time. When I arrived at the auto show, it was just a small room. Not as big as the normal auto shows. The room is covered with posters of vehicles. But the posters do not show the entire car, but introduce the design concept of the vehicle. Here, Xiao Yang saw that the car had 4 obvious seats. He was a little surprised. An A supercar has 4 seats. Yes, this car has 4 seats, which is very rare in supercars. Xiaoshang had obviously studied it specially and began to introduce it. I heard that this car was designed by a designer for his daughter. It has high performance and is very practical. It has a relatively solid space and does not appear too crowded. It also has a relatively large luggage space, which many supercars do not have. After listening to this, Xiao Yang became even more interested. In his impression, supercars are generally those that are extremely cool but not very practical. But after hearing what Xiaoshang said, his expectations were fully raised. After a while, a lift was seen rising slowly. In the middle of the room, a mysterious car was covered with a grey cloth so no one could see it. But even so, the smooth lines under the grey cloth gave Xiao Yang a refreshing feeling. A staff member walked up to the vehicle and began to introduce it. Xiao Yang also stood aside with Xiaoshang, listening slowly to each other's introduction. Just then, a voice was heard. Xiaoshang? Xiaoshang's face suddenly darkened. He turned around and saw a seductively dressed woman clinging to a man. Xiao Yang was also a little surprised. He didn't expect that Xiaoshang actually had acquaintances here. But judging from Xiaoshang's expression, it seems that this acquaintance doesn't really want to see him. Bitch. Xiaoshang turned his head away and cursed in a voice that only Xiao Yang could hear. Xiao Yang finally understood. It seemed that this was the woman Xiaoshang had mentioned who cheated on him. The girl is pretty, but just pretty. Because of Lin Qiyu and several other girls. Xiao Yang's taste has already reached the sky, but for ordinary people, this is also considered a little beauty. Xiaoshang, I didn't expect you could get in here. The female staff raised the corners of her mouth slightly, her mouth full of sarcasm. Who is he? Asked the man next to the woman. He's my ex-boyfriend, a loser. I didn't expect he could end up in such a high-end place, the woman said with some disdain. Xiao Yang understood instantly. Logically speaking, it is normal and there is nothing wrong with a woman choosing a rich man. But it's fine that you cheated on someone, but now you're mocking her. That's a bit too much. Xiao Yang had read quite a few novels before, and this kind of scene usually happened to the protagonist. But they were all scenes where the male protagonist showed off his prowess as a guardian. I never thought that it would happen in front of me today. So, art comes from life. Without life, there would be no art of fiction. Xiao Yang smiled and walked behind Xiaoshang. Boss. Chapter 99. You look down on me, don't you? Our boss bought it. Boss, the woman was obviously stunned. Xiaoshang turned around, but a hint of doubt in his expression. Dad, are you calling yourself the boss? Looking at the man and woman in front of him, Xiaoshang suddenly came to his senses. He knew that this was Xiaoyang's chance to get back at him. For a moment, the doubt in his eyes was instantly replaced by excitement. I never expected that the plot in the novel would happen to me. Although this pretense may be slapped in the face, at least I pretended to be cool. Boss, shall we continue looking at cars? Xiaoyang said respectfully with a smile. Okay, continue looking at cars. A weird smile crossed Xiaoshang's lips. If Xiaoyang often watched short videos, he should be able to recognize it. This is the iconic crooked smile of the legendary Dragon King, god of medicine and god of war. The two of them turned their heads in tacit understanding and ignored the woman. At this moment, the surprise on the woman's face was gradually replaced by anger. This man who used to obey me, actually dared to show his displeasure to me. I took the initiative to say hello, but he turned a blind eye. She frowned and some powder fell off her face. She took the arm of the man next to her and said, Honey, let's take a good look at the car too. Yeah. The man nodded. The two walked to the side, and the man asked in a low voice. Xiaoya, that man you said is your ex-boyfriend? Yes. He's a poor loser. I've been with him for half a year, but he can't even afford a cell phone. I asked him to help me open a cosmetic store, but he broke it off for I don't know how long. The woman snorted. So that's how it is. The man nodded thoughtfully. But why does the young man next to him call him boss? This is not a place where just any scumbag can come in. I don't know either, but that guy is definitely not a rich man, the woman said, gritting her teeth. In fact, I don't know why, but after a man and a woman break up, both parties always feel that the other party will have a hard time without them, and it would be best if the life is not satisfactory, so that it meets their psychological expectations. And the woman felt the same way at this moment. She felt that Xiaoshang would be miserable and depressed after leaving her. I will miss the time I spent with you so much. Besides, he's a grown man. I just cheated on you once, so what's the big deal? You men can get drunk because of drinking parties or because of some clients, and go to all kinds of romantic places in the name of work. But it be that we women, being a little drunk, were taken advantage of by someone and broke into our homes. Isn't this normal? She has no regrets after all. The man next to her is the one who can possibly take her into the Kurnisky car show. She had heard that to enter this auto show, one must have a qualification verification of more than 30 million in liquid funds. The man next to her is the perfect rich son-in-law. How can a loser like Xiaoshang be compared with him? But she no longer had time to look at any car at this time. She looked at Xiaoshang from time to time. She was very curious about how Xiaoshang got in. Maybe he knows some wealthy clients and asked them for help. The man held the woman's hand tightly and said with a smile, DSK, what's so great about that? The woman snorted coldly. At this time, the grey cloth on the Kurnisky car was directly lifted by the staff after a long speech. The entire body of the vehicle suddenly appeared in front of everyone. For a moment, everyone's eyes were fixed on it. Even Xiaoshang's ex-girlfriend no longer stole glances at Xiaoshang, and her eyes were all on the car. Xiaoyang was also attracted by the car at once. Originally, Xiaoyang had no idea about supercars, although they were cool. He didn't have a strong desire for them. But this car hit me directly. The price of this car is 19.788 million yuan, the staff member introduced. In the eyes of ordinary people, a car worth millions can be considered a luxury car. A car worth 20 million is a sky price. However, due to the threshold, this place is still isolated from most ordinary people. But even so, the price still makes everyone gasp. At this time, the staff also began to slowly walk to the front of the car body. Snapped his fingers. The next second, the engine hood slowly lifted up. Unlike many vehicles, after the hood was lifted, only a trolley case appeared inside. This can be said to be the most stylish suitcase, Xiaoshang said with a smile. Really? Then, the trunk of the car was opened. And there were 3 boxes inside. These trolley cases looked very light and good looking. Xiaoyang didn't expect that a supercar could store so many things. It is indeed much more practical than many sports cars. Then, the car door opened. The interior of the car also looks extremely comfortable. The smooth lines and for seats look extremely comfortable without any sense of disobedience. There is a level gauge dial on the front of the car, which looks very technological. Xiaoyang is not a flamboyant person, but when he saw this car, his mind popped up with his handsome pose of driving a supercar with one hand. Although I like to keep a low profile, it doesn't affect my high profile. Xiaoyang had already decided on the car in his mind. The car priced at nearly 20 million. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. It was time to splurge now that he was a rich man. He couldn't keep a low profile forever. At this moment, Xiaoshang was also full of excitement. His eyes shining. On the side, the man and woman had walked over here at some point. She looked at Xiaoshang's expression, her eyes full of disdain. At this time, Xiaoyang quietly patted Xiaoshang's shoulder. I bought this car. Xiaoshang was stunned for a moment and turned to look at Xiaoyang. But he quickly suppressed his inner surprise. This is a father who has 200 million in change in his card. Before he could speak, Xiaoyang had already said to him respectfully, Boss, are you satisfied with the car? Satisfied. Xiaoshang crossed his arms and said with a smile, How about we buy this car? Bought it? When the man and woman nearby heard Xiaoshang's voice, their faces were immediately filled with astonishment. Xiaoyang was also surprised. Bought it? Seeing Xiaoyang's surprised expression, Xiaoshang was suddenly at a loss. Fortunately, Xiaoyang quickly adjusted himself. Then what about those cars in your garage? Oh shit. Xiaoshang almost vomited blood because of Xiaoyang's operation. Oh boy, this is what we are waiting for. Dad wants me to show off. Suddenly Xiaoshang smiled and said, I don't know how long those cars haven't been used. They are all covered with dust. It's better to buy a new car and drive it. Okay, Xiaoyang nodded and immediately waved to the staff. The staff member came over and looked at Xiaoyang. Hello? My boss bought this car, where can I pay for it? The voice fell. At this moment, the man and woman were instantly petrified on the spot. The staff member was also surprised. This was the fastest time he had ever sold a car. He couldn't help but look up and asked, Sir, are you paying in full? You look down on people, don't you? Xiaoyang immediately became angry and glanced at the man and woman beside him. The two were immediately confused. This seems. I'm sorry. Sir, please pay here. As he spoke, the staff member was extremely respectful and bowed directly. Boss, please. Xiaoyang's performance was no worse than that of a lackey. He also stepped aside and let Xiaoshang go first. Xiaoshang let out a long sigh and walked ahead in a daze. At this moment, the man and woman looked at each other. I don't believe he can afford this car, he must be showing off. The woman gritted her teeth and said in disbelief, Let's go and take a look. As they spoke, the two of them followed closely behind. Chapter 100 Don't look back when you're showing off. Xiaoshang was also paying attention to the movements of the man and woman at this moment. Although he did not look back, he was aware that the two had followed him. For a moment, my steps were a little messy and I felt a little nervous. He couldn't help wanting to turn his head, but Xiaoyang blocked his way and whispered in his ear. Don't look back. Have you ever read the novel? Why are you trying to be so cool? Oh, Xiaoshang let out a long sigh and walked with his head held high again. At this time, a woman's murmurs were heard from behind. I know him too well. We've been together for half a year. And he can't even afford to buy me a new phone. How can he possibly afford a 20 million car? Look, he's about to be exposed. Young people nowadays really like to brag and show off. The man also smiled. At this time, several people went upstairs. The manager asked someone to bring the contract. Xiaoyang patted the dust off the chair in a very servile manner, and then let Xiaoshang sit down. This look also caught Xiaoshang off guard. That is so nice. After sitting down, Xiaoyang took the tea handed to him by the manager and quickly handed it to Xiaoshang. Please sit down first, I'll pay for you. As he spoke, he took off Xiaoshang's coat and reached into his pocket. And a bank card appeared in his hand. Xiaoshang recognized that it was Xiaoyang's bank card. I suddenly felt relieved. Go, he waved his hand. And now he finally looked like a boss. Xiaoyang followed the manager to the front. Hello, please enter your password. Seeing this, Xiaoshang waved his hand. Xiaoyang immediately leaned over to listen, and the two of them also put on a good show. At this moment, the woman was right behind them, still looking at the two of them coldly. Go ahead and keep pretending. Do you think I'm stupid? I have to save money for 3 months to buy me a lipstick during the Double 11 discount. How can I buy a car? Haha. Xiaoyang entered the password. A manager is also staring at the display on the POS machine at this moment. Oh, I'm successful. Soon, a sound came from the POS machine. Xiaoshang finally breathed a sigh of relief. Xiaoyang was full of energy. He took the card and handed it to Xiaoshang. Boss. Well done, I'll buy myself a new car later. Xiaoshang waved his hand ostentatiously. Thank you, boss. Xiaoyang hurriedly thanked him. Looking again, the woman's face looked as ugly as a pig's liver. The man was also stunned for a long time. How is that possible? How could he possibly afford 20 million? That's a 20 million car. But he bought it without even blinking an eye. The woman's eyes widened. But her hand unconsciously let go of the man's arm. Naturally, Xiaoyang saw these actions. She shook his head. This woman is really hopeless. The woman was completely confused. She just couldn't believe that Xiaoshang in front of her could afford a car. But she had to believe it. After all, the payment was made in person in front of her. She was confused. Could it be that Xiaoshang is really a rich second generation? Did I make a mistake? Damn it. So, what is shown in TV dramas is not necessarily fake. The real Prince Charming has always been by your side. But you just misjudged him and thought he was a toad. The facts were right in front of her, and she couldn't refute them at all. Just then, a voice suddenly came from this side. Xiao Yang? Xiao Yang was also stunned for a moment, turned around. And it turned out to be Zhang Yichen. Why are you here? Zhang Yichen patted Xiao Yang's shoulder and said with a smile. At this moment, the man next to him was dumbfounded. He hurriedly trotted forward and said, Boss Zhang, why are you here? Zhang Yichen turned around and asked with a puzzled look on his face. Who are you? But soon, Zhang Yichen patted his head and reacted. I remember now, you seem to be that someone in our company. Who is it? The department manager, right? Zhang Yichen thought about it for a long time but couldn't think of a name. My name is Li. Before he finished speaking, Zhang Yichen seemed to have forgotten about it, and turned to look at Xiao Yang. Are you here to see the car too? Xiao Yang stroked his forehead. How did I meet Zhang Yichen? This won't be a reveal, right? After thinking for a while, Xiao Yan smiled and said, Boss Zhang, I am here with my boss to look at the car. This is our boss, Mr. Shang. Xiao Yang blinked. Suddenly, Zhang Yichen felt guilty. He immediately held Xiao Shang's hand and said with a smile, It turns out to be Mr. Shang. Why are you here? I was wondering. But Xiao Yang's identity, how could he possibly enter this place? Are you buying a car? Zhang Yichen climbed up the pole with an enthusiastic look. At this time, the man was already terrified. What does this mean? The woman at the side also looked confused. She quickly leaned over to the man and asked, Who is he? The vice president of Saya N Group, the fourth master of the Zhang family. When the voice fell, the woman was stunned. Zhang family. There are still a few Zhang families in Zhongdu City. As for the Saya N Group, it is even more famous. And as the fourth master of the Zhang family and the vice president of Saya N Group, he was holding Xiao Shang's hand tightly and chatting with him enthusiastically at this moment. How is this possible? She stood there stupidly, her eyes empty and lifeless. Not only did she cheat on someone, she also hooked up with a man who she thought was rich. And this rich man is actually a minor character whose name no one can even remember. What's going on? Zhang Yichen finally spoke and looked at Xiao Yang. It's like this is the manager of your company. And it seems that our boss has been given to. Xiao Yang stopped talking. The next second, the man fell to his knees with a thud. Mr. Shang, I was wrong. I didn't recognize a great man. I didn't mean to destroy the relationship between you and your girlfriend. A man shook off the woman's hand and said with a hint of tears in his voice. Xiao Yang was stunned, Xiao Chang was stunned, and the woman next to him was also stunned. What's going on? Zhang Yichen understood immediately. It turned out that he was cheating on her. No wonder Xiao Yang was calling her boss. His face darkened, and he stared at the man and said, I didn't expect you to be so bold. You even dared to provoke Mr. Shang. Not to mention you, even I wouldn't dare. Do you know who Mr. Shang is? Zhang Yichen's voice gradually became heavier. Who is it? The man was stunned. Forget it. You won't understand even if I tell you. You are not worthy of knowing at your level. Zhang Yichen shook his head. Our company does not keep people with bad morals. You, pack up and leave. The man almost fainted after hearing this. He immediately hugged Zhang Yichen's legs and cried bitterly. Boss Zhang, I was wrong. Please don't fire me. I still have a wife and children to support. I rely on this bowl of rice for my living. The man never imagined that a woman he just casually hooked up with would end up offending such a big boss. Even Zhang Yichen doesn't dare to offend him. There aren't many in the entire Jie province. Thinking of this, he pleaded with a dead heart, Boss Shang, I haven't paid off my mortgage and car loan yet. Please have pity on me and ask Boss Zhang not to fire me. Xiao Shang sighed, still a little soft-hearted, looked at Zhang Yichen, and said, Boss Zhang, I don't take these things to heart. Women, aren't they all? He smiled, his eyes full of disdain. Okay, Zhang Yichen nodded and looked at the man. Get lost. Thank you, Mr. Zhang, and thank you, Mr. Shang. The man nodded quickly and ran out. At this moment, the woman was still standing there in a daze, her head dizzy. She originally thought that she had just made a mistake and lost a rich husband like Xiao Zhang. But now she thought that having a Phoenix man who drives a Mercedes would not be bad. But who knew that this man was completely deceiving his own feelings? What's the point of being single since birth and loving yourself? It's all a lie. He actually has elderly parents and young children to take care of. And he still has car loans and mortgages to pay off? For a moment, her whole body was shaking, and she couldn't believe what she saw. Xiao Shang. She looked at Xiao Shang, opening her mouth and wanting to say something. She thought she knew Xiao Shang very well, and felt that as long as she changed her mind and acted pitifully, Xiao Shang would soften his heart. But how could Xiao Shang still believe what the woman said at this moment? He just smiled and didn't even look at her. At this moment, Xiao Yang gave the manager a warning. The next moment, the manager came over hurriedly. "Hello, ma'am, are you looking to buy a car?" If you have nothing to do, please don't disturb my customers from buying cars. Okay?" She was stunned for a moment, and the next second, a staff member came over and drove her out. Chapter 101. The king of hell is easy to deal with, but the little devil is hard to deal with. After the woman left, Xiao Shang quickly stood up from his chair. Dad. Zhang Yichen was stunned looking at Xiao Shang, who was a few years older than Xiao Yang. He fell into deep thought. Xiao Yang was also embarrassed. "You, just call me Xiao Yang." Xiao Yang rubbed his temples and felt a headache. Zhang Yichen also looked at Xiao Yang in surprise. A look in his eyes seemed to be saying, "Do you still have this habit?" Before Xiao Yang could say anything, Xiao Shang also hurriedly explained. "Well, Mr. Xiao is my partier's father. I accidentally called him the wrong name." It had. Xiao Yang smiled a little embarrassed lie. "Okay. Did you buy the car downstairs?" Zhang Yichen leaned over and asked. "Yes," Xiao Yang nodded. 20 million, Zhang Yichen boasted. But thinking about the wine in Xiao Yang's house, the 20 million doesn't seem like a big deal. Besides, the Fang family's debt has not been recovered yet. And there is still 200 million yuan. By the way, for Thunkel, are you here to buy a car too? Just taking a look. My family has enough cars. I just saw you outside and thought it was a scam. So I came here to take a look. I didn't expect it was really you. Zhang Yichen smiled. By the way, I haven't told you about the Fang family yet. They are very quick to agree the compensation is 200 million. They are just waiting for you to agree. So fast, Xiao Yang was a little surprised. I still have nearly 200 million in my card, and I still have 100 million now. This money came too quickly. They have a big business and are mainly worried about damaging the reputation of Xingfu community. Zhang Yichen smiled. This is indeed the case. The villas in Xingfu community are worth tens of millions, or even hundreds of millions, which seems to be nothing to them. If it affects the whole, or the entire Fang group, the loss may be more than just 200 million. The Fang family has plenty of people who are good at settling accounts. So they didn't make any fuss about this. And I'll find time to do it. Xiao Yang was also filled with emotion at this moment. A few months ago, no, just a few days ago, this was something he couldn't even imagine. The chat has been transferred in, and the car issue has also been settled. But you can't drive away right away. You have to wait until tomorrow to pick up the car. Xiao Yang was not in a hurry. He said hello to Zhang Yichen and left. Let me talk about two things. Inside a hospital. At this moment, Fang Jingyang was half lying on the hospital bed, with several layers of pillows behind him and thick gauze wrapped around his stomach. He flipped through the information in his hand, his face gradually darkening. "That's all you found out?" The man in black clothes next to him was stunned for a moment, then quickly lowered his head. "This is all of Xiao Yang's information from childhood to adulthood. We have verified it and there is no problem with its authenticity." The son of a restaurant cook? Fang Jingyang narrowed his eyes. "Are you fucking kidding me? This young master, we really..." Before he finished his words, all the information was thrown at the man in black. "Tell me, a poor person, shouldn't it be said that a family that doesn't even have money to see a doctor and has to borrow money to go to college has framed me and beaten my brother?" He sneered, his eyes full of disbelief. "We did check. His father has been bedridden for a long time. His mother is just a worker, and he has been in high school." "Fuck you." Fang Jingyang interrupted the man in black directly. "Do you think such a person can afford a villa in Xingfu community and a bottle of 1980 till a fight?" Fang Jingyang was furious. In fact, he read the entire document and had to admit that there were no loopholes in the document. Xiao Yang's resume from childhood to adulthood is all in these materials. This includes teachers, evaluations and even the talk behind one's back from friends and relatives. No matter how big or small. But how could he believe this? How could I possibly believe it? There must be some unspeakable secret. Fang Jingyang frowned. If the information is true, then there is only one reason. Xiao Yang's true family background may be much more terrifying than his. There are some things that ordinary people don't know. But Fang Jingyang still knows a thing or two. Being able to cover up a person's resume so perfectly is something that even the Fang family themselves find difficult to do. Unless his family background. Fang Jingyang thought deeply. After a moment he shook his head again. There is only one Xiao family in China. But it can't be Xiao Yang's family. How could a peasant be compared with a family like that? Perhaps he was too angry just now. At this moment, Fang Jingyang felt waves of pain in his abdomen again. "Xiao Yang. I don't care who you are, I must get you. I must settle this account with you." Suddenly, outside the ward, a middle-aged man rushed in. Dad, why are you back? Fang Jingyang was a little surprised. Didn't my father go abroad? Why is he back? Why can't I come back? Fang Zhen snorted coldly. If I hadn't come back, my two sons would have been beaten to death. He looked to the other side and saw Fang Jingyuan sleeping soundly in the ward next to him. I know everything, Xiaoyang, an ordinary man, schemed against you like this. Fang Zhen shook his head, looking a little disappointed. Fang Jingyang was obviously still a little afraid of his father, and he quickly explained, Dad, he may not be a child from an ordinary family. Oh, Fang Zhen was a little surprised. In fact, he had also read Xiaoyang's information. It's worth it that I've handed the company over to you for so long since you thought of these things. Fang Zhen let out a long sigh. Yes, ordinary people. How could an ordinary person possibly get on board the Zhang family's ship? His Zhang family is not a good family at all. The fact that they allowed Zhang Liaosai to get involved shows that Zhang Yiming obviously does not intend to allow a normal marriage between the Fang and Zhang families. What is the attitude of the Zhang family? Why did they send Zhang Liaosai to get involved? At this moment, Fang Zhen frowned slightly. This is the question that puzzles him the most. Could it be that the Zhang family has boarded some big ship? But the Fang and Zhang families were obviously going to get married. So why would he get on another ship? I can't figure it out. It's really puzzling. Fang Zhen glanced at the documents scattered on the ground, picked up one and took a look. Qingyang Self-Service Food Restaurant. As he spoke, he handed it to the secretary beside him. The secretary took it, glanced at it, understood what Fang Zhen meant, turned around and walked out. No matter who it is. Don't even think about attacking our Fang family? Fang Zhen snorted coldly. Since I don't know Xiaoyang's background, I might as well give it a try. Let's see what he is up to. In this world, there is a saying that Fang Zhen feels makes a lot of sense. That is, the king of hell is easy to deal with, but the little ghosts are difficult to deal with. Release some little ghosts, even if they can't hurt the opponent. They can still disgust him. He can't let people bully the Fang family for no reason. Chapter 102. The road to self-reliance of the top-notch rich man has been completed. Xiaoyang naturally didn't know what happened in the hospital. And he didn't know that someone had already set his sights on Xingyang Gourmet Restaurant. At this time he was still sitting in Xiao Zhang's broken car. A stale smell came. I will definitely change the car quickly so that you can sit more comfortably. Xiao Zhang laughed. Xiaoyang rolled his eyes at him. After I pick up my own car, do I still need to ride in your car? Send me back to Xingfu community first, Xiaoyang said. Xiao Zhang nodded, and then slowly said, Thank you, boss, for playing this role for me today. He let out a long sigh. As a man who doesn't want to have some dignity in front of others, especially in front of that couple, although it was just a play, it was too important to him. It's just a small matter. Xiaoyang didn't care too much. However, Xiao Zhang's heart was already deeply moved at this moment. Especially Xiaoyang's every move when acting, that sense of humility. He is simply a movie star. It must not be easy for Xiaoyang, who has a mysterious identity and a huge net worth, to achieve this. But he had no idea that Xiaoyang had done a lot of these things. Thinking about the years when his father was seriously ill. He had also gone out to work part-time. He had really experienced all these things. Otherwise how could he have acted them out? Boss. No. I want to follow you, Xiao Zhang suddenly said. Follow me? Xiaoyang was a little surprised. Why? Aren't you doing pretty well now? It's because of you that I feel better. Xiao Zhang said truthfully. In fact, I was thinking of quitting this job. But my stomach didn't agree. Xiao Zhang let out a long sigh. The biggest problem in life is to follow the right boss. After interacting with Xiaoyang these days, his biggest feeling is that Xiaoyang is definitely a good boss. Especially what happened today. Now, as long as Xiaoyang doesn't let him die, he will probably do anything. Of course, the most important thing is that Xiaoyang is very rich. Xiaoyang pondered for a moment, then chuckled and said, You're going to work with me without even asking me how much I'm going to pay you. No matter how much, I'm willing. Xiao Zhang raised his head and said. After that, he laughed miserably again. Can it be worse than it is now? What do you mean? Speaking of this, Xiaoyang became a little curious. Well, I've actually been working for this company for a year and have done quite a bit of business. But because of some conflicts with the manager, so. Xiao Zhang's face flashed with a hint of helplessness. And he continued, You may not believe it, but I haven't even been promoted yet. The one-year internship period hasn't ended yet. He shook his head. Wow, a one-year internship period. Xiaoyang was also surprised by Xiao Zhang's words. Who can withstand this? Why don't you quit? How can I quit? I dare not quit. I graduated from a technical secondary school and it's not easy to find a job like this. He sighed. Xiaoyang nodded thoughtfully. It's not easy. But you also said that it's not easy to find a job. Why do you think you can work with me? Xiaoyang continued to ask. What Xiaoshang has done these days is quite good. It is not easy for someone with a technical secondary school education to handle things so clearly. But even so, you can't just accept followers casually, you can always help everyone you meet. Hearing Xiao Yang's words, Xiaoshang immediately said, I know a lot. Especially here in Chengdu. I've sold insurance. I've sold houses, I've sold cars, and I've fixed cars. I'm familiar with all the streets in Chengdu. Even if you lose a dog here, I can find it for you if you want to. Xiao Yang was speechless. I hired you just to help me find a dog. However, Xiao Yang thought about it and decided to accept Xiaoshang. Not to mention his character, in terms of ability, he can be considered another Lu Xing. Lu Xing started working outside after graduating from high school. In JM City, he can do everything and know everything. As for Xiaoshang, he is almost the same and he is familiar with Chengdu. Now that Lu Xing is still recovering from his injuries, it would be nice to have him stay and do something. Okay, then help me find a dog. Xiao Yang nodded and smiled. Suddenly, a light flashed in Xiaoshang's eyes and his expression became a little excited. After these days of contact with Xiao Yang, he felt that he had a deep understanding of him. Unlike other rich second generations, Xiao Yang's heart is at least that of an ordinary person. He does not look down on others or act arrogantly. In fact, he was also secretly observing Xiao Yang and knew about the Xingyang food store in University Town. Through this series of operations, he could roughly guess what Xiao Yang was going to do. Opening a new store can set off a whole university town. And renting so many stores in a grand manner is definitely a big deal. It is not something that a rich second generation who knows nothing can do. And what happened today further illustrates how Xiao Yang treats his subordinates. At least if I follow him, he will never treat me unfairly. What happened today is enough to prove this. He knew that if he didn't fight for some opportunities, he might miss them. In the car, Xiao Yang thought for a moment and said, and finish your own business as soon as possible. And then report to me. I'll see if there is anything I want you to do. Good. Xiao Yang was sent to the Xingfu community. Because outside vehicles were not allowed to enter, Xiao Yang could only walk back. At this moment, a car suddenly stopped beside Xiao Yang. A head popped out of the car window. Xiao Yang? His name is Xiao Yang. If I remember correctly, the other person was smiling with a kind smile on his face. Uncle Lin. Xiao Yang didn't expect that this world was so small. He actually met Lin Qiyu's father, Lin Hanwen, here. Lin Hanwen drove a Bentley business car, but he was not as ostentatious as he appeared. You live here too? Lin Hanwen asked. Yes, I live in Area B. What a coincidence, me too. Lin Hanwen smiled and waved his hand. Get in the car, I'll take you there. This place is not close to Area B. Xiao Yang was not polite and suggested that it would be better to take a ride than to walk for more than 10 minutes. I just bought a house here. I didn't expect you to live here too. If you are free, come to my house often and bring Shuoi with you. If there is a chance, Xiao Yang smiled. The two chatted for a while. And the car had already arrived at Area B of Xingfu community. Lin Hanwen did not stop the car, but drove to his doorstep. Come on, come up and sit down. After getting out of the car, Lin Hanwen invited directly. Good. As soon as Xiao Yang finished speaking, a clear voice suddenly came into his mind. Bite. Mission. The road to self-reliance of the high-quality rich man is completed. Reward. Chengdu City Planning Map 1. Chapter 103 The Treasure That Makes Money While Lying Down. Mission accomplished. Hearing the system's prompt, Xiao Yang was immediately surprised. He thought that after joining this route, he estimated that the profit of the task would be 5 million and the completion speed would be fast. But he didn't expect it to be completed so quickly. After all, the real joining has not yet begun. The company has not been officially established yet. But Zhang Shengzhu is already busy with this matter. Just this morning, Zhang Shengzhu said that she had attracted more than a dozen investors to join in. But in less than a day, she has already completed another wave of joining. So far, the company has not been established and the brand has not started to build. That's already a lot of money. When it comes to making money, you still have to rely on professionals. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. If it were me, no matter how popular the barbecue restaurant was, it would probably take me several months to earn the 5 million. On the contrary, Zhang Shengzhu, who had only proposed the plan a few days ago, had already received 5 million. Treasure. Xiao Yang seemed to have seen a gold mine. Here, Xiao Yang followed Lin Hanwen into the house. This villa is not much different from Xiao Yang's. It is also luxuriously decorated, and the wine cabinet is filled with expensive red wines. Although it is not as good as Xiao Yang's wine cabinet, it is also beyond the reach of ordinary people. Sit down. Lin Hanwen smiled. After a while, someone came down from upstairs. It's Lin Hanwen's foreign girlfriend Catalina. Catalina was also very surprised to see Xiao Yang. and said with an accent, "You are Xiaogang, right? If I remember correctly. You are Shuoyi's boyfriend." "It's me, hello," Xiaoyang smiled. Lin Hanwen took a bottle of wine from the wine cabinet. "Drink something?" "Okay." Xiaoyang did not refuse. His house was next door, so if he drank too much, the worst that could happen was that he could just go back and take a nap. Lin Hanwen smiled, opened the wine and sobered up. "Last time, Jiwoi was here, and I was embarrassed to ask you some questions. Now that it's just the two of us, let's talk about men." "Men's topics?" Xiaoyang was stunned. "Yes, which bath center in Zhengdu has good service?" "If you say this, then I will." "Xiaoyang, you are still in school, right?" Lin Hanwen asked with a smile. "No, I was just expelled from school," Xiaoyang said truthfully. How could this child be so honest? "By the way, how many times a week do you usually do this?" "What do you mean several times?" Xiaoyang was stunned. And I realized it and thought, wow, how do you ask your son-in-law like this? "Bah, who is your son-in-law?" Xiaoyang's mind was in a mess. A parent of a girl with whom you have an unclear relationship comes up to you and asks, "How many times a week do you do this?" Oh shit, who the hell can stand this? "Wait, Uncle Lin, don't get me wrong, Shuoi and I really have nothing." Xiaoyang waved his hands quickly. "Oh, what about what happened at the hotel that day?" "What? You misunderstood what happened in the hotel, that day was purely a coincidence. Things between us haven't developed to that stage yet," Xiaoyang explained, shaking his head. "Is that so?" Lin Hanwen nodded thoughtfully. "I don't mean anything else. I'm just worried that you'll be too obsessed after all. As a man, you should have your own career." Lin Hanwen let out a long sigh. Although he has been abroad for a long time, his thinking is more open. But deep down, there are still some Chinese ideas. He was afraid that Xiaoyang and his daughter would indulge in pleasure every day and end up not being able to do anything well. Although supporting the people is not a big deal with his own ability, he still hopes that Xiaoyang can have some achievements. Especially after hearing that Xiaoyang was expelled from school. "By the way, why were you expelled from school?" Lin Hanwen asked. Changing the subject. "We had a fight outside school," Xiaoyang said concisely. The two didn't dwell on this matter for long. Lin Hanwen didn't take it too seriously, it was just a fight. It was normal for boys to fight. Just then, Lin Hanwen's cell phone rang. The other party said sorry and immediately walked aside to answer the phone. With nothing to do, Xiaoyang immediately opened the system in his mind. Zhengdu City Planning Map for the next year. This is a blueprint of how the city planning and construction will be carried out in the future. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. This kind of top-secret document is simply a money-making tool. With this blueprint, we can know the urban construction of Zhengdu City in advance. The simplest logic is that you can buy the demolished building in advance and wait for the demolition payment. Buy residential buildings near the new campus in advance and wait for them to become super high-value school district housing. That's simply a treasure sitting on the ground counting money. Xiaoyang took a rough look and didn't expect that the biggest change was to a piece of land in the old city. This place will be developed into a high-tech urban area. In the future, the most famous science and technology university in Province J will be located here. This place will also become the most expensive place for land in the entire Zhengdu city. Xiaoyang looked at it slowly, and the current situation and future state of each place kept appearing in his mind. The current land price in the old city should not be expensive. Xiaoyang suddenly had a bold idea. However, he knew that this bold idea required sufficient funds to support it. In front of many companies, 200 million, plus the 200 million in compensation from the Fang family, the total amount is probably less than 400 million. And these 400 million yuan, even in the old city area with low land prices, would probably be like a deep ocean with few waves. It's not that you can't make any money if you know that land prices will appreciate. You will definitely make back the money you invested. It's just a matter of how much you earn. Xiaoyang was thinking. At this time, Lin Hanwen had already returned. "You've been waiting for a long time." He looked at the wine bottle beside him and said with a smile, "The wine should be almost sober now, let's have a drink." He poured a glass of wine for Xiaoyang, and the two of them started drinking while shaking the glasses. "By the way, Uncle Lin, what do you do?" Xiaoyang suddenly asked. After all, judging from the change that Lin Hanwen gave to Lin Qiu, Lin Hanwen was not short of money at all. After seeing the city planning map, Xiaoyang knew that he alone could not cause any trouble. So he wanted to pull Lin Hanwen in as well. "Me, when I was abroad, I was involved in the real estate industry. Now the domestic real estate situation is so good. And we just acquired a company. We plan to use this company as a basis to enter the real estate market in Zhengdu City." What a coincidence. Xiaoyang was a little surprised. "I just had an idea, but I didn't expect that Lin Hanwen would do this." He was about to continue asking, but another phone call came. Lin Hanwen picked up the phone again. This time he didn't walk too far. He just stood up and answered the phone as if no one was around. What? Why are they forcing us to demolish it? Lin Hanwen frowned slightly. The company has put most of its working capital into the property. Tell them that even if they are not allowed to demolish it, they have to find a way to get approval from the higher-ups. That's it. After coming back, Lin Hanwen's face looked obviously much heavier. He shook the glass and took a sip of red wine, then he felt better. He slumped down on the sofa, frowning, looking like he was worried about something. Chapter 104. Is this a coincidence? Seeing this, Xiaoyang immediately asked. Uncle Lin, what's wrong? Nothing yet, it's just a business matter. Why are you asking about it, kid? Lin Hanwen waved his hand, picked up the wine glass and clinked it lightly with Xiaoyang's. I just heard from Uncle Lin that there seems to be a real estate development going on and they are forcing it not to be demolished or rebuilt, right? Xiaoyang did not really listen and stop asking, but continued to ask. Yes, our company has acquired a large real estate, and we have invested a lot of working capital in it. This is a big project. If it can be developed, it will definitely be a good opportunity for our company to become famous and an important way to take root in Jiangdu. Lin Hanwen didn't mind. He changed into a comfortable sitting position and started talking. Isn't this a good thing? If the property is developed smoothly, we should make a lot of money, Xiaoyang said with a smile. Yeah, Lin Hanwen nodded. But recently some people have put a lot of pressure on me. There may be some problems here. It has been delayed for a long time. If it continues, it may cause considerable problems for the company's operations. He let out a long sigh, no longer feeling as relaxed as before. But after a while, he suddenly smiled and said, Why am I telling you this? Can you understand? Xiaoyang smiled and said, I only have a vague understanding of it. Uncle Lin and I are different. I have been in Jiangdu for so many years. There are some things you may not know, but I know them. That's true. Lin Hanwen smiled and continued. In fact, I just came back and realized that some things are indeed very complicated. Although the property cannot be developed for the time being, many companies have approached us and are interested in taking over the property. I suspect that someone is deliberately suppressing the rights to the property, hoping to pressure me into reselling the development rights. Xiaoyang pondered for a moment, frowned slightly and said, You just came back. I guess the real estate developers in Jiangdu don't want you to get involved. After all, the pie is so small. If one more person shares it, many people may get less. Yes, I think so too. Lin Hanwen did not shy away from it. By the way, Uncle Lin, in which area is the real estate you want to develop? I am familiar with Jiangdu City. Can I help you analyze it? Xiaoyang suddenly said, changing the subject. It's the new land in XC District. XC District has always been one of the key development areas in Jiangdu. If nothing unexpected happens, the housing prices there will become the ceiling of Jiangdu City's housing prices in 2 years at most. Lin Hanwen said confidently. Obviously there are great hopes for the future prospects of this land. Xiaoyang nodded thoughtfully. The XC District is an old science and technology development zone, and the authorities have always wanted to transfer the commercial center to the XC District. In recent years, housing prices in the XC District have changed again and again, and many people are very optimistic about the development there. Just as Lin Hanwen said, in the eyes of many people, in 2 years, it will become the commercial center of Jiangdu City, and the housing prices will become the ceiling of Jiangdu City. Only, that's just in the eyes of many people. Xiaoyang, who had just looked at Jiangdu's urban planning map for the next year, was shocked at this moment. Others may not know, but he knows it very well. In the coming year in Jiangdu, at least that area will be abandoned. Not to mention that piece of land, even a lot of nearby buildings were demolished. So the focus began to shift to the old city. And what is the reason behind this? Xiaoyang spread out the map in his mind and looked at it carefully. Only the marginal land of the XC area is black on the map. Xiaoyang then asked the system and got an answer. The nature of the land. After development, a very serious reason was discovered regarding the nature of the land in this area. The land here is extremely fragile, and the most serious problems are found underground. This land is poisonous. It's not just a toxic joke, it's really poisonous. Perhaps it was buried too deep underground. Later, after identification, it was discovered that there was a little-known secret hidden 20 meters underground. During a certain war era, some advanced weapons were researched underground. This is because many toxic chemicals have seeped into the soil, causing irreparable damage to the land. The exposure of large areas of polluted land also led to the need to replan urban construction. Gradually, the economic development of the XC District also shifted to the old city, which led to the high-tech urban area in the old city on the map. Seeing this, Xiaoyang also took a breath. If Lin Hanwen continues to invest money to develop the land, and given the nature of the land here, all the money may be wasted. No matter how optimistic he is, Lin Hanwen would probably collapse to the point of jumping off the building. Such a large piece of land has been turned into wasteland. It is not even suitable for building factories, nothing can be done with it. But now, this piece of land is still a treasure in everyone's eyes. What to do? Xiao Yang frowned slightly. He couldn't just tell Lin Hanwen, "I have a future city planning map." I'm afraid that before he could finish speaking, Lin Hanwen would kick him out as a mental patient. After thinking for a while, Xiao Yang slowly said, "By the way, Uncle Lin, has your building been subjected to any geological monitoring recently?" "Yes, the government has already done a land inspection 10 years ago. There is absolutely no problem here, it is an excellent piece of commercial land. Otherwise, the XC district would not have developed into what it is now." "That's strange," Xiao Yang frowned slightly. However, Xiao Yang still believes in the system more than the above words. There is definitely something wrong with this piece of land. But it's not easy to say it out loud. What to do? After organizing his words, Xiao Yang looked up and said, "Uncle Lin, there are some things I don't know whether I should say or not. Just tell me. Uncle Lin, if possible, I think you should give up this property." After the words fell, Lin Hanwen stood up suddenly. "What did you say?" "I think we should give up this property." "Impossible. I have invested a lot of liquid capital in this land." Lin Hanwen shook his head. Xiao Yang was suddenly speechless. He took a long breath and said, "Uncle Lin, what is the expected profit after the development of this land is completed?" "Income?" Lin Hanwen didn't even think about it and blurted out, "About 20 to 30 billion. Fuck." Xiao Yang's eyes almost popped out. I suddenly understood why a certain big guy who set small goals became so rich. But if you can earn that much, the amount of money you invest would probably be immeasurable. If something really goes wrong, I'm afraid Lin Hanwen will really have to jump off the building. Xiao Yang thought about it and his expression became much more serious. "Uncle Lin, I don't want to joke with you, my suggestion is to give up the property and resell it." "Why?" Lin Hanwen frowned, and his attitude towards Xiao Yang suddenly turned negative. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and said, "Uncle Lin, I can't tell you the reason, but please believe me, it's best to resell this land and definitely not continue to participate in it." Seeing Xiao Yang's expression, Lin Hanwen immediately started thinking, "The people who have contacted me now include Xinglong Real Estate, Zhanghe Real Estate, and Fang's Real Estate. If resold." "Wait, Uncle Lin, what did you just say?" Xiao Yang was stunned for a moment and asked, "Is Fang's Real Estate here?" "Yes. Uncle Lin, if you can give up this project, I will be responsible for any problems that arise." Xiao Yang waved his hand. "I confirm," Xiao Yang asked again, "is Fang's Real Estate the same Fangs from Zhongdu Fang's group?" "Yes," Lin Hanwen nodded. Xiao Yang's eyebrows suddenly raised. "Isn't this a coincidence? Isn't this a coincidence?" Chapter 105. Please resell the project to the Fang family. Fang family. If there is one thing that bothers Xiao Yang the most right now, it is the feud with the Fang family. Although the Fang family seemed to have no reaction during this period, he knew that a big family like this would probably not let him go so easily. So, since the fight is over until one dies, Xiao Yang has nothing to be afraid of. It would be even better if he could severely screw the Fang family. "I originally thought that this was a bad project after all. Cheating passersby, I wouldn't say I felt guilty about it, but I would feel a little uncomfortable in my heart. But if it was the Fang family, then there would be no need for this at all. Uncle Lin, please make sure to resell this project to the Fang family." Xiao Yang looked like he was asking for help. This made the other party stunned. Seeing Xiao Yang's affirmative look, Lin Hanwen didn't know how to answer. "Are you related to the Fang family?" He still regards this project as a good project. So naturally he thinks that Xiao Yang is pleading for the Fang family. But at this moment, Lin Hanwen's face looked a little gloomy. "Who are you? Don't think you can be so great just because you have a little relationship with her daughter. Such a huge amount of money cannot be explained in just a few words." Looking at Lin Hanwen's expression, Xiao Yang knew what the other party was thinking. He shook his head and said, "Uncle Lin, I have nothing to do with the Fang family. To be honest, if I have to say there is any relationship, I have some grudges against them." "Grudges?" Lin Hanwen was stunned. He still didn't understand what Xiao Yang meant. "You have a grudge with them, but you still want me to hand over the project to them. This is a project with a profit of tens or even hundreds of billions. Actually, the reason I was expelled from school was because I beat the Fang family's youngest son," Xiao Yang said slowly. "Besides, their current young master is also in the hospital. So he is related to me." "You beat up their two sons?" As soon as Xiao Yang finished speaking, Lin Hanwen's face was filled with shock. Although he had only been back for a short time, he had a thorough understanding of the situation in Zhongdu. The Fang family is definitely the most powerful family in Zhongdu, and also the most deeply rooted family. A century-old foundation cannot be compared with the small-scale operations of other enterprises. Even if I have billions of assets, it is nothing in front of the Fang family. But what did Xiao Yang say? He beat the two sons of the Fang family. At this point, he remembered that Xiao Yang also lived in Xingfu community. Apart from other things, the housing prices here are often hundreds of millions, which is not a place that ordinary people can afford to live in. Before this, he had a good impression of Xiao Yang and seemed to have a good relationship with his daughter. But he did not have the demeanor of a rich young man. So he thought that Xiao Yang's family situation was average. But now, he had to reexamine Xiao Yang. He doesn't have the temperament of those rich second generations. There is no such nobleness. Some of them are hard to understand. He raised his head and said, "This matter you mentioned is too big. I need to think about it carefully." Xiao Yang frowned slightly and said thoughtfully, "I'm waits for no one. If this project really finds out something, then that's trouble." Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. Lin Hanwen thought about it and nodded solemnly. Testing the nature of the land is one thing, and the other is that he now has to find out the authenticity of what Xiao Yang said. If he really had a grudge against the Fang family, it would be impossible for him to resell such a good project to the Fang family. But there is another possibility. It was because Xiao Yang had offended the Fang family so much that he was afraid of revenge from the Fang family. So he wanted to take credit for this project. For a moment, he was a little hesitant. At this time, Xiao Yang said again in a deep voice, "Uncle Lin, if you want to continue with this project, I won't stop you. But if you resell it to the Fang family now, I promise you that if they succeed, I will be responsible for all your losses." Lin Hanwen was immediately shocked by Xiao Yang's words. "You are responsible? This is a project with profits of tens or even hundreds of billions. Please believe me. If you don't believe it, I can also sign a document for you and I will compensate you for all your losses," Xiao Yang said with a smile. Lin Hanwen frowned. The person sitting next to him now no longer looked like the junior Xiao Yang just now, but instead looked like a businessman who was discussing business with him. But this guarantee is too bold. Why should he? After thinking about it, Lin Hanwen finally relaxed his brows and said, "Okay. I'll contact the Fang family in a moment and have them come discuss the resale." In fact, he would not lose money if he resold the land. First, the initial purchase price of the land can be fully recovered. Secondly, there will be some compensation, and the profit may be only 1 or 200 million. Although it is far lower than one's expectations for future profits. But there won't be any risk. Moreover, the pressure from above is too great. And there will be great risks if we want to force the start of construction. If resold directly, these risks will all be reduced to ashes. Okay, then I'll write you a document or find a lawyer. No need, Lin Hanwen waved his hand. Anyway, this project is not a loss. It just makes less money. At this point, he looked at Xiao Yang again. What if this project is in the hands of the Fang family and they really make money? Then you will have to pay me more than 1 billion. Then I admit it, Xiao Yang said with a smile. So what? But if it is really as shown in the plan, it can be said that the Fang family was hit directly on the aorta. All in all, the investment in this project is at least tens of billions. Hundreds of billions would be a huge loss for anyone. Even for the wealthy Fang family. Of course, even if it was a mistake. At most it's just a few billion. I can just pay it back slowly. As long as Lin Qiyu holds on. Don't give up. The confession that follows should be enough. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh when he thought that the Fang family might suffer a great loss this time. An expression of great anticipation appeared on Xiao Yang's face. Let the storm come even harder. And here, Lin Hanwen was not idle either. Monitoring land properties, of course. However, he was still a little scared. If it was really as Xiao Yang said and any news leaked out, the value of this land would be wasted. The only thing we have to do now is to act quickly. He immediately stopped negotiations on land development and asked the Fang family to negotiate directly. The Fang family was naturally very excited when they heard the news. And without saying anything, they sent someone to notify their superiors. Once the time is right, you can start handing over the project. Afterwards, he also asked someone to check Xiao Yang's background. This child is not simple. Especially when negotiating with yourself. He doesn't look like a rich second generation at all. If I had to say, he seems like a first generation rich man. Chapter 106 Dream Ambassador. A peaceful day. Early morning. The first thing Xiao Yang did when he got up was to turn on his mobile phone. And a message from Lin Qiyu immediately popped up on the phone. Xiao Yang, I want to go get some free food. Xiao Yang had something to do yesterday. And Lin Qiyu also had classes, so she didn't come. And today, Lin Qiyu naturally wanted to come over and have a free meal again. After seeing the message, Xiao Yang replied directly. I just realized that Uncle Lin's house is next door. Lin Qiu sent a question mark. My father also lives in Xingfu community. Yes, your father lives next door, and I went to his house yesterday. Xiaoyang answered truthfully. Very good. What Xiaoyang couldn't believe was that Lin Qiu's first reaction was happiness. Before he could ask why, Lin Qiu had already given the answer. So this year during the holidays, I asked my mother to let me live outside for a while. And I can accompany dad again and see you every day. Xiaoyang was suddenly speechless. Forget it. Come on, come on. Since you, a girl, are not afraid, what should I be afraid of? Xiaoyang let out a long sigh, and at this moment, his cell phone rang. It turned out to be a call from Zhang Shangzhu. In just one day, she had set up the company. The company is located on Ananhu Road. After all, it is still the CBD of Zhengdu, which is good for the development of the company. Xiaoyang has only one attitude towards this matter. If you need money, come to me, and I will take charge of everything. Then came Xiaoyang's call. Because Xiaoyang paid the huge amount in one lump sum without any delay. The company was very happy and paid the commission directly the next day after receiving the application. The next step is to report to Xiaoyang after buying and changing the car. However, Xiaoyang did not plan to let Xiaoshang come over today. After all, Lin Qiu would be coming over to his home soon, so he had to be ready at any time. Lu Xing, on the other hand, but no longer stay there and mention to Xiaoyang about being discharged from the hospital. After being criticized by Xiaoyang, he had to stay only in the hospital for another 2 days. But actually, I'm not that lonely. From what he said, it seemed that the relationship with the girl who had taken care of him for so many days was showing signs of warming up. So Xiaoyang's opinion is, we don't need you now, so do whatever you want. It's best to get rid of the person and then work with peace of mind. After dealing with these things, Lin Qiu claimed that he would come over for lunch at noon. While there was still some time, Xiaoyang casually watched some short videos. Is this what big data push is? Xiaoyang frowned slightly. I watched quite a few videos in a row, almost all of which were short videos of girls with long legs and slim waists. Although many of the figures in the video looked even more outrageous than Zhang Yan's. Xiaoyang also knew that this was on the internet after all. If I really see the light, I'm afraid. Didn't you see that the casting action directly hammered the floor into a dent? After a few glances, I have to say that you know she's not real. And you can see traces of beauty filters, but it's still a bit exciting to make a scene. Xiaoyang was still relatively good after all. Senior colonels like Lin Qiu and Zhang Shangzhu were around him every day. And his aesthetic taste had improved a lot. Some internet celebrity faces really can't seduce him. After watching for a while, Xiaoyang lost interest. Just as I was about to launch the platform, suddenly, a voice rang out in my mind. Mission release, Dream Ambassador Special. Task, description. Alpaker XINX, In Xianrong realize his dream of performing arts. Task note. This is a long-term task. The complete task will be divided into several short-term tasks. After completing all short-term tasks, you will receive a reward of 100 billion yuan. Height. Dream Ambassador short-term mission release. Little famous. Task description. Help the anchor complete the initial live broadcast stage and help him accumulate popularity. Quest reward. Item treasure box. Item treasure box. You can randomly obtain rare items 0. 1 chance of 100x cashback card. 0.5 chance of 10x cashback card. 1 chance of 10 discount card for house purchase. 1 chance of physical fitness skill. They are all good things. The first thing Xiaoyang saw was the 100 times cashback card. But this 0.1 chance is too outrageous. But think about it. The chance of one's net worth skyrocketing 100 times in an instant is normal. In addition, the Constitution pill, the body tempering pill, and the spirit restoring pill with a 0.1 chance of success are all good stuff. At that moment, Xiaoyang became excited. Dream Ambassador. The name of this task is a bit outrageous. My own dream hasn't come true yet. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh and started searching by typing XINXINRong on the platform. Soon, I saw the name of the anchor XINX, In Xianrong on the first page. Xiaoyang clicked on it. I saw that this was a female anchor and she wasn't very popular. Even after dozens of views and for a long time, not a single comment passed by. But soon, Xiaoyang also knew the reason. In other female anchors live broadcast rooms. They either rely on their looks or pose in coquettish ways. And there will always be some self-see who will click in. This anchor only has a microphone in front of his computer. And there is no game interface on the computer desktop. After coming in for less than half a minute, Xiaoyang still had no idea what the other party was going to do. When I took a look at the layout of the room, I saw that it was just a pink background, making it a very small space. Such a live broadcast environment is probably either in your own room or in the dormitory. At this moment, even on her fan list, there are only a few people who spend only about 10 yuan. It's so fucking miserable. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. This female anchor was wearing a mask, so her face couldn't be seen clearly. But her eyes were quite pretty, with double eyelids and phoenix eyes, which were quite alluring. However, for the entire live broadcast environment, such a live broadcast room can be said to have no appeal at all. He is not good looking, nor is he a game anchor. It seems to be a private live broadcast. He has no guild support and no fan base. Basically, it can be said that you are waiting to die. Seeing how she is struggling to adjust now, she is still a newbie. If it wasn't required by the mission, Xiao Yang wouldn't have the patience to continue watching. After all, isn't it nice to go out and watch other girls dance? Hey, you should be able to hear it. The sound coming from the phone was quite pleasant. Xiao Yang became interested and found it somewhat funny. How can you test the sound like this in a live broadcast room? Besides, there are not many viewers here. Sure enough, after a long while, there were no more comments. The girl felt a little embarrassed. Or maybe she thought there was something wrong with the microphone. So she adjusted it again. I heard it, the voice is very nice. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and quickly sent out a barrage of comments. Oh. The girl replied with a silly look. After thinking for a while, he suddenly said, thank you, Xiao Yang. Chapter 107. Irant become famous. Seeing the stupid look of this girl, Xiao Yang couldn't help but hold his forehead. If you live stream like this, it would be strange if you could become popular. We still have to rely on the dream-making ambassadors. Xiao Yang looked at his wallet with some regret. No matter what, spending money to gain popularity is definitely the simplest and most brutal way. If she were to build up her popularity on her own, it would be a long shot. Moreover, short-term tasks are time-sensitive. 3 days. Xiao Yang didn't know what the consequences would be if he failed to complete the task within 3 days. But he would definitely not be able to get this treasure chest. After thinking about it, Xiao Yang clicked on the recharge interface. How much should I charge? Xiao Yang frowned slightly. To be honest, this way of spending money is equivalent to giving the money directly to the platform, which is a bit unpleasant after all. But thinking about the reward treasure box, Xiao Yang still reluctantly recharged $2 million directly. Hello everyone, my name is Xin Xianrong, you can call me Xin. Xiao Yang really wanted to tell her that, in fact, except for himself, the people in these lit broadcast rooms were probably all data from the platform. That is, robots. But seeing how serious she was, I decided to just forget it. My specialty is singing. I like singing and I also like singing for others. Xin spoke a few words stumblingly. After thinking about it, Xiao Yang directly bought a super rocket on the page and smashed it down. $2,000 for a super rocket made Xiao Yang gasp. In the past, this was more than a month's living expenses. But at this moment, the live broadcast room was still a little quiet. Although the super rocket can be seen on all platforms. In fact, a super rocket worth 2,000 yuan is nothing in the eyes of major anchors. Some anchors just play a game, make a bet, and basically give it away. So for the audience, it basically doesn't matter. It seems that we should not be this stingy. Looking at the 99 super rockets at the mouse, Xiao Yang's hand trembled and he clicked it instantly. In an instant, it was bombarded by countless super rockets, and the dazzling light effects instantly flooded the entire live broadcast room. At this moment, on the other side of the camera, Xin seemed to be still standing there in a daze, not knowing what was going on. User Yang Mingli 1 dropped a 99 super rocket in the live broadcast room of Xin Xianrong. A large banner instantly appeared on the live broadcast page of all viewers. On the platform, some gift special effects can be blocked. Even the special effects of super rockets can be blocked. The only thing is that this 99-shot super rocket cannot be blocked at all. Not only that, it will occupy the top of the live broadcast room of all viewers for a long time. All of a sudden, countless people poured into the group. A barrage of comments also surged at this moment. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Until the popularity value reaches 100. The popularity of the live broadcast room began to slow down. But the data was still rising. 99 super rockets. In addition to the banner's special effects, viewers who enter the live broadcast room will receive virtual currency rewards in the form of red envelopes. For a moment, the entire live broadcast room was filled with luxurious special effects of red envelope prizes. Fuck, who is this rich man who is so awesome? 99 super rockets. That's 200,000. Yang Minji Li1, I've never heard of him. Is he a new rich man? This girl is so cute, but she's wearing a mask so I can't see her face clearly. In addition to some normal barrages, there were also countless barrages of prize red envelopes flying by. The boss is generous. The boss is awesome. I kneel down to you. Boss, if you have nothing to do, you can pay attention to my live broadcast room. You are welcome to give me rewards. Xiao Yang glanced at the barrage casually, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised. After all, who doesn't like flattery? Especially when there are thousands of people admiring the boss's generosity. It feels like heaven. But to be honest, spending 200 in one go was really generous. Why hasn't the system prompted yet? Xiao Yang frowned slightly. A full 100,000 popularity points is not enough to achieve the mission goal. He looked at the virtual currency worth 1.9 million left in his backpack, thought for a moment, and put his hand on the 99 super rockets again. Then let the storm, no, let the rain of rockets come even harder. At this moment, the barrage of comments has not stopped yet and is swiping the screen frantically. At this moment, banners appeared again above everyone's live broadcast screen. User Yang Mingli 1 dropped an 99 super rocket in the lucky broadcast room of XIN Xianrong. User Yang Mingli 1 dropped a 99 super rocket in the live broadcast room of XIN Xianrong. The special effects exploded again. Xiao Yang didn't plan to keep any virtual currency this time. He tapped his fingers frantically, and the prompts on the screen were also increasing rapidly. 1,000 super rockets fell. Xiao Yang felt his heart trembling slightly and his vanity slowly growing. My god, one super rocket is equivalent to an ordinary college student's monthly living expenses. 1,000 rounds. It's just terrifying. System prompt. Congratulations to the user Yang Mingli 1 for opening the Emperor account in the live broadcast room of XIN Xianrong. A huge banner reappeared. This time, the popularity also skyrocketed. At this moment, Xiao Yang did not pay attention to the popularity value, but looked at the barrage with interest. It's so terrifying. 1,000 super rockets, am I seeing things? 2 million. Turtle, I'm numb. I've never seen this rich man before. Is this a new account? That's amazing. How come this anchor only has a dozen or so subscribers? Is he new? Damn, 1,000 super rockets. Isn't this much more exciting than Boru 2? Which guild is this big move? Are they going to promote someone? This is obviously a Smurf account. It is very likely used by a guild to inflate its statistics. I suggest everyone consume rationally and don't follow the trend. That makes sense. Everyone knows what the current live streaming is like. The guild's money will be returned in full, and the audience's money will be split 30 and 70. Right? Why is it only 70? 70% of it belongs to someone else. But speaking of it, giving out 2 million as a reward is quite courageous. Why doesn't the anchor say thank you? Is this because there is no sound or my screen is stuck? At this time, everyone reacted. Wow, people have been giving rewards for so long, but the host hasn't said a word. Looking at this, he seems a little flustered. Host, please thank the rich man for the tip. Anchor? The screen was filled with question marks that flashed across the screen in an instant. At this moment, the girls were really confused. Today is her second day of live streaming. She was live all day yesterday, but when I counted them carefully, it seemed like there were only a few comments. But today, why are there so many barrages? Also, why are there those strange rockets bombing my live broadcast room? What happened? XIN, are you broadcasting live? Suddenly, a voice came over, also from a girl. Yes, the girl nodded and said, but I don't know why, I suddenly have so many comments. And it's stuck. Can you help me take a look? The voice is clear and a little cute. For a moment, the entire barrage was filled with cuteness. Fuck, that's cute. Cute. Is the anchor really stupid or just pretending? Are you sure you don't know anything? At this moment, a head stretched out, also wearing a mask, so the face could not be seen clearly. She took a look and her pupils dilated instantly. Fuck. XIN, someone rewarded you with 1,000 super rockets. The voice fell, it didn't sound like acting. XIN was also confused at this moment. 1,000 super rockets, what does that mean? Why are you so stupid? 1,000 super rockets means 1,000 super rockets. The girl's voice fell. The entire barrage was suddenly filled with countless question marks. Good man, you are just sitting here, right? Damn. One is an idiot, the other is a fool, I won't say more. I'm sold on this character. At this moment, the girl suddenly realized that there was something wrong with her words. After thinking about it, she immediately started counting on her fingers. 1 super rocket is 2,000 yuan, 10 is 20,000, 100 is 200,000, 1,000 is 2 million. The two girls said in unison. 2 million. Is it virtual currency? How much money can it be exchanged for? The girl asked in confusion. Of course not, it's Chinese currency. It's 2 million yuan. There were two sounds of people gasping for air. Playing. Something fell to the ground. Ahmet S. the chin. At this moment, the popularity of the live broadcast room directly exceeded 1 million. The next second, a clear voice sounded in Xiaoyang's mind. Byte. Chapter 108 Wishing Live Room. Byte. Task completed. It reward, item treasure box. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. It seemed that this first short-term task was quite easy. I've invested 2 million, so it depends on what I can get. At this time, in the live broadcast room, Xin was still in shock and couldn't speak for a while. 2 million Chinese yuan. For ordinary people, this is wealth worth risking their lives for. In just a blink of an eye, so many rewards were given. Xin and the other girl were stunned. After a long while, she stammered, thank you for the reward from Yang Mingli Wand. Then he turned his head and looked at another girl. Is this okay? That should be enough. I saw other anchors express their gratitude in the same way. However, Yang Mingli Wan was not seen speaking, and the live broadcast room gradually lost its liveliness. Many people just come to get a red envelope and then leave. When they go back, they either continue to watch the girls dance or watch some of their favorite gaming masters play games. The attention in the live broadcast room gradually shifted to Xin. What is the anchor broadcasting? It looks like a talent. Is it singing? Can I order a song? Looking at the rolling barrage of comments, Xin finally let out a long sigh and patted her chest to ease the tension in her heart. It was her first time to sing in front of so many people. Hello everyone, I'm Xin, a singing anchor. If you have any songs you like, you can click on them and let me sing a cover. What a singing anchor. Her voice is really nice, pure and sexy. The key point is that the anchor looks very silly and cute. I wonder what it will be like if he sings. Xin cleared her throat, opened the music software and found the accompaniment. Then I started singing. There is not much foreshadowing, but so many words. I am indeed a newcomer, and I don't know how to start my live broadcast. I can only decide on the next song and then prepare to sing. Yi Tianhu's Ocean Waves. This song is quite difficult. Yes, I used to sing this song in the dormitory often. Every time when it reached the climax, everyone in the dormitory thought we were killing pigs. Little Tiger next door also sang this song yesterday. But it was too difficult and he broke his voice. Is it so difficult? Little Tiger has very good skills. What technology are you talking about? There's something wrong with you. The barrage of comments began to roll. This is a famous song of a diva. The song is extremely difficult to sing and it is a project that many talent hosts find difficult to challenge. As soon as Xin came on stage, she played the accompaniment of this song, which immediately made the audience who originally wanted to leave stop and stay. At this moment, in front of the screen, Xin took a deep breath. Close your eyes tightly. The next second, his eyes opened. In just a moment, his expression was completely different from his previous cute look. As if he had become a different person. As his mouth moved slightly, a subtle sound immediately reached the ears of all the viewers in the live broadcast room. Fuck. For a time, barrages were overshadowed by traditional culture. The audience were all amazed the moment Xin opened her mouth. Open your mouth and kneel. Some strength. The original version of Waves gave me a feeling of facing the waves. Feeling hopeless and suffocating, but the one sung by the host gave me a feeling of facing challenges head on and riding the waves. I agree with the previous one. It feels like I want to fight hard. I originally thought that this newcomer was not only giving gifts but also didn't know how to express gratitude during the live broadcast. It's bumpy and cute, like a piece of white paper. Different from other hosts in the singing area. For them singing is secondary, and the most important thing is the face. This new anchor amazed everyone present as soon as he opened his mouth. It feels so good. High energy ahead. It's about to reach its climax. I don't know if the host can handle it. To be honest. Many singers, not to mention the anchor, have failed at the climax of this song. It's too difficult. As the accompaniment becomes more and more compact, a heavy wave gushed out. Everyone felt that there was a huge wave in front of them. And what follows is the climax of the whole song. It is riding the wind in waves. And also singing in despair. All at this moment. Xin also closed her eyes and clenched her fists at this time. Ocean waves. The voice came loud and clear. For a moment. Xin opened her eyes, and her eyes seemed full of fighting spirit. Bang! Everyone felt that in the high waves, a figure was coming against the wind. This kind of wild thought makes people clench their fists and want to push out with all their strength. It's so fucking exciting. I thought this was a sad song. But the host turned it into an inspirational song. That's awesome. It's on fire. This is not Bebo. Bet your mother. If you bet again I'll kill you. For a moment, the barrage of comments rolled in. The subscription number in the upper right corner also continued to rise. Originally there were only a dozen subscriptions. But in just one song, the number of subscribers went from a dozen to tens of thousands. In the end, it was fixed at 12,000. At this point, the song ends. XIN let out a long sigh, and beads of sweat appeared on her forehead. I have to say, for a girl like her, it's very good that she can sing such a difficult song. But after just a short while, I started sweating in this cold winter. Another girl handed over a glass of water. XIN drank it down in one gulp. The host sings so well. This is a real talented singer. I want those talent show hosts to come over and see what singing is all about. Instead of just chatting with male hosts online all day long. This song really brought me to my knees. It's so awesome. Don't judge a book by its cover, subscribe now. I have also experienced low points in life. Even though my life is getting better now, I still can't forget the things that happened in the past. Until today, the host's song healed me directly no matter what difficulties or low points I have. There will always be a time to ride the wind and waves and set sail to cross the vast ocean. Just charge at me. I wish you success in the college entrance examination. Make a wish to pass the civil service exam. I wish for success in the postgraduate entrance examination. I don't know who started it, but for a moment, the Love broadcast room was filled with comments making wishes. And now, on the other side, Xiaoyang was also stunned. Originally he wanted to open the treasure chest first. But when he heard XIN challenging her to sing the song Waves, he couldn't help but listen to it first. This song is also on Xiaoyang's playlist. To be honest, when I listened to the original version, I felt so desperate that I wanted to cry. But XIN's version really amazed him. After thinking about it, he also sent out a message following the barrage. Emperor become famous, wish for something good in the treasure chest. Chapter 109 I can do it myself. The wish is over. Xiaoyang just went with the flow and then asked the system to open the treasure chest. A golden light flashed by. Her assistant Dan. Xiaoyang's face twitched suddenly. Strictly speaking, this can be considered a quality enhancing pill. But something about its addition is not quite right. System, what are you implying? Xiaoyang wanted to slap the system to the ground. 2 million. Made me a advanced version of Wei Ji? I'm a tall and strong man, do I need this? Are you looking down on people? Are you looking down on people? Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. Although he hasn't tried it yet, he doesn't know how strong his abilities are. But I have taken quality enhancing pills before and I exercise regularly. What's the matter? It's not too much to calculate it by the hour. You give me this? That's all. Xiaoyang cursed under his breath. But still ate it honestly. In an instant, a warm current surged into my whole body. Xiaoyang frowned slightly and felt his abdomen getting hot. It's okay. Just think of it as 2 million and use it to buy some medicine. Besides, this is not a one-time thing, maybe you can still be strong and healthy even when you are old. Just then, the doorbell rang. Coming, Xiaoyang got up and opened the door. It's still Lin Q. At this time, she was still wearing her down jacket. But the furry hood covering her little head, and she was holding large and small dishes in her hands, all of which were her favorite foods. Xiaoyang. You see how much I care about you. I was afraid that you were hungry. So I came here as soon as I bought the vegetables, Lin Qiyu said with a giggle. She has gradually come to like this kind of life. I some good food and cook for Xiaoyang. It's just like a couple living together. The woman does the shopping and the man does the cooking. I was waiting for my meal on the side, and most importantly, I could appreciate Xiaoyang who was cooking seriously. He was so handsome. This kind of life is so wonderful. Lin Qiu took the initiative to bring the dishes into the kitchen. This was already quite a skill for her. If she were given a set of bowls and chopsticks now, she could probably just sit at the table and wait for dinner. Okay, I'm ready, hurry up and cook. What are you preparing for? Wasn't it me who was prepared? Xiaoyang complained in his heart. But he still rubbed Lin Qiyu's little head. Well, take some interest first. It feels good and becomes easier to knead. Lin Qiyu didn't care at all. She took an orange, peeled it, and lowered her head to rub it for Xiaoyang. Are you done? Lin Qiyu hummed with her lips pouted. If you rub it any more, you'll become stupid. Xiaoyang immediately withdrew his hand. But he didn't know if it was because of the effect of the elixir. He suddenly felt that there seemed to be some changes in his body. At this moment, a blush suddenly flashed across Lin Qiu's face. She opened her eyes wide, as if she had seen something extraordinary. At home, Xiaoyang always wears loose clothes. After all, comfort is the most important thing. But who knows? At this moment, the mountains are rising. This was exactly what Lin Qiyu was seeing. No matter how dumb or stupid Lin Qiyu was, he knew what this meant. In an instant, my heartbeat suddenly accelerated and a faint red appeared on my face. From my collarbone to my ears. Xiaoyang, you're so bad. Lin Qiyu pushed Xiaoyang's hand away and dived into the pillow of the sofa. Xiaoyang was still a little confused at this moment. Oh, what happened? I cooked for you, And you call that bad? Women, how strange. Turn your head. The next second, he turned around and bumped into the corner of the wine cabinet. Xiaoyang immediately gasped, half squatted down, and cursed out loud. Damn it. Meow. Lost a good chicken. Xiaoyang covered his lower body. It would be fine if it was bumped somewhere else, but it happens to be my strongest point. Which is also my weakest point. Lin Qiyu naturally also heard Xiaoyang's screams. He hurried over and said, Xiaoyang, what's wrong with you? It's okay. Xiaoyang finally understood while Lin Qiyu said he was broken. It must be a problem with the pill. Otherwise, how could he suddenly become so brave? Lin Qiyu looked at Xiaoyang's painful spot curiously. And immediately covered her eyes embarrassedly, but her eyes were indeed wide open, looking at Xiaoyang through the gaps between her fingers. Well, Xiaoyang, if it's really that painful. Speaking of this, Lin Qiyu's whole face looked like emerald red stone. Crystal clear, but covered with crimson. I just found it on the sofa. She spread out her little hand, and in her palm was the largest size that Xiaoyang had thrown away 2 days ago and that Lin Qiyu had bought. Puff. Xiaoyang suddenly vomited a mouthful of blood. You. Can you please stop overthinking? Could you please be a little more reserved? Who are you? Zhangde University of Finance and Economics, a popular goddess. A cool queen. Please don't wave this thing in front of me. It could cause trouble. In particular, Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. Lin Qiyu, who was squatting, had grown bigger without realizing it. Although she is not as good as Zhang Yan, she is definitely not comparable to ordinary girls. The effect of the medicine is still lasting. Xiaoyang knew that with Lin Qiyu here, the effect of the medicine would probably not wear off for a while. He pushed Lin Qiyu out. You go out, I need to cook. Go and wait for the meal. Okay. Lin Qiyu blinked and agreed obediently. But just as he turned around, a voice came faintly. So, what about after dinner? After dinner, you can do whatever you want. Xiaoyang said, holding his forehead. But wouldn't it be bad to do it during the day? How about I ask for leave from my counselor and not go back to the dormitory tonight? Lin Qiyu didn't seem to understand what Xiaoyang meant. Instead, she put her fingers on her chin, as if thinking about something. Xiaoyang felt very tired. He could no longer describe his feelings at the moment in words. I think you should go back to school after dinner. Xiaoyang sighed and said calmly. So are you okay? I heard them say that if this happens, they need to vent. I can do it myself, okay? But, will it hurt my body? Lin Qiyu. You. Get out of the kitchen right now and wait for me. I'll call you when the meal is ready. Xiaoyang scolded. Lin Qiyu pouted, like a little rabbit, coming quickly and slipping away quickly, disappearing in an instant. Damn, my head hurts. System, this won't just stay like this forever. I'm so embarrassed, Xiaoyang asked the system. As for solving it yourself, forget it, he never even thought about this kind of thing. Fortunately, the system told him that this was just the effect of the pill he had just taken and it would be gone after a while. Xiaoyang then breathed a sigh of relief and turned his attention to cooking. Chapter 110. Let's go upstairs. Sure enough, cooking is the best way to divert attention. Soon, a rich aroma came from the kitchen. Lin Qiyu, I don't know when, had sneaked in, crouching down. Is still that plate of braised pork? Xiaoyang naturally caught a glimpse of Lin Qiyu out of the corner of his eye. But he ignored it. On the contrary, I think Lin Qiyu is quite cute like this. I saw her stuffing her mouth full of meat, and her face showed a happy expression. It's delicious. Lin Qiyu covered her mouth and retracted her little head. After a moment, she couldn't help but stick it back again. If you eat any longer, there will be nothing to eat at dinner time. Xiaoyang's voice came. The latter trotted out quickly. But at this moment, a cry of ouch was heard. And there was a series of thudding sounds. The moment Xiaoyang heard the sound, he put down the spatula in his hand instantly. One step. At this time, Lin Qiyu was rubbing his little head. He ran too fast and bumped into the wine cabinet. He immediately covered his little head, pursed his lips and took a deep breath. But what she didn't expect was that before she even stood up, Xiaoyang had already appeared in front of her. Seeing that Lin Qiyu just bowed his head and seemed to be fine, he breathed a sigh of relief. Why are you so careless? Xiaoyang stretched out his hand and hugged Lin Qiyu. The soft and cute body fell into his arms. For a moment, Xiaoyang was a little confused. Although the effect of the medicine has worn off somewhat, it has not completely worn off. Yes, the effect of the medicine is still at its limit. The next second, a small tent was set up. Xiaoyang's face flushed. Lin Qiyu didn't seem to realize anything. He just rubbed his forehead and stood up with the help of Xiaoyang. What the hell is this? She just subconsciously stretched out her hand to support something. Just the next second, his eyes fell on it. Lin Qiyu bit her lip slightly. and in just an instant her face turned completely pink. My headache is gone and there is a trace of oil at the corner of my mouth. His silly eyes blinked and he forgot to let go. Xiaoyang was also stunned for a moment, looking at Lin Qiyu in front of him, like a green and slightly ripe peach. He wanted to take a bite of it right away. Some things are so subtle that even if no one speaks, they will move subconsciously. Xiaoyang lowered his head and was about to fall. The next second, Lin Qiyu suddenly broke free. Xiaoyang was stunned for a moment. At this moment, the air is full of ambiguous atmosphere. I was too impulsive. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh, still feeling a lingering fear. Damn it, I almost couldn't hold on. But just when he came to his senses, Lin Qiyu turned back. Xiaoyang. Lin Qiyu's voice was as soft as a mosquito and almost inaudible. Xiaoyang took a look and saw that there was something extra in the other person's hand. Thickened balloon. I don't want a baby yet. Mate. Lin Qiyu bit her red lips lightly and raised her head. In the tearful eyes, the gray eyeballs slowly turned. Xiaoyang's breathing became a little rapid. The heart was beating violently. He glanced at Lin Qiyu, whose face was blushing extremely, and involuntarily reached out and rubbed the other's head. Good. I'll go to the kitchen and turn off the fire. Xiaoyang took a deep breath, returned to the kitchen and turned off the fire. But the fire in the kitchen was turned off. And his fire was ignited. After walking out of the kitchen, Xiaoyang reached out and took the balloon from Lin Qiu's hand, and hugged her in his arms, like a princess, and Lin Qiu's delicate body immediately lay in Xiaoyang's arms. Let's go upstairs. Ding ding ding. Suddenly, a voice came from the door. Xiaoyang suddenly shuddered. Lin Qiyu was even more stunned, and they both looked outside the door at the same time. I knock. Xiaoyang and Lin Qiyu cursed at the same time. I'll open the door. Xiaoyang frowned slightly, let go of Lin Qiyu, and felt relieved in his heart. The door opened, revealing a middle-aged man. Xiaoyang, I thought you were not at home. When the voice came, Lin Qiu's face suddenly changed. Xiaoyang was also stunned. The person who came here is not someone else. It was Lin Qiu's father. Lin Hanwen. It took me a while to find out that your house is here. It took me a long time to find it. Lin Hanwen laughed and did not notice Xiaoyang's expression. He walked into the room as if no one was around. Then, he was also stunned. Father and daughter meet and their eyes meet. At this moment, Lin Qiyu's clothes were a little messy, probably because Xiaoyang hugged her. The expression on his face, coupled with his still blushing face, seemed to indicate that Lin Hanwen had suddenly realized something. I seen too. You came at the wrong time. Lin Hanwen's mouth twitched. What is this? No, Uncle Lin, you can come anytime. Really? Lin Hanwen handed over the thing in his hand with a smile. It was a bottle of red wine, and it looked quite expensive. Xiaoyang smiled and quickly reached out to take it. But at this moment, the wrapped balloon box suddenly slipped from his hand. For a moment, the air seemed to freeze. Xiaoyang felt his head was a little confused. It had to be said that this really made him numb. I was just planning to do something weird with Lin Qiyu. And then I was caught by her father. That's fine. The most important thing is, this thing has also been exposed. Now, how to explain it? It doesn't matter. If you two had no relationship, how could you be alone in a room with balloons in your hands? I didn't expect that things from China are so exquisite. It's a large size. Lin Hanwen was surprised and lowered his head to pick up the thing. As soon as the words fell, the faces of the two of them instantly turned red. Xiaoyang took the thing from Lin Hanwen's hand and threw it out the door. You are mistaken, those are ordinary balloons. A film crew broke into my house before. And these balloons dropped down should be used by the crew to liven up the atmosphere. Xiaoyang had a conflicted smile on his face. Oh, is that so? Lin Hanwen nodded thoughtfully. Xiaoyu? Dad? Is that so? Yes, we were cooking and preparing to eat. Just happened to have you here, let's eat together. Lin Qiyu nodded repeatedly. If bleeding to the point of ecstasy is a real feeling, then that is Lin Qiyu at this moment. Oh, then I came at the right time. Lin Hanwen smiled. He indeed smelled a rich fragrance in the air. Xiaoyang closed the door and said, Uncle Lin, it's great. Let's have a meal together. Okay. Lin Hanwen's mouth corners slightly raised. But having said that, you did a good job and paid attention to safety. As he spoke, Lin Hanwen whispered into Xiaoyang's ear again. Although I don't like carrying that thing either. But it's not safe. Xiaoyang's face suddenly turned pale. The small tent that had just been set up had already fallen down. Efficacy finally passed. Chapter 111. How about stealing a bottle back? Lin Hanwen didn't mean to be polite at all. In his eyes, the matter between his daughter and Xiaoyang was basically settled. Although he had not had much contact with Xiaoyang, he always believed in his own judgment. Entrusting my daughter to Xiaoyang is also a good choice. Seeing Lin Qiyu again, Lin Hanwen was naturally very happy and couldn't help but step forward and rub the little girl's head. "Dad, what are you doing? I'm grown up now," Lin Qiyu groaned. Refusing to interact with Lin Hanwen, Chao Yang was a little confused. Lin Hanwen wanted to rub Lin Qiu's head, but was rejected. "Then myself." He couldn't help but gasp. "What a bad fate. I'll go to the kitchen to prepare the rest of the dishes." "Uncle Lin, please sit down first." Xiao Yang put the wind down and pulled a chair for Lin Hanwen. His etiquette towards his elders was quite decent. In response, Lin Hanwen nodded with satisfaction. Although he stayed abroad for many years, in his eyes, many children abroad are still barbaric at heart. Only children in China are so well educated and well mannered. As an elder, he feels very happy. "Just go do your thing first." "Okay, just wait a moment, it will be ready soon," Xiao Yang smiled. After a while, the sound of frying was heard in the kitchen. "Here," Lin Qiu said next to Lin Hanwen, pouting and looking a little unhappy. "Damn it. I'm about to take down Xiao Yang. I was interrupted by my father." She didn't know why, but she felt an inexplicable sense of anticipation. "Eddie, I was about to succeed." Xiao Yang and Lin Hanwen didn't know what Lin Qiu was thinking. Otherwise their jaws would have dropped to the ground because of her thoughts. A girl. Especially for such a beautiful girl. It can be said that Lin Qiu only needs to say in front of everyone at Keita that she wants to find a boyfriend among them. In short, 98 of the boys in the entire University of Finance and Economics would probably line up in a long queue for her to choose. The remaining two either have unclear sexual orientation or are truly in love with their female companions. But this is the kind of girl she is. At this moment, my heart is. Want to capture Xiao Yang. Here, Lin Hanwen and Lin Qiu chatted for a while. Although Lin Hanwen interrupted her charm spell, they were father and daughter after all, and the atmosphere returned to normal after chatting for a while. "Xiao Yu, do you know what Xiao Yang's family does?" Lin Hanwen suddenly asked. Lin Qiu thought for a moment and said. "Xiao Yang's father has been ill for a long time and has only recently recovered. He seemed to be a chef before. Xiao Yang's mother is very nice. I've met her before. She's very kind. He's just a frontline worker in a factory." At this point, Lin Qiu shook Lin Hanwen's arm and said coquettously, "Dad, you won't disagree with me being with Xiao Yang just because his family situation is not good. Don't tell me those bloody TV drama plots will happen to me." "Of course not," Lin Hanwen said with a smile. His ideas were originally different from those of traditional families, and he always maintained the concept of freedom of marriage towards Lin Qiu. Besides, is Xiao Yang's family situation really that bad? He glanced around. The decoration of this house, even this house, is bigger than his villa. "You're telling me his family situation is not good?" He let out a long sigh, then stood up and looked around. But after a while, he appeared in front of the wine cabinet. He is a wine lover. Otherwise he would not have brought a bottle of wine with him when he came to Xiaogang this time. After a quick glance, his gaze immediately fell on the bottles of wine on the wine cabinet. As a person who has lived abroad for a long time, he may not be very familiar with China's traditional wines, but red wine is very familiar to him. Lafite. He reached out and took a bottle. Then looked at it slowly. Anti-counterfeiting mark. Years. Quality. After a while, he put down the bottle and swallowed involuntarily. A 1982 red wine is real. This is definitely one of the best Lafite red wines produced by Bordeaux Winery. It has a special mark on it. Although Lin Hanwen was not addicted to alcohol, he was almost there. When he saw this bottle of wine, he felt that the alcohol addiction in his stomach was aroused. Speaking of which, I had the opportunity to have a drink when I was abroad. The taste is sweet and bitter at the same time, leaving a lasting aftertaste. Over the years, he has spent a lot of money to buy some genuine 1982 Lafite red wine. But in fact, there was a lot of wine at that time, but it was difficult to tell the real from the fake. In addition, even red wines of the same year and brand can have very different tastes. The red wine produced by this most famous Bordeaux winery is definitely the best red wine in the world. How about secretly taking a bottle? After all, he kidnapped my daughter. So a bottle of wine as compensation is not too much, right? Suddenly, a bold idea came into his mind, but it was quickly rejected. He casually said towards the kitchen, "Xiao Yang, the wine on your wine cabinet looks good." Xiao Yang didn't think too much about it, and just responded, "Yes, they are all Lafite red wine. Lafite, I've wanted to drink it for a long time, but I never had the chance. If Uncle Lin wants to drink, you can open it and wake up, we can have a drink together later." Xiao Yang spoke casually. In fact, he knew that this red wine was expensive and one bottle less would be one less. But this wine is meant to be drunk after all, and he is used to drinking national liquor. So he is not used to drinking red wine. However, when Lin Hanwen heard Xiao Yang's words, he instantly became much more energetic. "Okay, let's have a drink together." He suppressed his inner joy and took a look at the red wine he brought. What the hell is that? Get down here. If you want to drink. This is it. I found the decanter and opened the bottle of red wine that had been sealed in the dust for 40 years. In an instant, the rich aroma of wine filled the house. When he smelled the aroma of wine, Lin Hanwen's face suddenly showed an intoxicated look. That's the taste. While sobering up, Lin Hanwen was extremely careful, not daring to spill even a drop of wine. Here, in the kitchen, the sound of the fire being turned off was also heard. All the dishes are ready. And just when the sound of Xiaoyang turning off the fire came, Lin Qiyu could no longer wait. She skillfully found the bowls and chopsticks and placed them on the dining table in order. Then he went into the kitchen and helped Xiaoyang bring out the prepared food. Of course, during the process, he secretly stuffed a piece of braised pork into his mouth. When the food was served, Xiaoyang also sat down. From meat dishes to vegetarian dishes and a soup. So many, Lin Hanwen was a little surprised. This is still too much. Dad, if you hadn't come, I could eat more today. Lin Qiyu groaned. Lin Hanwen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But he couldn't do anything about his daughter. Although he was still drunk, Lin Qiyu was already impatient and started to pick up the chopsticks to eat the food. Look at you, you don't even know how to pick up food for Dad. Lin Hanwen was a little unhappy, looking at the way Lin Qiyu eats. It is completely opposite to her appearance. Don't blame me. It's because Xiaoyang's cooking is so delicious. Lin Qiyu smiled and continued to eat. Lin Hanwen, on the other hand, was not in a hurry at the moment. He just held the chopsticks but did not move. He suddenly said slowly, "The land in District Tech C has been resold to the Fang family." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaoyang's expression brightened. Chapter 112, The Filial Daughter. He didn't expect that things would be done so quickly. Xiaoyang looked at Lin Hanwen and asked in surprise, "Didn't the Fang family conduct any land testing or geological surveys? Besides, with such a large amount of funds, even for the Fang family, it would probably take a while to mobilize so much liquid funds." Lin Hanwen smiled and said, "I'm afraid the Fang family has planned this long ago. I checked some things and found that the Fang family is responsible for suppressing the development of the property. And why did they fail in the bidding? After all, I had so much liquid funds. If they had tried their best to win the bid, Uncle Lin would not have gotten the land." Xiaoyang continued to ask. The speed was really too fast. Even though he had a system and knew that the land would become worthless in the end, he still became cautious. Lin Hanwen shook his head and explained, "A bidding for this piece of land was a secret bid, not an auction. It was my first time back home, and they didn't know how much I would offer. So they offered a much lower price, and that's how I ended up with the land." "I see, but they didn't do any land inspection or anything like that. They just took over the property. The official inspection of the land has already been done. There is no need for them to inspect it again. Besides the Fang family, there are many other people eyeing this piece of land. So they are more anxious than me. At worst, I can resell it to other real estate companies." Xiaoyang suddenly realized. He asked Lin Hanwen to resell the land to the Fang family. But Lin Hanwen contacted several companies in order to speed up the process. As a result, the Fang family became anxious. But the official endorsement, "This piece of land does not need to be tested again." They were afraid that other companies would get there first. So they had no choice but to sign the contract quickly and take over the land. Upon hearing this accurate news, Xiaoyang's face suddenly became full of smiles. "Are you so sure that there is something wrong with this land?" After the topic went around in circles, Lin Hanwen looked at Xiaoyang again. "Yeah," Xiaoyang nodded. After thinking for a while, he said, "Because it is so old, few people know the history of that land. Some horrific things happened there back then, and I happen to know an old man who has passed away. And he was one of the victims who experienced that. It's just that he got away with it. Apart from that, no one knows the inside story." Xiaoyang also directly made up a character. It could affect the properties of the land and turn the geology into harmful land. In that era, Lin Hanwen naturally knew what Xiaoyang was talking about. He became more convinced of Xiaoyang's words. "If what you said is true, if this piece of land falls into my hands, the consequences will be disastrous," Lin Hanwen said with some lingering fear. "Uncle Lin, this is not your problem to worry about now. After a while, the Fang family will be the one to worry about." Xiaoyang smiled. Lin Hanwen burst into laughter. "If the Fang family hadn't interfered and stopped me from developing the property, I'm afraid this hot potato would have melted in my hands." Neither of them felt the slightest bit of guilt about putting the blame on the Fang family. One is that the two of them had some conflicts with the Fang family. Secondly, as a businessman, Lin Hanwen is accustomed to such things. To describe it in business terms, it is risk transfer. This is just a business tactic. It is often said that the business world is a war without the smoke of gunpowder. This is absolutely true. Lin Qiyu, on the other hand, burped, wiped his mouth, and looked at the two of them with a puzzled look on his face. Dad, Xiaoyang, what are you talking about? I don't understand a word you say. Dad said that your boyfriend saved his life, Lin Hanwen said with a smile on his face. Lin Qiyu, however, was fully shocked. Dad, what happened to you? How did Xiaoyang save your life? Was it a car accident? Or did you jump off the building and be saved by Xiaoyang? Lin Hanwen's good mood was almost choked by Lin Qiyu's words. Lin Qiyu is right. If it weren't for Xiaoyang, I might really have jumped off the building. It's just a small matter. Not as serious as Uncle Lin said in my opinion. Uncle Lin actually helped me a lot. Xiaoyang smiled. But if Lin Han went on his side, his chances of winning would be much better if he were to deal with the Fang family. Lin Qiyu was too lazy to listen. She had almost finished eating at this moment. She breathed out, rubbed her swollen belly, and slumped in the chair in a very unladylike manner. I'm so full, Lin Qiyu said happily. Seeing his daughter like this, Lin Hanwen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But in Xiaoyang's eyes, she was quite cute. I really don't know how she maintains such a figure when she eats so much. Here, I'm sober now. After talking for such a long time, Lin Hanwen had already been looking forward to this wine. He gently picked up the bottle, circled it, and the red wine slowly fell into the glass like a stream. He poured some more for Xiaoyang. He picked it up, smelled it, and immediately his face was filled with an expression of enjoyment. He took a sip but did not swallow it in a hurry. Instead, he felt the aroma of the alcohol in his mouth before swallowing it down his throat. Good wine, good wine. This is absolutely the best red wine in the world. Lin Hanwen clicked his tongue, filled with emotion. Xiaoyang glanced at Lin Hanwen and finally understood where Lin Qiyu's foodie nature came from. They are indeed father and daughter. One is good wine. The other is delicious. Actually, I originally had a bottle of limited edition Lafite produced by a Bordeaux estate in 1987. Xiaoyang suddenly said. The voice fell. In just a moment, Lin Hanwen's eyes lit up. Bordeaux Lafite from 1987. Limited quantity. Where is it? For a moment, he no longer looked like an elder, and his eyes went straight to the wine cabinet. What a pity! It was broken into pieces by the Fang family, and all fell to the ground. Without a drop left, Xiaoyang sighed. Lin Hanwen was speechless for several seconds. After a long while, he finally uttered a sentence. What a waste of talent! I will never reconcile with the Fang family. Here. The two of them were ready to use their chopsticks. But when I took a look, I realized that Lin Qiyu had eaten most of the dishes. Bess. Lin Hanwen was looking at the table full of dishes and was not in a hurry. Who would have thought that after his daughter finished her meal, the leftovers would be enough for two grown men to have a good meal? She is worthy of being my daughter. Lin Hanwen let out a long sigh. Then looked at Xiaoyang and said, by the way, there will be an auction dinner the day after tomorrow. Some land, including some rare items, will be auctioned at the auction. You are so familiar with Jiangdu since the project in District Tech C has failed. If you are interested, why don't you go with me and help me find a piece of land or two? Auction dinner. Chapter 113, Holy as Buddha, right? Auction dinner? Xiaoyang's expression brightened. I have been a bit lazy recently, logically speaking. I should have done something big with the city planning map in my hands. Isn't this auction dinner an opportunity? It's just that I don't have much money. That's the key. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. Regardless of all this, he could still help Lin Hanwen clear the mines. Many wealthy people from Province J will attend the auction. Although the auction dinner is held in Jiangdu, the land and items being auctioned are not limited to Jiangdu. Land in other cities will also be sold and auctioned. Originally I thought that if we couldn't develop it, we could put the land in the XC area up for auction, which would maximize the profits. But since you insist on giving the land in District Tech C to the Fang family, you won't care about that little money, Lin Hanwen said with a smile. Xiaoyang was a little surprised. I didn't expect that Lin Hanwen had this way out. No wonder the deal was just negotiated yesterday, but was completed today. Not only are they anxious, the Fang family is also eager to get this land. Otherwise the price will definitely be the highest at the auction. In this case, if it is directly sold to the Fang family, the money obtained will be less than that of auctioning it. This can be considered as Lin Hanwen's gesture of goodwill. At the same time, he also told himself that Lin Hanwen suffered this loss because of him. I can't refuse this auction dinner. Xiaoyang smiled and said, and we'll do as Uncle Lin said. See you at the auction dinner. Okay, Lin Hanwen replied with a smile. Here, Lin Hanwen's main purpose was to discuss this matter. After the matter was discussed, as for the food, he just had to bite casually. As for why he chose to believe Xiaoyang, he believes in his own judgment and will not trust the wrong person. The second is the information that was delivered last night. It can be said that Lin Hanwen now understands Xiaoyang better than Xiaoyang himself. Start with your elementary school resume. He could find out clearly who his classmates were, but Xiao Yang might have forgotten them. My former desk mates, who I had quarreled with, and my grades were all clearly written on a piece of paper. Of course, this also includes 100 confessions to Lin Qiyu. This is also why Lin Hanwen was not angry when he saw the balloon. I can confess my love to my daughter 99 times. And I can also reject my daughter. He couldn't think of any reason other than true love. There is also the recent incident of offending the Fang family. It was almost a death offense. Now many people know that the two young masters of the Fang family were both in the hospital because of one person. Therefore this account in the XC district must be a bad debt. And the one who will suffer the most in the end will definitely be the Fang family. After finishing his meal, Lin Hanwen raised his eyebrows. Just continue with whatever you want to say. I'm leaving now. Xiao Yu. Huh? Remember to come visit me if you're okay. I'm right next door. Okay, let's go. Lin Qiyu waved his hands, as if urging him. Young man, please exercise moderation. Lin Hanwen left a message. Suddenly, both of them blushed again. He walked out of the Xiao family with a loud laugh. Xiao Yang rubbed his head. Now that the effect of the medicine has worn off, the impulse just now has disappeared from my mind. Thinking about it now, Xiao Yang was glad that Lin Hanwen arrived in time. Otherwise there would be big problems. It's not that he can't be with Lin Qiyu. However, if they had sex now, it would be unfair to Lin Qiyu or to myself. There is still someone living in his heart. At this moment, Lin Qiyu poked out his little head, swung his feet back and forth on the chair, and hummed a tune. Xiao Yang, Dad is gone. Well, Uncle Lin must be a very busy man. Xiao Yang rubbed Lin Qiyu's head. Then he took his hand back. Damn it, I'm addicted to it. It's almost become a subconscious action. This is unacceptable. Lin Qiyu didn't notice the change in Xiao Yang's expression. She bit her red lips and said, how about we continue? Continue what? Xiao Yang was a little dazed. The next second, Lin Qiyu's little head popped into Xiao Yang's ear. A warm breeze blew past the red lips, stirring Xiao Yang's earlobe. Itchy. Xiao Yang understood immediately. Oh no, besides, that little umbrella. I threw them all outside and can't find them. Then, Lin Qiyu was also a little embarrassed. He held his cheek and thought for a while, otherwise, he won't need a small umbrella. Xiao Yang's eyes suddenly widened. Well said, Lin Qiyu, to be honest, I don't want to use that thing either. It's the first time for everyone, so why use it? Thinking of this, Xiao Yang immediately slapped himself. Meow, what am I thinking about? Lin Qiyu, wake up, Xiao Yang said, holding his forehead. Okay, who led you astray? Why do you think about such weird things all day long? I'm doing the same thing, RNTE, afraid that you'll feel uncomfortable. Lin Qiyu glanced down. Seems to have calmed down. As expected, all men are pigs now. They act like nothing happened. As holy as Buddha, right? If Xiao Yang could hear Lin Qiyu's inner voice, he would probably be so angry that he would vomit blood. It hasn't even started yet. Okay, old rules, rock paper scissors. Whoever loses has to wash the dishes. Come on. Lin Qiyu immediately forgot what had just happened, rolled up his sleeves and looked like he was going to try his best. This time, I will definitely win. Lin Qiyu snorted coldly. In fact, every time, she lost. Pen. Scissors. Cloth. Ah, ha, Xiao Yang, you're too slow. I didn't, you're just a rip-off for losing. Right? No, you were just slow, you cheated. Bullshit. I am the king of rock paper scissors from Keida University. How can I get the title for nothing? Get out of here and wash the dishes. No. Go quickly. Ah, look at me. I've been washing dishes so much lately that my hands aren't as white and tender as they used to be. No, I think your little paws have gotten a lot fatter. No way. Go ahead. No, I won't go awoo, I'll bite you. Lin Qiyu suddenly opened her bloody cherry-sized mouth. Damn it, Lin Qiyu, let go. Woo, don't let go. At this time, in another villa. Chai Chown. Zhang Yan turned back blankly, the former spirit in her eyes gone. Chai Chown, it has really been difficult for you during this period. You guys are quite self-aware, Zhang Yan snorted. Mother Zhang was not surprised at all, and continued. You have been staying in this room for so long, how about going out for some fresh air tomorrow? Aunt? Having stayed in this room for more than 2 weeks, she naturally wanted to go out. But it would be strange if she could go out. Zhang Yan took a long breath and said, just say what you want to say. Fang Jingyang wants to invite you to attend the auction dinner the day after tomorrow. Your father and I will also be there. Fang Jingyang? Zhang Yan frowned. No. Zhang Yan shook her head and fiddled with her phone again. In fact, there is still no signal on the phone, but there is a photo of that person on the phone. Her expression was a little gloomy, but suddenly, it brightened up again. Oh, I'll go, she said suddenly. Tian's mother was immediately delighted and said with a smile, Okay, I'll go tell Fang Jingyang and ask him to pick you up when the time comes. No need, I'll follow you. Chapter 114, It's over. You're in love. In the end, Xiao Yang naturally did not let Lin Qiyu succeed. After the little girl washed the dishes, she asked about Lin Hanwen's villa and went over. Xiao Yang glanced at the teeth marks on his arm, looking helpless. Why do I like stamping? Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. Come to think of it, has Zhang ever given him a stamp of approval? Cover it up. It must have been covered. Xiao Yang licked the corner of his lips. He remembered that when he woke up one morning, there was a cherry scent at the corner of his mouth. It was the scent of the lipstick that Zhang Yan liked to wear. Speaking of which, the dinner party the day after tomorrow is the highlight. It would be great if we could trick the Fang family again. After thinking about things for a while, I opened the live streaming platform on my mobile phone again. Just at this moment, the clear system voice in my mind sounded again. Light. Dream Ambassador short-term mission release. A trial. Ask description. Help Sheng Xin and Yao Fengding Duma platform to reach the Rising Star list. Task reward. Random cashback card 1 to 100. Rising Star list. Xiao Yang's expression brightened, and when he looked again, he saw a banner hanging in the center of the homepage of the Doma OLED broadcast platform. Rising Star list will be open the day after tomorrow. Requirements. New anchors, anyone with a live broadcast time of less than 1 month can participate. Competition rules. Within 3 hours, a combination of rewards, popularity, new subscriptions, and several other factors. No, one on the list. Can get tens of millions of traffic exposure. It costs Krypton Gold again. Xiao Yang frowned slightly. For activities on this kind of platform, the only way to reach the top is to rely on rewards. He just spent 2 million and almost put himself in Lin Qiu's mouth. Now Xiao Yang is really indifferent to Krypton Gold. But fortunately, it's not a treasure chest this time. It's a random cashback card. That's okay. Krypton. Bro, I'm going to spend money like hell. It would be great if you could give me something tangible like this sooner. At this time, Xiao Yang also opened XINX, in Xiangrong's live broadcast room, but found that the broadcast had ended. It seems that the number of new subscriptions this time is quite large. With more than 30,000 new subscriptions, Xiao Yang calmed down. In fact, XINX in Xiangrong's singing level is basically a dimensionality reduction attack when placed on the live broadcast platform. Unfortunately, this is a world where appearance matters. Many of the brothers who were following the leader had no mood to listen to music. Moreover, this kind of list, in terms of strength and so on, cannot be compared with spending money. After all, you still have to spend a lot of money. I don't know how much it will cost this time. Xiao Yang was worrying about his wallet. And at this moment, in a girl's dormitory, XIN, I envy you so much. I've been live streaming for nearly half a month, but there are hardly any people watching, let alone giving me tips. You are so lucky. It has only been 1 day and someone has already given you 2 million in tips. 2 million. A girl chirped. Xiao Yi, if the tip is 2 million, how much money can I receive? XIN took off her mask. But at this moment, the lead broadcast room has been closed. If someone could see her taking off her mask, they would probably go crazy. A whole face is flawless, almost perfect. Even Xiao Yang, who is used to seeing beautiful women, would probably gasp. This face is not inferior to Lin Qiu's in any way. And is even better. If this were put in a TV series, there would be no need to turn on the beauty filter at all. Even if the character is a supporting role, the main character would probably be overshadowed because he or she is to spotlight stealing. Even the roommate next to me was staring at the girl's face unconsciously. After all, both men and women have the taste to appreciate beauty. This is a pure and flawless face when people look at it. They don't feel jealous at all, but only admiration. Girls who lack self-control will probably be turned into lesbians. Let me check it out. Xiao Yi thought about it, turned on the computer and started checking. It seems to be 3070. Why is it only 70? XIN asked in confusion. 70% of it belongs to someone else. XIN was stunned. It's a full 2 million, and the platform takes 70 of it. Doesn't that mean I only have 600,000? It's so dark. She sighed. So, we only have 30? Obviously they didn't even promote it. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. The two of them breathed a sigh of relief, but soon became happy again. Even if it's 3070, that's still 600. 2 million becomes 600,000. That's right. But these 600,000 yuan, at least I won't have to worry about money until I graduate. Chang Xin said again with anticipation. Yes, this way, Brother Shang Ron won't have to work so hard. By the way, Xin, why didn't you sing Sunny Day when you were live streaming just now? If you had sung Sunny Day, the live streaming room would have exploded. I have never heard such a beautiful love song, Xiao Yi suddenly said. No, you can't sing Sunny Day in public. Shang Xin shook her head. Why? My brother said that this song hasn't been released yet. Besides, this is sung by someone else, there must be a reason why it's not released on the platform. Maybe they don't want to be famous. What if we become famous? That's right, Xiao Yi nodded thoughtfully and said. I don't know what he was thinking, such a beautiful song. But he didn't release it and only played it once. Yeah. I think this song is great too. As he spoke, Shang Xin began to hum. The little yellow duck of the story. I've been floating since the year I was born. In the dormitory, the sound gradually became lighter. A song fell. Xiao Yi at the side said, the boy who sang this song must be very handsome. I can imagine it all, an handsome boy holding a guitar affectionately beside the busy street. Yeah, I also heard from my brother that the guy who plays Sunny Day is really handsome. Shang Xin said with a look of longing. What do you think? Should we check it out? Maybe this Xiaoyang is in Jiangdu? Xiao Yi suddenly suggested. How is that possible? My brother met her in JM City, how could she be in Jiangdu? Besides, she seems to have a girlfriend, who is said to be prettier than me. Shang Xin said embarrassedly. How could she be prettier than you? Xin, I think your brother must have lied to you because he's afraid that you're falling in love with her. Xiao Yi teased with a smile. What do you mean love sickness? You're overthinking it, as just a song, how could I possibly like someone I haven't even met? Shang Xin patted Xiao Yi and snorted coldly. DSK. Don't think I don't know that you listen to that song Sunny Day every night before falling asleep. I just like listening to this song, and her voice is really nice. Shang Xin thought, holding her chin. You are kidding me. Oh, you're done, you're in love. You never talk about boys with a smile. Who said that? You also said that, look at your expression. In one word, that's wild. Chapter 115 Investigation. Seeing that Xin was not broadcasting, Xiaoyang was not in a hurry. It was already afternoon at this time. Xiaoyang called Xiaoshang over. Koenigsegg had already called. All the procedures for the car have been completed and Xiaoyang can arrive away at any time. Upon hearing the news, Xiaoyang naturally couldn't wait. When he arrived at the gate of the community, Xiaoshang had been waiting for a long time. Boss, let's go, pick up the car. Soon, the two came to Koenigsegg store again. There are no cars left on the original exhibition stand. After completing the formalities, Xiaoyang finally got his wish and sat in the supercar worth 20 million. A roar sounded, and Xiaoyang's face was full of excitement. There is a saying that goes, the most exciting thing is always the roar of the engine. As soon as the accelerator is pressed, the speed increases instantly. But soon, Xiaoyang released his pressure on the accelerator. Since he was still in the city, he naturally couldn't drive that fast. It feels so damn good to have a supercar. Of course. No matter how supercar is a supercar, it still has to stop at red lights and go at green lights. Looking at Xiaoshang's car driving in front of him, Xiaoyang's face was full of helplessness. No matter how great a car is, it's still not as fast as a Volkswagen. At this moment, a convertible drove over outside the car window. A Ferrari convertible. If Xiaoyang saw such a car under normal circumstances, he would probably take a few more glances. But now, the other party's car window was rolled down first. Little brother, little brother, little brother. Xiaoyang turned his head and saw two girls sitting in the car, waving at him frantically. Seeing Xiaoyang looking at them, the two girls were immediately filled with excitement. So handsome. Oh my god, he looks so handsome when he rides his bike. It's one-handed driving, okay. But the next second, his eyeballs were about to fall out. I saw the girl sitting in the passenger seat suddenly pulling her clothes down. Lipped, oh brother. There was a moaning sound, the girl bit her lips lightly, her face full of temptation. What the hell? Even Xiaoyang was shocked by the scene. Are all girls nowadays so open-minded? That piece of Snow White. How could it be contained without a pound of silicone? At this time, on the other side, some passers-by saw this scene and their eyes widened. Brother, we can do it together. The girl sitting in the driver's seat was obviously not that old. She blinked her eyes and laughed. Don't mess with me. Xiaoyang had never encountered such a situation before. The moment the green light came on, a roar was heard and he sped away. Off to the side, an electric car came to an abrupt stop. Miss, I can do that too. Get out. The two girls pulled up their clothes. Looking contemptuous. You can ask your mom, can you drive a Koenigsegg with one hand? Xiaoyang quickly forgot about the incident on the road. After parking the car outside the University of Finance and Economics, he took Xiaoshang to the food store. Luxing is not here to take care of things here. so Xiaoyang will come over to take a look when he is free. At this time, there was still a lot of noise outside the food store. Now there are few people who come here because of Colonel John. Both boys and girls come in pairs and barbecue for their partners. Because this place is close to the University of Finance and Economics. Many people know Xiaoyang. Seeing him coming, they all greeted him. Old Xiao is here. Lao Xiao, your barbecue here is absolutely amazing. Damn it, it's all Lao Xiao's fault. He made me think I knew how to grill and that I was an expert at it. Yesterday, I took my goddess to a barbecue restaurant in Ananhu. I drove the chef away, and the meat I grilled made her vomit. She even said she would never date me again. You're not that bad. I roasted it a couple of days ago, and I couldn't get out of bed the next day. Isn't it bad that you can't get out of bed? Everyone looked at him with envy. Even the boy who had just made the goddess vomit opened his eyes wide with a look of disbelief on his face. It shouldn't be like this. Ersai, huh? The boy shook his head and said, I baked it for my parents at home that night. We played mixed doubles. Everyone suddenly realized. Only Xiaoyang was standing aside. What are you talking about? Nothing, nothing. By the way, Lao Xiao, why haven't I seen you in school recently? Are you still going to eat or not? You are bringing up all the issues. The whole school has been informed of Lao Xiao's expulsion. Suddenly, the man looked embarrassed and apologized repeatedly. It's okay, just continue eating and enjoy your meal. Xiaoyang no longer minded this matter and said with a smile. Xiaoshang followed behind and was stunned by what he heard. School? My boss is still a student. No, it's true, my boss would be expelled from school. Which school has such great official power? Seeing that Xiaoyang didn't look angry at all, the man smiled and raised his glass and said, Sorry. Old Xiao, I'll drink 3 glasses as punishment. After returning to the store, Xiaoyang also told Xiaozhang about the situation. This is Lu Xing's call. He is responsible for many things in the store. So he knows them very well. However, he is recovering from his injuries now. Is there any problem with you doing these things? Xiaoyang asked. No problem, Xiaoshang said confidently. Okay, this is the channel for purchasing ingredients. You should focus on this today also, keep an eye on them. If anyone comes to cause trouble. Xiaoyang had just finished speaking. Suddenly a car drove in from outside. This is a pedestrian food street. Generally speaking, no one drives here even during the day. There are not many people. But this car drove straight towards us. Where is the person in charge? The person in charge of this store. Come out. The sound coming from outside the store suddenly became much quieter. We are from the bureau. We received a report from the public that there are food safety issues here. Food safety? Xiaoyang was slightly stunned. And around, many people's faces darkened. Everyone leave, don't eat yet. We need to investigate this store. For a moment, everyone looked at him in surprise. After hearing what the other party said and taking a look at their uniforms, some people immediately got up from their seats and wanted to walk out, etc. Xiaoyang stretched out his hand. Whose report did you receive? There is no problem with our food safety at all. Whether there is a problem or not is not up to you. It's up to us, the other party smiled. Okay, everyone stay. Since you're here to investigate, that's perfect. There are many people here right now, and everyone has a witness. Come on, I can investigate anything you want. Xiaoyang's voice was sonorous and powerful. Many people here knew Xiaoyang and stopped for a moment. Come on, let's check it out. Xiaoyang had a cool look on his face, and spread his hands to invite everyone into the store. Chapter 116, Riding a Tiger. The leader gave a look. And the next second, a group of people got out of the car. Xiaoyang led them in calmly. Suddenly, the people who were eating barbecue and singing left their seats and rushed forward. Food safety is a problem, right? This is our stuff. In addition, there is a cold storage inside, which is also full of food. Just check it out. The cold storage was opened, and cool air came in, making everyone feel refreshed. The staff who came to investigate also shuddered at this moment. I saw that everything in the cold storage was neatly arranged, and there didn't seem to be anything wrong with the ingredients. The inside was cleaned neatly, and there was no peculiar smell at all. This is much cleaner than my house. My refrigerator isn't even this tidy. The students who followed said when they saw this. Indeed, compared with many stores, Xiaoyang's place can be described as super clean. Seeing this, several people looked at each other. But since it's an investigation, it's naturally not that simple. The leading staff member stepped forward and said to Xiaoyang, we need to take the food back for testing. How can we check it here? Wait, let me make a call. Xiaoyang's expression also turned cold. Hey, Firthuncle. After hanging up the phone, the staff here have already taken action. Put on gloves and prepared to take away some ingredients. Xiaoyang immediately reached out to stop him. What? Do you want to interfere with law enforcement? The other party sneered. This is a normal review mechanism. Article 47 of the Food Safety Sampling and Inspection Management Measures stipulates that any business operator who refuses, obstructs or interferes with food safety sampling and inspection, risk monitoring and investigation and handling without justifiable reasons shall be punished in accordance with the regulations. Xiaoyang was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that the other party came prepared. No, I'm not going to refuse you from conducting random inspections. But my lawyer will be here soon, so this is a valid reason. Besides that, I doubt your identity. Please show me your ID first before I investigate. Also, I have to be present during the entire process of your investigation and record it on video for evidence. I'm afraid you will enrich yourself and frame me. Xiaoyang was not polite at all. After that, he smiled again and said, this is a legitimate reason. These people obviously didn't expect Xiaoyang to be so difficult to deal with. To be honest, I originally thought that if they wanted to clean up this store, they would have 10,000 reasons to do so. As long as there is a living creature on the ground, let alone a cockroach, even if it is an ant, they can expand the situation and temporarily close the store door. But not only are there no living creatures, there is no strange smell at all. In addition, the food here is very fresh and clean. And even the various things commonly seen in the market such as clenbuterol are completely absent. The cooking oils are all from big brands on the market. And there is no such thing as so-called gutter oil. Even the shop assistants' clothes were clean and free of oil stains. This is rare in a gourmet restaurant. In fact, almost all the waiters in Xiaoyang's store are girls. Although they are not as pretty as Zheng Shengzhu, they are still considered beauties in the eyes of the public. These women acted as waitresses when students from the neighborhood came to have a barbecue. The only thing they had to do was serve dishes. In fact, they just served dishes and their aprons didn't even look dirty. There's no way to fire. After Xiaoyang finished speaking, several people frowned. There is no way if you check other people's things. They can naturally supervise the whole process. This is their right and there is no way to refuse. As for lawyers, there is no way to refuse them. How could they have imagined that a gourmet food restaurant could hire a lawyer? There is not a single flaw to pick out. The waiters keep the place cleaner than the customers. Do I have to tell other customers that their clothes were splashed with barbecue oil and are affecting the city's appearance? Okay then. Then wait for the lawyer. For a moment, several people felt a little nervous. Even if we take this ingredient back, we probably won't find anything out by testing it. If it were in any other store, the owner would have been scared to death by now. When the customers heard that it was a food safety issue, they were probably dumbfounded and spit out everything. Who knows, word of the matter could spread from one person to 10. And from 10 to 100 regardless of whether it's true or not. This store will be completely bankrupt. But who would have thought that the store owner was not panicking at all and even hired a lawyer? This customer was even more outrageous. Instead of leaving the store, he followed directly and even had barbecue that might have food safety issues in his mouth. He didn't even consider the food safety issues they mentioned. Xiaoyang was not in a hurry. He waved his hand and said, everyone, eat and drink. If there is any problem, I will take responsibility. Okay. I feel relieved with Lao Shao's words. Damn it. There is no food safety issue at all. I've been eating here for several days. If there really was a problem, I'm afraid everyone would have gone to my house for a banquet instead of sitting here eating skewers. Don't worry. Xiaoyan smiled and said, if something goes wrong, I'll sit at the kids' table. I'll sit at Xiaoyang's table. Because Lin Qiu will definitely be there too. Everybody burst into laughter. Xiaoyang's character is well known in the University of Finance and Economics. Moreover, as some people just said, he has been eating it for several days. So if there was going to be a problem, it would have happened a long time ago. They have also seen the cold storage in the kitchen. Even your own kitchen is not as clean as other people's kitchens. Cooking oil is also packaged in large barrels. The clean cooking oil on the market is branded and advertised on TV every day. How could there be a problem? For a moment, it was as if nothing had happened. Everyone was still eating, drinking and chatting, and it was even more lively than before. As for those few people, they were now looking at each other in bewilderment. It was already afternoon and dinner time was almost here. Everyone had already digested most of what they had eaten at noon. Now, the fragrant barbecue smell is spreading all around. This is no longer just a late-night poisoning, it's simply torture. And this torture is entirely self-inflicted. Sampling. The leading staff member snorted coldly and said in a deep voice, yes. Several people immediately took out transparent packaging bags, put on new gloves, and collected the food samples. There is no other way. It has come to this point, I can only continue to be tough. And I still pay and sit down to eat the food they say has safety issues? But the more I cleaned it, the more tempting the fragrance became. There were even to people who were looking outside abstinently. People continued to pour into the store. Tables and chairs were added one after another. and the customer flow was increasing, without any impact at all. But the occasional glances from them made them feel a little embarrassed. They could all hear that some people were still discussing what had just happened. But Xiaoyang still has a lot of credibility in these people's hearts. They don't worry about food problems at all. Instead, they enjoy the food more and more as they eat. And the gluttons in their stomachs would make sounds of resistance from time to time. Some people wanted to take off their uniforms right away and roll up their sleeves to go into battle. Is it really that delicious? So weird. Seeing more and more people outside, they were at a loss as to what to do. Chapter 117, Living Hell. After a long time, Zhang Yichen finally arrived. Several staff members were already starving at this moment. Hello, I'm Mr. Xiaoyang's lawyer. My name is Zhang Yichen. Zhang Yichen smiled and was gentle, still looking so harmless. Excuse me, do you want to investigate our food safety issues? Zhang Yichen was not in a hurry, he just spoke slowly. Yes, someone reported that there are food safety issues at Xingyang Self-Service Food Restaurant. We need to conduct a sampling investigation and will immediately suspend business for rectification if necessary. Although his momentum was not strong enough, he still held his chest high and spoke with dignity. Why, do you think there's something wrong with our work? No, I'm just a lawyer naturally. I dare not interfere with law enforcement. Zhang Yichen shook his head repeatedly. He looked outside and saw that many people were looking over here. And even some girls couldn't help but look at Zhang Yichen with infatuation. The Zhang family's genes are there. Zhang Yichen is not very old. And with his gentle appearance, he is a killer among girls. Moreover, many girls like this kind of down-to-earth and reliable appearance. The most important thing is temperament. Just by looking at their temperament, you can tell they are not an ordinary family. At this moment, there was still a lot of noise outside. As for food safety issues, let's talk about them after we eat. That's good, you are a lawyer and you understand the law. Since you don't want to interfere with law enforcement, please stop hindering our work. The other party waved his hand. The next second, I wanted to take the prepared ingredients and go out. At this moment, Zhang Yichen reached out and stopped the other party. I want to see your work permit and related investigation documents. We need relevant documents for a surprise sampling investigation after being reported by someone. You should have brought them with you. Several people looked at each other, but fortunately they were prepared and took out the documents directly. Zhang Yichen glanced at it, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, picked up his phone and made a call. Hello. I'm Zhang Yichen. Is that Director Lin? Yes, I am currently working at a restaurant called Xingyang Self-Service Food Restaurant. And the person in charge, here is my client. Well, did you release a relevant investigation document on food safety issues? As far as I know, the higher-ups take this situation very seriously. If the relevant departments frequently come to the store to investigate, it may affect the store's reputation, so we need to be very cautious when dealing with this kind of problem. In addition to the documents you need to produce, including the discussion of related issues in the early stages. Zhang Yichen said a lot of nonsense, and everyone was immediately confused. Xiaoyang raised his eyebrows slightly. He didn't quite understand what Zhang Yichen said, but he felt that he seemed very powerful. But after he finished speaking, I roughly understood what he meant. That is, some law enforcement adjustments have been made in recent years. Because it is too easy to spread rumors now. For example, there were incidents like stabbing in the back on a certain blog in the past. Netizens, or the general public, do not care about the authenticity of the incident. Or rather, eating spectacles is their main interest. But in the end, even if the truth of the matter was revealed, a person who was spread the rumors suffered indelible harm. The truth was revealed, but the result was terrible. In order to prevent such incidents from happening frequently, the procedures for handling some matters are now much more complicated. But it also prevents some false and wrongful convictions from happening. Zhang Yichen's meaning was very clear. Whether the food safety issue you are trying to raise is true or not is not the point for now. But if it is false, why do you come here to investigate in such a large group without having investigated it secretly? What if it affects the store's reputation? In fact, this is what these people thought. What they didn't know was that this ordinary barbecue restaurant could actually afford to hire a lawyer. He actually knew everything about a seemingly insignificant new change in the law. The most important thing, he called his immediate superior directly. This is the head of the entire department. For a moment, everyone was a little panicked. They didn't know whether to put down the things they were going to investigate or to take them away. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yichen smiled and patted Xiaoyang's shoulder. The meaning is very simple. Had it done for you. Sure enough, after a while, the leading staff member's cell phone rang. The voice on the other end of the phone was extremely serious. He first scolded them, and then said he would go back and do a self-examination. Now, they no longer had the energy to investigate and quickly put the things back. I'm sorry, Mr. Xiao, for disturbing your store's normal business. Several people were about to burst into tears. Naturally, I did this only after receiving instructions. But who would have thought that whether it was done or not, they would be the ones to bear the blame. Not only did they not get any benefits, but they also had to make self-examinations when they returned. Several people hurriedly got into the car and left in shame. As for other words, I dared not say a single word. Thank you, Xiaoyang said to Zhang Yichen with a smile. To be honest, he was still a little panicked after all. This was an official matter. If something really went wrong, Xingyang's reputation would be over. Zhang Shangzu has been busy with this matter. If there are any problems here, it will probably be a blow to the investors who have joined. Not only will I have to refund the money, but I'm afraid the Xingyang brand will no longer be able to continue. It's just a small matter. Zhang Yichen smiled and said softly, the Fang family is going to take action against you. Xiaoyang nodded. The answer was undeniable. Besides them, who else could allow the white department to take a stroll around the store? Fortunately, he usually pays attention to these issues and has done his best to deal with safety issues. So nothing went wrong. Otherwise, if we really want to investigate, even if it's just a drop of oil dropped on the ground, they can tell the truth. Be careful during this period. But since they have touched the white one, it's hard to say what the black one will do. Xiaoyang nodded. He didn't expect the Fang family to be so rampant. Okay, I don't want the lawyer's fee, just buy me something to eat. I came here without even having eaten. Smelling the aroma of barbecue in the store, Zhang Yichen also felt hungry. As soon as the words fell, many girls became restless. Handsome lawyer, here, I have a seat. Handsome lawyer, my grilled meat is delicious. If you don't believe me, try it. Xiaoyang didn't expect Zhang Yichen to be so popular, and said with a smile, looks like I don't need to treat you. No, it's not necessary. This is really annoying. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just too charismatic. Zhang Yichen was no longer as serious as before. He smiled, walked out of the store, and randomly found a table with many girls and sat down. Suddenly, other tables were filled with envious looks. Are you Zhang Yichen? I've heard of you. You are the most famous lawyer in Jiangdu. Someone said in surprise. Yeah. Yes, they say you are the king of hell. A girl said boldly. Spreading rumors is against the law. Zhang Yichen's face straightened. Ah, suddenly, the girl's grilled skewers fell directly onto the oven and her face turned pale. I'm just kidding, I'm not some living devil. Besides, this isn't a rumor. Zhang Yichen took the skewers of meat from the oven with a smile and took a bite. I never thought a cute girl like you could grill such delicious meat. The voice fell. The girl immediately smiled. The atmosphere suddenly became more tense. At one point, many girls sent their grilled skewers to Zhang Yichen. Chapter 118. Let them retreat, we'll do it ourselves. The next afternoon, after sending away another group of personnel from the fire department, Xiaoyang's brows were already tightly locked. What does this mean? Why do you come to my place to drink tea every day for no reason? Xiaoyang was obviously a little angry. This is the fourth wave of people today. From food safety to fire protection, everything was checked thoroughly. Of course, Zhang Yichen was also a little helpless. He had greeted everyone, but some people still came over from time to time. Although the customers in Xiaoyang's store were relatively rational, they could not stand such a commotion. What's more, this was when he was around. What if she is not here? Or what if the next one who comes is not white but black? What about the girls in the store? This is how the Fang family disgusts you. Zhang Yichen shook his head and set it aside. He was eating a skewer of barbecue, but he was not as impatient as Xiaoyang. Xiaoyang obviously realized that there was something wrong with his mentality. He took a long breath and calmed himself down. So, the Fang family is forcing me to fight back. Why don't you move into our store? That way they can come however they want. Xiaoyang suddenly laughed. Can you afford to support me? Zhang Yichen laughed. Well, I really can't afford it. The most famous lawyer in Jiangdu. It would be strange if you could afford to run a barbecue restaurant. The store's daily revenue is probably not even as high as 1 hour of lawyer consultation fees. Xiaoyang was just joking casually. Don't worry, it's just to disgust you. Those departments that have come here will definitely not come again. Health safety, video safety, fire safety, they've all been checked. If it happens again, you can definitely sue them. Sue them? Xiaoyang's face was full of astonishment. Well, so you don't have to worry at all. I guess they won't send anyone tomorrow. Xiaoyang nodded. He was indeed a little worried. I have to attend a dinner tomorrow, and I won't be there at the time. If something happens in the store then, I really won't be able to take care of it. By the way, do you know about the auction dinner in Jiangdu tomorrow? Xiaoyang suddenly asked. Auction dinner? Zhang Yichen smiled. Of course I know that. In fact, every year Jiangdu holds an auction dinner. and a portion of the proceeds are donated to charity it is officially organized. And these should be some valuable auction items. Xiao Yang said with a smile. That's not necessarily true. The first auction item last year seemed to be a basketball played by a star named Kun Kun. Damn, I didn't expect that a broken basketball could be sold for more than 300. Zero, Zhang Yichen said with a smile. That really is everything. Well, there are some privately listed auction items, as well as official auction land, including stocks, bonds, and even companies on the verge of bankruptcy. At this point, Zhang Yichen looked at Xiao Yang. Why, you're going tomorrow too? Yes, I promised an elder that I would go with him to see the world tomorrow. Want to see the world? Zhang Yichen glanced at Xiao Yang. The wines you have are truly worldly. A few pieces of land. All fucking garbage. Xiao Yang ignored this question. He couldn't say that it was a gift from the system. At this time, the phone rang. Xiao Yang took a look and saw it was Zhang Shangzhu. He didn't avoid it and picked up the phone directly. Hello, Xiaozhu? Xiao Yang, is there something wrong in the store? Zhang Shangzhu's voice came, and from the words, it seemed that there were some problems in the company as well. Yes, many departments came to the store for inspection recently, but I sent them all away. Did something happen at the company? Xiao Yang asked. Yeah, Zhang Shangzhu nodded. I received several calls today. They were all investors who had agreed to join us before, and some of them had even paid the money. They want to change their mind and want a refund. Refund? Not joining anymore, Xiao Yang asked in surprise. Yeah, Zhang Shangzhu was also speechless. But we had signed a letter of intent before, and I didn't return the money, but judging from their attitude, even if they fulfilled the contract, they probably wouldn't open the store again. Xiao Yang frowned. I didn't expect that what happened here has affected the franchise. Indeed, too many departments have come in the past 2 days. And those franchisees are naturally concerned about the store affairs. Whenever there is any disturbance, they will naturally receive the news. But this is no longer just a minor disturbance. It is obvious that the Fang family has already spread the news. If people from various departments can appear in their store today, they can also appear in other stores tomorrow. As the saying goes, it is easy to deal with the king of hell, but it is difficult to deal with little ghosts. This is exactly the truth. You can say that there is no problem with your store. It has been checked and cannot be checked again. But what about other stores? Can you guarantee that there will be no problems in every store? In addition, Xiao Yang can manage his own store without any problems from ingredients to condiments. But what about the franchisees? Will they buy cooking oil from big brands on the market? Will they have their kitchen and cold storage clean? This is obviously a problem. As long as there is a problem in one store, it will affect the entire Xingyang brand. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. This had obviously become a problem that could not be ignored. I have to say, the Fang family really disgusts me. However, these are easy to solve for Xiao Yang. He thought for a moment and said, let them retreat. Zhang Shangzhu was stunned. Let them retreat, we will build Xingyang's brand ourselves. Xiao Yang affirmed again. Brand stores and franchise stores must be clearly distinguished. Now it is obvious that someone is deliberately trying to mess with us. If there is any problem with the franchise, I'm afraid they will magnify it and spread it to the entire brand. I'm afraid that some people would sell inferior products as good ones in order to make money, thus ruining our reputation. Xiao Yang sighed. Franchise can naturally make the brand bigger and stronger more quickly. But there are also many problems. I want to control the brand firmly. Let us take the helm ourselves, and make sure that the sailors on this ship are all from Xingyang. In this way, the ship will really not capsize. The words fell. Obviously, Zhang Shangzhu was also thinking about it. She has been busy with the franchising matters until now. If she chooses to overturn the entire incident now, then all her work in the past few days would be in vain. However, Zhang Shangzhu is very clear which is more difficult. Building a brand through franchising or building a brand comprehensively. She didn't know why, but at this moment she felt more inclined to the latter. It's harder but challenging enough. And she has a character that never gives up. It is obviously more exciting to challenge a stronger project and build a broader battlefield. In just a moment, Zhang Shangzhu had made his choice. But there is another very important issue. Whether joining a franchise or doing it yourself, the initial capital is definitely a big problem. She thought for a moment and said, how much money do you plan to inject? If you want to do it yourself, the investment for these 50 stores in Jiangdu will be at least hundreds of millions of yuan. Don't worry about it, there is no problem with funds. What Zhang Shangzhu didn't expect was that Xiao Yang agreed directly. You should start working on these things now and make a detailed charter. The Fang family is watching us closely now, and we can't have any problems. Good. Zhang Shangzhu nodded in agreement. After hanging up the phone, She let out a long sigh and a smile appeared on her face. At this time, Xiaoyang was here. After his phone call was disconnected. Soon, the system's voice echoed in my mind. Bite. Chapter 119 Because She Is Mine. Bite. Ask release. The Path to Self-Reliance of High-Quality Rich People Part 2. Earn 10 million profit. Reward, Lucky Stick. Note, when consumed, the luck value is max. There are certain side effects. Lucky value max. Buy lottery tickets. Xiaoyang's first thought was indeed the same as most people's. Buy lottery tickets. But after thinking for a while, Xiaoyang shook his head. Regardless of whether I win or not. Even if I win 5 million or 50 million, it's not bad for me right now. No matter what, my luck value is at its maximum, so I guess whatever I do will come true. As for the side effects, Xiaoyang didn't look at it much. He estimated that it was similar to the endurance pill. Just as he finished reading the task, the voice in his head rang again. Bite. Complete the mission of the special stage of cultivating a strong woman. Reward. Negotiation expert effect only available on Zhongshang Zhu. Note. Improve the success rate of negotiations during business negotiations. Stop it now. Xiaoyang took a look inside. You might as well give Zhang Shangzu a system. On this side, Zhang Yichen asked, what did you do with Xiaozu? I just started a company and I'm going to. Xiaoyang pointed to the barbecue restaurant. Make Xingyang's brand bigger and stronger. Xiaozu is busy with this right now. Zhang Yichen savored the taste of the barbecue in his mouth and said slowly. That's fine, this barbecue is really delicious. It would be best if you could open one under my law firm. That way, I don't have to travel so far to come here in the future. I guess there really is, Xiaoyang smiled. We rented 50 shops in Zhengdu. These 50 shops basically cover all the streets in the city. When you want to eat, you can probably get there in just a few steps. So many. Zhang Yichen was full of surprise. I thought they were just making a small fuss. But the noise was really big. Xiaoyang nodded and said. We plan to expand Xingyang's brand across the country and become the first barbecue buffet restaurant in China and abroad. This is not easy. Zhang Yichen smiled and said. That I believe in you. By the way, your goal is so big. Are you at ease leaving it to Xiaozu? Xiaozu has grown up under my watch. She is capable and strong-willed, but she has little experience and relies entirely on hard work. She is still a sophomore. If you hand over everything to her, it will cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Aren't you afraid of losing money? Xiaoyang shook his head. It's not that I can't afford to lose this little money. And I believe in Xiaozu too. She is a treasure girl. Xiaoyang said with emotion. Come to think of it, both my uncle and I are working for you. Boss Xiao, you are the most prestigious person in Zhengdu. Zhang Yichen said with a smile. How about I pay you a salary? Xiaoyang said with a smile. Okay, I have plenty of money. How about this, just give me all the wine in your wine cabinet. How about that? That's good stuff. As long as the person is there, the wine will be there. Xiaoyang smiled. The two chatted and laughed for a while. And Xiaoyang continued. I'm going to attend the dinner tomorrow. But I'm worried about things in the store. How about you come over and sit down when you're free? I think if you sit here for another 2 days, all the girls in the nearby schools will probably have another dream lover. Have you noticed that there are at least 3 times as many girls coming to the store today as there were yesterday? And every one of them wants to eat you up. I don't have enough waist strength. Zhang Yichen shook his head. But I have to attend a dinner tomorrow. So I probably won't be able to come and sit here. You are going too? Xiaoyang asked in surprise. I didn't expect Zhang Yichen to go there too. Yeah, I didn't want to go there originally. That place is a bit boring. Besides, I don't have anything I want to buy. If it's 1982 fight, maybe I would be interested. Then why are you still going? Xiaoyang asked. I have no choice but to accompany my niece. I'm afraid she will be bullied by an idiot. Zhang Yichen frowned slightly. Your niece? Is Zhang Shangzu going to? Xiaoyang didn't hear Zhang Shangzu mention this. No, it's her sister, my other niece, Zhang Yichen said slowly. Oh, I think I heard Xiaozu say that. She said her sister was going to marry someone she didn't like. Xiaoyang recalled and remembered that Zhang Shangzu had mentioned this when they were discussing the franchising that day. Yeah, Zhang Yichen frowned, obviously feeling a little uncomfortable about this matter. Given your family situation, it shouldn't be that serious. Xiaoyang said with a smile. It's indeed not the case. Zhang Yichen gave Xiaoyang a thumbs up, and he thought so too. After taking a look at Xiaoyang, an idea suddenly came to his mind. Tell me the truth, Xiaoyang, do you have a girlfriend? Zhang Yichen suddenly asked. No, Xiaoyang shook his head. The person most likely to become his girlfriend now is Lin Qiyu. Only, not yet. So do you like Xiaozu? Zhang Yichen stared at Xiaoyang and asked. Of course not, Xiaoyang said firmly. Not to mention that I didn't have any ideas at all. Even if I did, I naturally couldn't admit it. This is Zhang Shangzu's uncle. That's good. Zhang Yichen's mouth corners slightly raised. Do you know who my niece Fiang is? Who? Xiao Yang's heart suddenly jumped. Fang Jingyang, Zhang Yichen said suddenly. That's really a fool. Really? Wait, you are going to marry into the Fang family soon. Why are you helping me like this? Xiao Yang suddenly said. Helping you is helping you, marriage is marriage, but I never liked that idiot Fang Jingyang. Zhang Yichen shook his head. I have an idea. What idea? Xiao Yang looked at Zhang Yichen. Or you cheated on Fang Jingyang. No, you stole the woman from Fang Jingyang. How about it? Are you interested? For Thunkel, is there anyone like you who would cheat your niece like this? Xiao Yang said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. And this be called a pit? I want to pull her out of the fire pit. Zhang Yichen said helplessly. Forget it after all. It is better to destroy 10 temples than to destroy a marriage. Besides, I don't even know what your niece looks like. Xiao Yang waved his hand and refused directly. Do you think my niece will be bad in appearance because of our Zhang family's genes? That's not the case. Xiao Yang shook his head. That's Zhang Shangzu's biological sister. Look at Zhang Yichen. The looks of this family can be described as amazing. But I don't even know her. Xiao Yang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It doesn't matter, just go to the business school's campus forum and browse around. You can find her by searching any post. Her name is Zhang Yan. But she's Major Zhang of the business school, even Xiaozu can only be called Major Zhang. As soon as the words fell, Xiao Yang was stunned. You? What did you say? Zhang, Xiao Yang stared. His words becoming unclear. Yan, Zhang Yichen added this word. Zhang Yan, is it Zhang Yan? Xiao Yang suddenly became a little excited and grabbed Zhang Yichen's shoulders and shook him. No, why are you so excited? Zhang Yichen pushed Xiao Yang's hand away. I lost my composure. Xiao Yang smiled and let out a long sigh. But in my heart, there were already huge waves. For Thunkel, he suddenly became serious. What's wrong? I promise you. I will give Fang Jingyang to know. I will steal the woman from Fang Jingyang. Huh? Didn't you say that you would rather destroy 10 temples than ruin a marriage? Zhang Yichen glanced at Xiao Yang. Right? So you still agree? Because Zhang Yan, she is mine. Xiao Yang clenched his fists and his voice became deep. Chapter 120, Giant. Your people, what do you mean? Not understanding what Xiao Yang meant at all. Xiao Yang smiled and said. For Thunkel, you don't have to worry about it, protect Zhang Yan. If Fang Jingyang's pig's hoof takes advantage of her, I will chop off his hands. After hearing this voice, Zhang Yichen became even more confused. However, Xiao Yang's words were just as he thought in his heart. If Fang Jingyang wanted to take advantage of him, not to mention Xiao Yang, he himself would probably not be able to resist taking action. What are your plans? No plans. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and frowned slightly. To be honest, I was a little excited when I heard Zhang Yan's name. During this period, he still felt a little guilty. If I had confessed my feelings to her that day, I should have just kept her. Unfortunately, I was not decisive enough. People always grow. At first, Xiao Yang didn't care too much about this relationship. After all, they had only known each other for 3 days. He also didn't expect that in just 3 days, she would leave such a deep mark in his heart. Fang family. I didn't expect that Zhang Yan was also related to the Fang family. It seems that the feud with the Fang family is really a never-ending one. Before this, Xiao Yang always thought that he should live an ordinary life. And obtaining the system would only help his father regain health and live a better life. But he didn't expect that now, he would be thinking about how to bring down the Fang family, the most powerful family in Jiangdu. In addition to the existing grudges, the appearance of Zhang Yan was the reason why he had to destroy the Fang family directly. However, as Zhang Yichen said, the Fang family is powerful and has a century-old foundation, and its roots are deeply ingrained in Jiangdu. It is not easy to bring down the Fang family. I have to complete the task as soon as possible, Xiao Yang thought secretly in his heart. On this side, Zhang Yichen was still full of confusion. Why do all my nieces seem to be related to Xiao Yang? However, Zhang Shangzu should be fine, so what about Zhang Yan? Don't think about things you can't figure out, because everything will be revealed tomorrow anyway. It was getting later and later this time. Xiao Yang didn't wait until the food store closed and left early with Zhang Yichen. When the cool Kerniskig hits the road, other cars almost all dive 5 meters away, for fear of a bump or collision that could cost them their lives. The two drove to Fang Group. The towering buildings are intimidating. This is a landmark building in Jiangdu. Although he was thinking about crushing the Fang family, Xiao Yang was still somewhat shocked when he stood in front of this huge monster. He first explained his purpose at the front desk, and soon someone came down to greet him. This is a team of lawyers who are mainly responsible for previous matters. Before Xiao Yang could say anything, Zhang Yichen took the lead and walked up to him with a smile. Lawyer Shang, long time no see. Mr. Zhang, long time no see. The other party smiled bitterly, then looked at Xiao Yang. Mr. Xiao, I am the head of the legal team of Fang Group. My name is Shang Wei. Hello. Xiao Yang didn't show any expression. Please follow me. We have prepared a compensation contract. As long as Mr. Xiao agrees to our compensation plan and no longer pursues the responsibility of Xingfu community, we will also give you 200 million cash compensation according to the agreement. As he spoke, Xiao Yang looked around. When they sat down, no one from the Fang family showed up. Mr. Xiao, don't look at it. I will be fully responsible for this matter, Shang Wei said with a smile. Xiao Yang nodded. I didn't expect it to be like this. I thought the Fang family would come out and show some displeasure. Say some harsh words or something, but I didn't expect it to be so calm. This is our compensation contract and agreement. 2 copies of the document were neatly placed on the table. Zhang Yichen picked it up and looked at it slowly. After a while, Zhang Yichen nodded slowly. No problem. Xiao Yang picked up the pen and signed. Xiao Yang himself didn't expect that the outcome of this matter would be so simple and direct. He didn't even see Fang Jingyang, Fang Jingyuan, or anyone with the surname Fang appear. Shang Wei seemed to know what Xiao Yang was thinking, and just smiled and said, 200 million is not a lot for the Fang Group. Don't worry, Mr. Xiao, I can handle these things by myself. Yeah. Xiao Yang didn't know what to say anymore. But he was filled with emotion. The phone buzzed. A text message alerted me that a payment had been received from my bank account. 200 million. The Fang family was indeed very generous and did not do anything tricky about this. This also made Xiao Yang feel the strength of the Fang family. He threw out 200 million without much hesitation. There is still about 384 million left in his account. Half of this money had just been transferred by the Fang family. One can imagine how huge the Fang family's wealth is. Only after he and Zhang Yichen walked out of the Fang Group's building did Xiao Yayan calm down. I have to admit that the pressure from the Fang family is indeed a bit great. I originally thought that 200 million would at least make the other party feel a little painful, but now it seems that it is far from enough. It was just a mosquito bite. This matter is over even if we want to make something of it. I'm afraid it won't work, Zhang Yichen said. Uncle, how powerful do you think the Fang family is? Zhang Yichen shook his head. A century-old foundation, a huge entity, with deep roots. If you want to trip up the Fang family, I'm afraid it's not that easy. Xiao Yang nodded, looking at the building in the distance. I didn't feel much fear anymore. It's better if you think positively about it. Anyway, he has offended them all, and there is also the matter of Zhang Yan. The matter between him and the Fang family can only be a life and death situation. The work is done, I'm leaving first. Zhang Yichen said goodbye and left first. Xiao Yang also drove home. The first thing Xiao Yang did when he got home was to pick up his phone and open the live streaming platform. Fortunately, XIN Xianrong was actually broadcasting live at this moment. After yesterday's rewards, the popularity of XIN Xianrong's live broadcast room has stabilized. The number of subscribers has now reached 40,000. Many viewers were also listening to XIN singing at this time. And Xiao Yang was no longer the only one on the fan list. But most of them are small rewards. XIN was still wearing a mask, so her face couldn't be seen clearly, but she had managed to keep the audience with her singing. And many fans on the barrage also put up signs reading, XIN Xianrong. The host's voice is so nice. Can I record this song? It must be very comfortable to listen to it when sleeping. When can the anchor show his face? Can the host sing Ocean Waves again? It's so healing. A healing ocean waves. Some audience members who had just entered were also full of doubts. In response to these barrages, XIN only picked a few to respond to. He should have just finished singing and was drinking water in the corner, saying, the host is ugly, so I won't show my face. Just turn on the beauty filter. Almost everyone in the comments was talking about this. Right at this moment, Emperor user becomes famous and enters the live broadcast room. A huge banner was hung above the live broadcast room. Chapter 121, Mr. Yang is generous. Oh wow, Mr. Yang is here. As soon as Xiao Yang appeared, the barrage of comments started to mention Mr. Yang. After all, almost all the audience here were attracted by those 1,000 super rockets. How many super rockets did President Yang bring this time? Boss Yang, you are so generous. I am ready, hurry up and pick up the super rocket and bomb us. Xiao Yang was suddenly speechless. He didn't even know when he got the title of Mr. Yang. To be honest, he is a person who prefers to keep a low profile. But this doesn't mean he doesn't like flattery. A barrage of comments was so familiar and they all called me Mr. Yang, which made me feel very happy. He finally understood why some people, who were corrupt and embezzled public funds, would give gifts to female anchors. Whether or not you can handle the female anchor is secondary. At least the feeling of being praised by thousands of people when I came out is absolutely refreshing and comfortable. No more rewards today. Chao Yang let out a long sigh and almost couldn't hold it back. It has to be said that these viewers are too obsessed with their mentality. If they are not careful, their hands will hit the recharge button. Why did Mr. Yang turn off the engine? That won't do. Yesterday we spent 2 million, so today we have to have some super hot stuff. Chao Yang felt a little dizzy as he watched the barrage of comments continue to add fuel to the fire. Damn it, just a little more. I have to spend money tomorrow anyway. So I'll just spend a little today, yeah, just a little bit. Chao Yang sighed and clicked on the recharge interface. The latest rebate event. The more you top up, the more rebates you get. For every 500,000 yuan, we will give you 50,000 yuan worth of platform coins. Okay, then spend another 5 million, Chao Yang nodded. But the notification of the text message, he shook his hand and 5 million disappeared from his account in an instant. 5 million, the rebate is worth 250,000 gold coins. Why does it feel like the more I think about it, the more I lose? Chao Yang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But now that the money has been charged, there is naturally no way to regret it. Without thinking too much, Chao Yang directly clicked on a super rocket and wrote what he wanted to say on it. I'll give you another gift tomorrow when the Rising Star list is released. Suddenly a huge rocket exploded in the live broadcast room. 3 seconds later, it disappeared. That's it? There is indeed a huge difference between the special effects that cost $2,000 and those that cost 99 rockets. For a moment, barrages of comments started to appear. Mr. Yang is so generous. Boss Yang is awesome. I said I wouldn't send you off. But it turns out you're waiting for tomorrow's Rising Star rankings. At this time, XIN in front of the live broadcast room was also a little confused. She looked at her roommate and asked, "What is the Rising Star list?" But before his roommate could answer, the barrage of comments had already started to explain. The Rising Star ranking is an event. The event will be held from 6 to 8 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It is said that many big guilds are eyeing this Rising Star list. Yes, many new anchors are planning to become famous through this Rising Star list. How high does President Yang intend to raise XIN? I'm afraid it's hard to see anyone on the list without millions of gifts. Those guilds are good at spending money. A few million can only squeeze into the top 10 of the list. Seeing the barrage, Chao Yang took a breath. Is it so cruel? He usually just casually watches short videos and rarely watches live broadcasts. I just didn't expect that the competition for this event would be so fierce. It takes several million to make it into the top 10. So what about to top the list? I'm afraid there will be a lot of blood. Looking at the remaining value of virtual gold coins of about 5 million, Chao Yang felt a little distressed. I thought that these 5 million would be more than enough to top the list tomorrow. But who knew that this was just the threshold? How high does President Yang intend to raise XIN? Yes, how much reward does Mr. Yang plan to give this time? I'm looking forward to it. Every year, the top anchors on the Rising Stars list receive over 10 million in rewards. There will be something exciting to watch tomorrow. Looking at the barrage, Chao Yang's heart was beating violently. Damn, more than 10 million. And I earned back the money I gave as reward? No wonder it was said that the gentry's money was returned in full, and the people's money was divided 30 to 70. I'm afraid that not many guilds would be bold enough to use real money to exchange for these data to promote a newcomer. He exhaled a long breath and placed his finger on the super rocket again. I have to say, speaking with super rockets is really impressive. He now doesn't want to just post ordinary comments. After all, that would lower Mr. Yang's status. Anyway, I'm so low-key in real life, so what's wrong with being a little high-profile on the internet? After a while, the sound of a super rocket resounded throughout the live broadcast room, followed by the barrage of comments sent out from above the live broadcast room. Of course it's at the top of the list. Fuck, it turns out to be the top of the list. Boss Yang is awesome. Ertl, are you announcing the top spot right now? Boss Yang is so generous. Which guild does Boss Yang belong to? Yes, I think there is no guild information listed on Mr. Yang's personal information. It can't be a person. Fuck, if this were a human, how many minds would his family have? Another super rocket fell. Personally, I just prefer to hear the anchor sing. And giving tips is just a personal preference, not something I am a member of the guild. As soon as the barrage came out, suddenly, everyone inside and outside the lit broadcast room was filled with astonishment. At this time, in other lit broadcast rooms, Chao Yang's super popular banner soon appeared, with his barrage on it. Personal. Fuck, this is so awesome. It gave me a reward of 2 million yesterday. Could it be that some employee embezzled public funds again? Is this anchor named XIN and she wrong good at singing? Is one song worth 2 million? For a while, comments in other live broadcast rooms also started talking about this matter. Even viewers who didn't know the reason started asking about it, wanting to hear about yesterday's gossip. In a certain game live broadcast room, a host dressed as a monkey slammed the table and said, "You monkey, this is so fake. How can someone earn millions of dollars singing at one time?" In other live broadcast rooms, some anchors also shook their heads. This must be from the guild, it can't be an individual. Do you know how difficult it is to get on the Rising Star list? Without 10 or 20 million, you can't get it at all. Indeed. And I have news that this Rising Star ranking is very important. Several guilds are planning to compete for the top spot. It will probably be another bloody battle. If this thing is caught by one person, most people in the guild will lose all their face. However, in XIN's live broadcast room, fewer and fewer people are discussing this matter. Because XIN has already started singing. Xiao Yang also charged his phone and put it to his ear. I have to say, it's really a good idea to fall asleep listening to XIN singing. Chang Xin's voice can be both domineering and sweet. Sometimes sweet and sometimes domineering. All I can say is that she was born to do this. Even professional singers can't switch their voices as freely as she can. Either sweet or salty. It's a pity not to be a star. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and slowly fell asleep. Chapter 122 Fang Family Father and Son. The next morning, Xiao Yang turned on his cell phone. As usual, I replied to everyone who asked me how I was on WeChat. Good morning, Shiwo. King Xuantong, good morning too. Xiaozu, don't worry about the funding issue, I'll take care of it. I made something to eat and then the phone rang. Do you want to come with me to the party? It was Lin Han when calling to confirm with Xiao Yang. No need, I still need to go to the store before I go. Xiao Yang said. A day he have to go to the store as usual. He was still a little worried if the Fang family wanted to continue to make things disgusting. He would need to stay put. Well, the banquet starts at 8 o'clock. And you'd better be there before 7:30. Okay. I'll send the address to you on WeChat later. After hanging up the phone, Lin Han quickly sent the address to me on WeChat. Xiao Yang wrote it down. Lin Q had something to do at school today. So he wouldn't come over, the store wasn't open yet. So he had nothing to do, so he searched for information about Fang Group on Baidu. At this time, on the other side. Master, your dress. Fang Jingyang nodded slightly, took the dress and put it on. But soon, there was a pain in the abdomen. Damn it. Xiao Yang, I must kill you, he snorted coldly. Even with the most expensive medicines and the most advanced medical equipment, this kind of injury still depends on self-recovery. Chu Fushen's glass fragments are indeed Lafite wine bottle fragments. Even if they prick people, they are more severe than ordinary wine bottle fragments. Although the wound avoided the vital parts and was not deep, it could not heal in just a few days and only caused a dull pain. By the way, has Xiao Yang's shop been settled yet? The visitor shook his head. I went to almost every department in Zhengdu, including the government, the business, and the fire department. But I couldn't find any evidence. Fang Jingyang frowned slightly. So clean. And his crappy shop is still open? No, the fourth son of the Zhang family is here, he called, and said there was nothing he could do except to discuss Xiao Yang. Disgusted? Fang Jingyang's abdomen suddenly began to ache again. His brows were furrowed, and there was a hint of anger in his eyes. My own injuries. Isn't it just a bit disgusting? Although he didn't know why Xu Fushen stabbed him for no apparent reason, he still blamed Xiao Yang for all this. Apart from that, Fang Jingyang's expression was cold. I heard that his store called Xingyang was planning to franchise something. After our commotion, all their franchisees have withdrawn one after another. It does work a little. Fang Jingyang let out a long sigh. He didn't know why he cared so much about an ordinary person. Yes, just ordinary people. Even if you own a mansion worth hundreds of millions and fine wine, in his eyes, he is just an ordinary person. Find Scar and the others and let them do it. After putting on his clothes, Fang Jingyang said casually. Master, Scar and the others are still in the hospital and haven't come out yet. What's going on? Fang Jingyang frowned slightly. They were beaten up by Xiao Yang a few days ago, the day the second young master was beaten up. They were much worse off than the second young master. Waste, Fang Jingyang cursed. He suddenly realized that he really didn't have much to do with this ordinary person. White, black, none of them have any effect. He shook his head and continued. And we use Scar and the others, since it was Xiao Yang who beat him. Let's report it to the police station. The patrol office. The police station is also in a difficult position. According to Scar's account, there were no cameras or passers-by at the place where they were at the time. Even the murder weapon was Scar's own. Then find a passerby. Is that difficult? But the Zhang family's fourth son here. The police station may not be able to do anything about it. The fourth son of the Zhang family again. Is he just bored? Fang Jingyang was immediately furious and kicked the mirror in front of him fiercely. With a clang, the mirror shattered. Perhaps after venting his anger, Fang Jingyang finally breathed a sigh of relief and looked much better. Is Zhang Yichen mentally ill? Damn it, they are about to get married. And he is helping an outsider. Is this his intention or Zhang Yiming's? So, what on earth is the Zhang family going to do? No one answered his question. After thinking for a while, Fang Jingyang said, prepare a car for me. Jianyan likes blue encantures. I summon bring them to Jian's house later. Master, what's wrong? Fang Jingyang turned around, his expression gradually turning cold. I just asked you to buy one, and you can't even do that? No, master. There's news from the Zhang family, saying that Jianyan doesn't plan to go with you. You won't come with me. Fang Jingyang narrowed his eyes and waved his hand impatiently. Go and get ready. Okay, master. Dear, Fang Zhen walked in. Dad. Well, how are you and Zhang Yin doing? That's it. Fang Jingyang shook his head. In fact, from junior high school to high school, he and Zhang Yin were basically in the same school and the same class. It was no exaggeration to say that they were childhood sweethearts. In the eyes of others, Zhang Yan and himself are a perfect match. A talented man and a beautiful woman. But Zhang Yan just doesn't like herself. But in Fang Jingyang's heart, if you don't like it now, then don't like it anyway. The Fang family and the Zhang family will have a marriage sooner or later. After Zhang Yan marries into the Fang family, she will have the final say on what to do. Anyway, there can't be any problems with the marriage with the Zhang family. I understand, Fang Jingyang nodded. By the way, you did a good job with the XC district, although it cost a little more money. We finally got the land in the project. Lin Han Wengaven. Fang Jingyang was a little surprised. Yes, the contract was signed yesterday. This project is very important to our Fang family. After you recover from your injury, you will be in charge of the project here. Okay, Dad? Tonight, our Fang family is determined to obtain Site 608. I am old, so I will not go to the dinner tonight. You must behave yourself. No. By the way, Dad, Lin Han Wen agreed so quickly. Could there be something fishy going on? This is a big project. Fang Jingyang suddenly frowned. No, unless there is a problem with the nature of the land. But the government has disclosed the nature of the land before. Well, that's no problem. I have sent people to inspect the land. Of course, even if there is a problem with the nature of the land, it is at most a question of whether it is commercial land. This can be finalized with just the above sentence. That's right, Fang Jingyang smiled. Well, there are quite a few people coming to the dinner tonight. Your uncles and aunts are always keeping an eye on my position. Do a good job of evening's work. I will definitely take the land. Fang Jingyang raised his eyebrows, determined to win. Chapter 123. Don't you know I like you? We'll be able to see Zhang Yan soon. Xiao Yang raised the corner of his mouth unconsciously, his mind full of that haunting figure. Xiao Shang. Boss. I haven't seen a girl for a long time. What do you think I should give her as a gift? Xiao Yang said slowly. Send boss, who is this girl to you? A relative or a lover? Lovers, right? Then just give it away. It's great. Xiao Shang thought for a moment and said. Send it? Xiao Yang frowned slightly. But why does it feel like everyone gives girls the same gifts? I don't know how much I gave to Lin Qiyu, but she didn't accept any of it. Forget it, you know nothing if you want to understand. Xiao Yang waved his hand. He then instructed, watch the store today. Remember, if someone comes to cause trouble, ignore them. Let them check whatever they want. Understood. If there is anything you can't handle, call me immediately. After explaining some things, Xiao Yang looked at the time. At this time, the time had come to 6 o'clock. It should be in time. The dinner venue is not far away. I should buy something for her first. Xiao Yang thought for a moment and took out his cell phone. Ding Xuanton. Damn it, Xiao Yang. Can you please stop making such a fuss? Xiao Yang was a little helpless. Of course I'm surprised. It's so rare that you would take the initiative to find me. Ding Xuanton giggled while hugging her legs. Several girlfriends standing by were stunned. As one sentence can make the beautiful girls in the medical school laugh so hard that they burst out laughing. This is really rare. This is the violent man who beat up Peng Jingyuan at the school gate last time. Several people knew about this and asked in a low voice. King Xuantong raised the corner of her mouth and said. Tell me, what do you want to talk to me about? Do you miss me? You think too much. It's not true. Xiao Yang eyed it directly. Xiao Yang, can't you just lie to me a little bit? King Xuantong was also very angry. I'll admit it if you can at least lie to me. Is it difficult to coax me? Okay, let's get down to business. Xiao Yang glanced at the time and spoke directly. Speak. What should I give a girl when I confess my love to her? Xiao Yang explained his purpose. After all, girls understand girls best. By the way, it would be best if I could buy it now. Speaking of this, Xiao Yang wanted to slap himself. In fact, he knew yesterday that Zhang Yan would appear at the dinner. Unfortunately, because I had to deal with all the troubles at the Fang family yesterday, I forgot about what gifts to buy. As a result, I only remembered this after I finished my work in the store. After all, we have been apart for so long, so I must give you a gift. I don't know many girls around me, King Xuantong is one of them. And Lin Qiu is not one of them, but this matter. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. To be honest, he doesn't know how to face Lin Qiu now. Forget it, let's take it one step at a time. At this moment, King Xuantong on the other side heard Xiao Yang's words, and her heartbeat quakened for several seconds. She said with great joy, Xiao Yang, you are not going to confess your love to me, are you? If you want to confess to me, just ask me directly what I like. There's no need to beat around the bush. It would be best if you could just pack it up and deliver it to my door. King Xuantong said with a giggle. You're overthinking it. I want to confess my feelings to Zhang Yan. I found her. Xiao Yang rolled his eyes. This girl, how did she learn to daydream? King Xuantong was stunned, and the expression on her face froze. This. So you want me to help you pursue Zhang Yan? King Xuantong's expression suddenly darkened. Yes. Xiao Yang sighed. Although Zhang Yan and King Xuantong have been arguing, their relationship seems to be pretty good. I think she should be able to help me plan it carefully. After all, only girls understand girls' minds. Xiao Yang. King Xuantong's voice became louder. Don't you know I like you? This time it was Xiao Yang's turn to be stunned. I really don't know. Xiao Yang's mouth twitched. I haven't had much contact with King Xuantong. You idiot. King Xuantong was about to cry. My goodness, how strong are you? I don't like you, so why should I hug you and chew on you? I say good morning to you every day for no reason. You have nothing to do. Right? Fuck, King Xuantong cursed. Zhang Yan. How long have you known Xiao Yang? We have known each other for 6 years. King Xuantong gritted her teeth. Although she knew that Xiao Yang definitely had feelings for Zhang Yan, she never expected that Xiao Yang would ask her to help him plan a gift to confess his love to Zhang Yan. What is this? Just like what they say online? Put on the lipstick I bought for you, so that when you kiss, I can feel involved. Well, just pretend that I never made this call. Xiao Yang quickly hung up the phone. And then he looked completely confused. Oh shit. What have I done? He let out a long sigh and felt a headache. Forget it. Let's go buy it. Xiao Yang drove to the store. Let me talk about two sides. At this time, Zhang Yan was sitting in the room, combing her long hair casually. Thunkel, why are you here? I came to accompany you to tonight's dinner because I was afraid that big idiot Fang Jingyang would bully you. Zhang Yichen snorted coldly. Don't worry, if he dares to touch me, I will chop off his claws, Zhang Yan said viciously. Zhang Yichen nodded thoughtfully. She is worthy of being my niece. By the way, what is Xiaozu busy with recently? I haven't seen her recently. Zhang Yan asked. She is busy with company matters. Zhang Yichen said casually. She is working in the company now? Zhang Yan asked in surprise. He's not in sight and he's out working on his own. At this point, Zhang Yichen suddenly asked, Xiao Yan, do you know Xiao Yang? The words fell. The comb in Zhang Yan's hand fell to the ground instantly, and her panicked look was reflected in the mirror. Thunkel, you said. What? Zhang Yichen understood when he saw this. Oh shit. I was thinking of asking Xiao Yang to kidnap my eldest niece. But now it turns out I don't need to do it at all, because he has already kidnapped her. Xiao Yang, a junior student at Zhangdi University of Finance and Economics, 21 years old. As he spoke, Zhang Yichen waved his phone in front of Zhang Yan. Is it him? In the phone, there is a photo of Xiao Yang. Zhang Yichen took this photo secretly in a barbecue restaurant. In the photo, Xiao Yang was sitting on a chair, lying leisurely. Like an old man. But this old man is quite handsome. When Zhang Yan saw Xiao Yang's photo, she almost jumped up with excitement. Thunkel, how do you know him? Zhang Yan tried hard to suppress her inner excitement, her lips trembling slightly. He'll be at the dinner tonight. Dude. The voice fell. Next second, Zhang Yan in front of the mirror disappeared instantly and then appeared in front of her own closet. Uncle, do you think my dress looks better? Chapter 124. Let me lead my brothers to charge again. In addition to Xiao Yang and Zhang Yan who were busy. On the other side, in the pink-themed room, the girl was wearing a pink long dress. And even the mask on her face had changed from an ordinary medical mask to a pink bunny mask. The girl looked around. Xiao Yi, isn't this too pink? What do you know? Those LSS who watch live broadcasts just like the pink, tender and cute style. What a pity, if you took off your mask. I guarantee those people would want to lick the screen. Xiao Yi said with a sigh. A blush suddenly flashed across the girl's face. This is none other than the new anchor on the Doma OLED streaming platform. Xin Xianrong. At this time, the live broadcast room was not open, but a huge number of viewers had gathered here. Where's Mr. Yang? Why hasn't Xin started broadcasting yet? Boss Yang shouldn't give up, right? After all, if you want to get the top spot, you have to move up a lot. It's possible they just talk big and then leave. After taking a look at the crazy flowing barrage, Zhang Xian couldn't help but frown. It will come. I think so. Looking at the way he gave rewards that day, the 2 million was thrown out in an instant. Xiao Yi thought to herself. Zhang Xian's eyelashes moved slightly and her expression became a little nervous. Her dream has always been to stand on the stage and sing to her heart's content. Today is the most important step for her on this path. Ding dong. The cell phone rang. When I opened it, I saw that this was the official message sent by the Doma OLED broadcast platform. Several minutes have passed. The official interface of the Douyin platform has been hung with a grand banner, announcing the official opening of the annual Rising Star list. There is also a ranking list in a prominent position above each live broadcast room, which clearly records the reward ranking of each new anchor. Zhang Xian opened the live broadcast room. At this moment, there are already quite a few people waiting. But in terms of gifts, they were just free glow sticks that were randomly passed around. Soon, the rankings on the Rising Star list began to change in real time. In the list of 10 people, the name of the host Xin Xianrong can't be seen at all. Zhang Xian let out a long sigh and adjusted the camera. In the live broadcasts these days, she is no longer as clumsy as before. And with the help of her roommates, she quickly started her own live broadcast. Boom! All the live broadcast rooms were shaken. 99 super rockets exploded. However, this time, it was not a reward from Mr. Yang, nor was it a gift from Xin Xianrong's live broadcast room. But it was the noise coming from other live broadcast rooms. An anchor named King Yan quickly climbed to the top of the list. At this time, Zhang Xian's live broadcast room gradually became deserted. The day was originally an activity day, and other live broadcast rooms were busy with activities. Even the famous anchors opened the new live broadcast rooms of their own guilds and started sending gifts crazily, while also directing the audience of their own live broadcast rooms to the newcomers' live broadcast rooms. The same is true for Zhang X, and many of the viewers in her live broadcast room were diverted away. The leaderboards change almost every second, with everyone chasing after each other. The cat playing platform was extremely lively, and the top of the live broadcast room was covered by the super rocket banners in other live broadcast rooms. Hello everyone. I'm XINX and the song I'm going to sing to you today is called Butterfly. Zhang Xian just followed the instructions, but the indifference in the barrage caught her off guard, and there was something wrong with the voice. Just then, an invitation appeared on her barrage. New anchor Xiao Langdai invites you to participate in a live PK. Do you accept? Live PK. This is normal operation for live events. Seeing this scene, the barrage of comments suddenly started flowing. PK. Accept it. Take it, take it. Don't be scared. Xin we support you. Looking at the instigation in the barrage, Zhang Xian thought about it and clicked to accept. Suddenly, the live broadcast screen was split into two sides, and the two live broadcast rooms were directly integrated together. Ooh, I've heard of this little butterfly. I didn't expect she's so pretty. There is something there, at least I think I saw a little lace rope around the waist. Zhang Xian let out a long sigh, feeling a little overwhelmed. The two who came were also anchors from the talent area, but one was dancing and the other was singing. At this time, the other party's voice came from the other side. Xin, did you hear me? I heard it, Zhang Xian said softly. That's good. If you're ready, we can get started. Good. Then get ready. As the voice fell, two big red words TK suddenly appeared in the middle of the live broadcast room. At once, many viewers from other live broadcast rooms also came over after hearing the noise, and the number of comments gradually increased. Why doesn't the anchor show his face? Is it really just a pure talent show? Seeing Zhang Xian just sitting upright in the chair and clearing her throat, the audience started asking questions one after another. Our Xin is a talent show. It relies on strength. What kind of talent is this? Who knows what monsters are underneath the mask? Don't show your face, just follow the instructions given by Grandma Kiao. Grandma Kiao, a well-known Li voice anchor, once declared that she would show her face on live broadcast if she had 100 Zero fans. After she showed her face, everyone realized that this Grandma Kiao was really a grandma. She couldn't even remove the H spots on her face with high-powered dermabrasion. At this moment, above the live broadcast room, time was becoming more and more urgent. Half an hour. Within this half hour, the reward gifts received by both parties are the only criterion for winning the PK. After winning the PK, the platform will also give some recommendations. For the Rising Star list, this recommendation is naturally extremely important. Whether you are a new or old viewer, thank you for watching. Langdai would like to thank everyone here. Please feel free to send any gifts you have. As long as you apply for a card, you can get a beautiful name prefix. The voice fell. The other female anchor stood up and prepared to start her performance. The code was taken off, and suddenly, a black top that revealed the navel appeared in front of everyone. If you looked closely, you could see the unfathomable cleavage. Sexy hot pants, long legs swinging. A cheerful English song began to play. The little butterfly raised the corners of her mouth slightly, leaving behind a beautiful face, put her hands on the chair, turned around, bent down, stuck her butt out, and jumped up directly. Chang Xian's eyes widened. I didn't expect the other party's talent show. That's right. She really wanted to interrupt the PK directly. But unfortunately the platform did not allow her to do so. Vulgar. Chang Xian cursed in her heart, but she could do nothing about it. If it's someone like this, she won't be able to beat him. And all her years of singing would have been in vain. Chang Xian bit her lip lightly and snorted coldly. But this barrage of comments was nothing like what she had imagined. Captain, let me lead my brothers to charge again. Chapter 125 Live PK. Is this the teen mode? Love it? Tell the big monkey that I'm not going back. This is simply paradise on earth. Which cadre can withstand such a test? The barrage of comments suddenly became cheerful. And even in Chang Xian's live broadcast room, it was filled with high praise for the other party's professionalism. In addition, various gifts were also displayed crazily above the barrage. Thank you for the gifts, brothers. Thank you for the planes sent by my sworn enemy of gambling and drugs. Thank you. As she spoke, Xiao Langdai did not forget to bend down and bow to express her gratitude. But in this scene, the unfathomable ravine is clearly visible. Suddenly, the scrolling speed of the barrage became faster and faster. Brothers, is there anyone who can keep a lookout to see where the superintendent is? Super manager, I rushed. What about you? Super manager, I will lead the charge. Please increase the intensity and be bolder. Where is the sniper? Please report the military intelligence. Black, report completed. Should I tell you? The kitchen staff next door saw it. A song fell. In fact, Xiao Langdai danced for perhaps less than half of the song, and spent most of her time thanking them for the gifts. She smiled and went back to the computer. Thank you for the gifts. Others, if you like the anchor, please click the subscribe button in the upper right corner. Thank you very much. At this moment, Chang Xian's face did not look good. She originally thought it was just a talent show competition. Result: this PK was indeed too careless and unexpected. Competing with such a host, she suddenly felt a little insulted. Is this what you call talent? Seeing that the other party's gift list was rising at an extremely fast speed, Chang Xian frowned slightly. At this time, a voice came. Xian, it's your turn. The other party smiled and said. Chang Xian let out a long sigh, and this time did not respond. Instead, he picked up the microphone and tested the sound. Hello everyone, today I bring you a song called Extreme Rain. The words fell. The accompaniment in the live broadcast room also quietly rose at this time. It's a very nice song, and the prelude also made the audience fascinated. With her red lips slightly opened, Chang Xian's voice immediately spread throughout the live broadcast room. 666. It sounds great. I'll kneel down when I hear it. I envy the host's voice and appearance. This is a throat kissed by an angel. As the barrage of comments passed by, the corners of Chang Xian's mouth slightly raised. It does sound nice, but it seems like something has been changed. Indeed, this version sounds weird. The prelude is fine, but the rhythm of the lyrics is more or less different from the original version. Yes, I heard it too. I changed it and it doesn't feel right. It must have changed. It sounds nice, but isn't this disrespectful to the original version? Indeed, have you got the copyright? Why did you change the song to this? Is the previous one NT? Singing a random song here is also disrespectful to the original version. Everyone has their own style. Besides, the accompaniment was not changed. Only the rhythm of the lyrics was changed. Aha. The original version is the classic. The host's performance was a little off. A barrage of comments passed by quickly, but Chang Xian did not have much psychological fluctuations, and just sang attentively. However, Xiao Yi's expression changed slightly. But this is only at the beginning. As time goes on, there are fewer and fewer comments on the screen discussing the song, and the questions are no longer about the song. Why doesn't the anchor show his face? Yeah, if I want to listen to music, why don't I just go to the music app? Indeed, and the original version is so classic. I think the anchor should either be a man or someone like Grandma Kiao. For a moment, the barrage of comments became inexplicably noisy. Chang Xin naturally has some Bihar fans, but she still can't compete with these people. In just a short while, the barrage was already filled with chaos. At this moment, on the other side of the live broadcast room, Xiao Langda was still watching the live broadcast and listening to music. But the strap on her shoulders suddenly slipped off. Suddenly, the barrage became even crazier. Good fellow. Old shoulder is so cunning. So white. Brothers. Take screenshots quickly. The super administrator has been blocked outside by me. It's lace, love it. Oh my god, Wang Jia Chao, please bring me a bottle of Nutri Express when you come back. Shang Nan, please bring me a roll of toilet paper. Lin Yuan. Fang Jing. For a moment, various names appeared in the barrage. From Nutri Express to toilet paper. Chang Xin's face changed slightly. Her breathing frequency became a little weird, and she almost sang the wrong tune. On the other side, a full minute. The anchor seemed to have just realized that her shoulder strap had fallen down, and she quickly pulled it up and clasped her hands together. Ah, when did it fall? I'm sorry, super administrator. I didn't mean it. I don't even know when it fell. When the barrage saw this scene, it scrolled more frequently. What do you mean sorry? It should be you're welcome. Thank you, my good brother. Supervisor, what did you say? Super admin, why are you pulling so fast? I haven't finished yet. Isang fell. Unfortunately, the barrage has long since changed. Chang Xin bit her lip lightly and looked at the gifts on both sides for comparison. My gift was not even a fraction of the other person's. Just a few vague cards and glow sticks passed by. Her expression changed slightly, and she just said thank you softly. Here, Xiao Langdai's mouth corners have already turned up. It's so easy to win this BK. What kind of talent show is this? It's much better to show off your body. Just pull your clothes down a little. Lift your butt a little. Are you afraid of not getting a gift? She smiled and leaned forward, as if she had to get closer to the computer screen to see the barrage. Bang! The black shirt fell on the table. Fuck. Table. I bear a burden that I shouldn't bear at my age. Please let me take care of this burden. The host is too young. The host is so generous. You can be a little bolder. I just went downstairs and bought all the Nutri Express bars in the store. Thank you all for the gifts, thank you. In fact, Xin singing is also very nice, please pay more attention to her. Also, don't forget to subscribe to me, of you guys. Here, Shang Xin's face turned pale when he heard the voice. She actually lost. And they lost, so badly. The two songs only take 10 minutes. A difference in gifts between the two sides is dozens of times. And this was only 10 minutes later. She couldn't accept it. A female anchor who was waving her hands and posing defeated the singing voice that she had always been proud of. Although losing a PK was nothing, she still felt insulted. Xiaoyi, who was standing beside him, also looked unhappy. She just frowned and murmured, "Why hasn't Mr. Yang come yet?" Chapter 126. I hate blue the most. At this time, Mr. Yang, whom they were thinking about, was at a loss in a store. So many, what should I give? He rubbed his head. Not to mention the 99 times he confessed his love to Lin Qiyu before. Those were almost all random in his heart. Lin Qiyu would not agree anyway. And he was just simply completing the task. And this time, he was serious about Chang Yan. "Hello, what do you want?" A young lady stepped forward and smiled. "Hello, I want to know what gift should I give to express my love?" Xiao Yang nodded and said with a smile. "Rose." "Rose?" Xiao Yang frowned slightly. It seems like everyone gives roses when they confess their love. But isn't that too casual? Let me take a look first. He smiled and scanned the items in the store. This is a red rose. The language is passionate love. I hope to have a passionate love with you. This is a pink rose. The language is touching, a declaration of love. Engraved in my heart, first love, I like your brilliant smile. This is a purple rose, which means, mature love, your happiness is more important than mine. The young lady talked incessantly, and Xiao Yang seemed to be thinking about something. Red roses. The gaudy into explicit. I think it's a good gift for Lin Qiyu. Purple rose, forget it. Xiao Yang looked for a long time. His expression fixed on the blue flowers. This is blue enchanters. It symbolizes beauty and love, and the language is pure love. Xiao Yang pondered for a moment and said, "That's it." He remembered that when he went clothes shopping with Chang Yan, she would usually look at blue dresses, which seemed to suit her well. Okay. The words of a single blue enchanters are that staying together is a promise. In the cycle of life and death, how can one have a gentle love? You are my deepest love, and I hope we will always remember this beautiful love story of ours. At this time, another store. Didn't you hear what our young master said? Blue Enchantress, our young master will take whatever you have in your store. Fill up the whole car. It's almost too late. Xiao Yang looked at the time, paid the money quickly, got in the car with the 2 bunches, and sped away. At the same time, outside an extremely luxurious hotel, there is a long red carpet at the entrance of the hotel. Luxury cars drove slowly in, and almost all of Jiangdu's most famous and wealthy nobles gathered here. Luckily we made it in time. Xiao Yang didn't expect that the huge parking lot was almost full of luxury cars. After searching for a while, he finally stopped the car. When Xiao Yang arrived at the hotel entrance, holding 2 bouquets, he felt a little nervous. Whose son is this? Why haven't I seen him before? Yes. Many people became confused when they saw Xiao Yang. In fact, Jade Province is not that big, and basically everyone has heard of the famous young masters of the families, even if they have not seen them. But I have never seen anyone like Xiao Yang. He's quite handsome, maybe he's some little celebrity. How can a little star be qualified to attend such a banquet? Look at what he's holding. Could it be that he's specifically looking for some rich girl to confess his love to? I'm going crazy wanting to hug a rich woman. Not really. He looks pretty handsome. Don't be shy, many girls like this style. That hat he has on is quite interesting. I make money to support my family. This is the kind of stuff you can buy on the street for a dozen or 20 yuan. Xiao Yang ignored everyone else and just walked straight in. But at this moment, the security guard stopped him. Sir, an invitation. Do you still need an invitation? Xiao Yang was stunned. I'm sorry, but you can't come in without an invitation. Xiao Yang nodded thoughtfully. He really hadn't noticed this. But since Lin Hanwen said he would bring him here, then just wait here. At worst, he can just sneak in with Zhang Yichen. Xiao Yang didn't say anything polite. He just stood at the door, holding the fresh food, and didn't feel embarrassed. At this time, a beautiful young woman suddenly came over. Little brother, this is so beautiful, can you give it to me? She smiled and prepared to pick a flower from the bouquet. Have you never been beaten? Xiao Yang's voice turned cold. Immediately the latter quickly pulled his hand back. You're sick, she cursed. Just then, a car drove over. Red Ferrari. A young girl walked down from above, with legs that are so long that it's unimaginable, and a black dress. She looks extremely beautiful. As soon as they got off the car, all the men looked at each other involuntarily. Almost all the men present swallowed their saliva involuntarily. When they looked up from the bottom and saw the top of the other person's head, they were stunned. I saw a few big words written on a white hat. I am beautiful. This must be the eldest daughter of the Zhang family. Someone recognized her. Yes, Zhang Yan, the eldest daughter of the Zhang family. This is a real white, rich and beautiful girl, beautiful and with a good figure. And her family background is beyond reproach. In the whole Jiangdu, only the young master of the Fang family is worthy of her. What a talented man and beautiful woman. What a perfect match. At this time, Zhang Yichen also walked down and pushed his glasses. Suddenly, many men couldn't help but shrink their heads back. The 4th son of the Zhang family, the title of the living devil is not just for scare people. It can really send you to jail. And he is a crazy person who protects his nephew. Shortly after their car stopped, a sports car drove over. When they saw the sports car, everyone's faces were filled with astonishment. A blue convertible sports car is filled with blue. It looks like the sea, blending with the blue car, and is extremely eye-catching. There are so many of them, this will empty several stores. It's not a question of no, the key is still the car. This car must be worth tens of millions. Lamborghini. That must be Fang Jingyang, the young master of the Fang family. Yes, that's him. This car is probably given to the eldest daughter of the Zhang family. I heard they are getting engaged soon. He's not thinking of giving away both the car and the owner. That's so romantic. Oh my god, if a man gave me a car like this, I could just wash myself and jump into it. That's awesome. Everyone present looked at Fang Jingyang. He got out of the car in a cool manner, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised, full of confidence, and slowly walked towards Zhang Yan. Fang Jingyang, if that part of your body touched Shai Chown, I will chop you off at that part. Zhang Yichen said softly. Berthunkel, Fang Jingyang frowned, but did not continue to argue with Zhang Yichen about this issue. He looked at Zhang Yan and smiled. Xiao Yan, long time no see. Is there something? Zhang Yan didn't want to pay any attention to Fang Jingyang and just asked in a cold voice. Don't you like Blue Rose the most? That's why I ran around all the stores in Jiangdu and bought so many of them. I want to propose to you in front of so many people. Fang Jingyang was full of confidence. The engagement had already been discussed by both families. I believe Zhang Yan will not refuse. Besides, if a luxury car plus a car, as long as she is a girl, who wouldn't be moved? Even the precious eldest daughter of the Zhang family. Isn't she just a little girl? Who told you I like blue enchantress? I hate the color blue the most. Chapter 127 I like blue best. Fang Jingyang was stunned for a moment, and stood there in a daze. He clearly remembered that Zhang Yan's favorite color was blue. And her favorite was blue rose. There was a campus event during high school. Zhang Yan was the event planner at the time. He still remembers that the venue was almost full of blue roses. How could I remember Zhang Yan's hobby wrongly? Is there anything else? Zhang Yan's expression gradually turned cold. Yes. Fang Jingyang frowned slightly. Take the stuff. Who are you? If you want me to accept it, I will accept it. Zhang Yan sneered and shook her head. Zhang Yan, Fang Jingyang's expression also turned cold. The marriage of the two families was known to almost the whole city. Fang Jingyang and Zhang Yan's engagement date has been set by both families. The words childhood sweethearts and talented man and beautiful girl have been used so many times that they are almost overused. And now you are insulting